It's a Saturday lift-off. Early birds catching worms. You usually expect to see on Racing Post Live post 1 o'clock, but terrestrial television has decided to kick on with the final day of 5. It's been glorious at Goodwood this week. Dave Orton back. Just a second stint for me. I am fresh as a daisy. I had a good night's kip and I'm raring to go. Don't you worry about that. Betfair with us this afternoon, of course, our sponsors. We've got loads of offers for you, loads of tips, all the best real-time reaction in the business. This is an interactive show. Like and subscribe, get involved. You can have a chat, we'll give you a shout out. Let us know how the week's been, what's coming up today, who wins at 3:20. The Stewards Cup. Do you want to be high, do you want to be low? Where do you want to go? I said that last year and I got it in again. I am absolutely buzzing today because I'm surrounded by, I think we can call Racing Post Live royalty. Anything on Facebook Live, let's hear from you on Twitter, #RP Live. Right, let's crack on. This is being coveted by two ladies next to me today. Natalie Green comes back in. I almost let you do the introduction.
Yeah, I know. I was almost going to do it. And then I went, oh, no.
You can sign out the show. How does that sound? Yeah, we'll let you do that this week.
I'll sign out.
Yeah, as you know, Nat steered perfectly the boat for the first 3 days. We had Kate coming and joining the party yesterday. It's a double header. Are you nicely refreshed?
I am, and I feel like we've had a code here, an unwritten rule that we are the zebra twins today.
It's like the jungle in here.
This. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah. We're on safari, Dave, right now.
I tell you what, why didn't I get them? I've got a safari shirt as well. Next time, let's get a bit more
It
communicative.
might be like the jungle later on. God, Dave, you've got to try and rally us too.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Could be wild.
Anyway, Stewards Cup, I might go down the middle. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, OK, straight away. I like it. You're pressing the buttons again for Barry. He'll be delighted. The only one who hasn't had a break this week, but it's been lucky because he's been knocking it out the park.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, we've had a good week so far. We're winning £500 for retraining of racehorses, our charity of choice for this month. I think we're going to choose Greatwood next month. Obviously, we're coming to the end of August. And obviously, we're just going to showcase the functionality of the exchange back in the lane, customers betting against other customers, and also the sports books and how they differ. So everything we do is for this month for retraining of racehorses, any profit we make. So just keep that in mind.
All I could see on these clips that I was watching from Italia was you saying, oh, he's knocked it out again, another great pick, Barry, well done. It was Prairie Falcon or whatever it was. How did he pick that?
Yeah, I know. It was amazing, actually.
Rude, actually,
Was it Warren Point, Barry's nap of the week, which I think last minute we all kind of like got on. It was, Barry's having a blinding time this week, which is what we like to see. It's what we're here for.
We need to get the studio coming back today, right?
Yeah, we do. Come on.
Kate, you took the trophy. I mean, this trophy should really be going.
We're not here to take part. We're here to win it.
Yeah, this is
the
Racing Post Stewards Cup today. Come 3:20. All right. So fast and thick the action will be. Now, Barry, let's get some housekeeping out the way. There's actually a new offer for people today, isn't there?
Yeah, there is for Saturday's horse racing. You bet 10 on a racing multiple and get a £10 free bet. It's for Saturday. You can see it there on your screen. When you bet £10 worth of multiples on Saturday's racing, you get a £10 free bet. So watch out for that today. We're going to kick off with a multiple, as we always do, a lucky 15, 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and 4 singles. It's 15 bets. We're going to do it for £1 each way. So it's going to cost us £30 like it always does. And the 4 horses are Kate Cleese. The first leg in the 140 in the sprint is Mocktail. Horse I think will run well back at this with Harry Davis claiming a valuable 5. In the 210 then, Trawler Man for Godolphin. John and Thady Gosson trained at 4 places on the Betfair Sportsbook there, as there is in the 140 as well. In the 245, the mare Forbearance, 3 places each way punters there. And then in the big race, it's 7 places on the Sportsbook each way punters. We're going to take Chill. I think he'll improve significantly for the first run of the season in Ascot. So Chill, 7 places each way punters there. Like I said, 6 doubles, 4 trebles, an accumulator, and 4 singles, 15 bets. We're going to do it for £1 each way. How much does that come to, Kate? Fingers crossed if we get that up.
Just over 16,000, Barry.
Wow,
not
that'll
too
be great
shabby.
for retraining of racehorses. Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And don't forget, we're going to get our tenner back anyway, regardless of what happens, because we've invested £10 and upwards in a racing multiple.
I'll tell you what, I like that. I like that. We've got time to do it. Should we do one? All right.
Yeah.
I like that indeed. Cover your tenner with your multiple. It's just running then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. You love Chill, Barry, don't you? It's your filly, this. Tom Siegel's put it up as well. Top weight in the Wokingham, but she's a traveller.
Yeah, she really is. And she ran a cracker in the Betfair Sprint Cup in Haydock to round off last season. Obviously, her first run back behind Minzal in Newbury wasn't a bad run. She's only beaten a little over 3 lengths, but I think they're claiming a valuable 5 offer. She's top weight, and they're claiming that valuable 5 offer. So I think she'll give a good account for herself in what's obviously a very difficult race.
Oh, yes, it is. It's one of the biggest betting races, of course, of the entire year. You're going down the middle. I'm not going down the middle. I'm not going to tell you where I'm going quite yet. Me and Kate had a brief chat about this yesterday. Chill, of course. Harry Davis is the £5 claimer that Barry is talking about and has been really, really well backed. Just a quick one, Barry, before we go and concentrate on this first race. Who is currently favourite? I know that Regional came in for a lot of support under Ryan. Of course, Betfair ambassador Ryan Moore for Ed Bethel. He's high in 27, but the massive win machine that is in the park, Ben Curtis, George Bowie, right down the middle where Nat's going. Wonder if she could be on the fad. Is he just about edging it on the exchange?
Yeah, we've had nearly £300,000 matched on the exchange on this so far. That will well breach the million mark come 320. But Inver Park with Ben Curtis is very popular. 9.4 now. Regional for Ryan Moore. He gives that a good shout in his blog on betting.betfair. 12.5. First folio 13. I can't have him at all. Bet for him a couple of times. Hopmaster 13. Anaf 13 from 25 and bigger on the exchange. That's an interesting one. It was tipped up by both Tony Calvin and Dan Barber on the Betfair podcast, Racing Only Better, which you can listen to every Thursday. So that's one worth watching out for. Dan Barber of Timeform thinks that he's going to be a group performer before very long.
Well, you're probably going to need a group performer potentially to win this race. We'll be giving you all the preview about that. I've seen more Stewards Cups than I can continue, to remember. And it used to be a 3-year-old race. I remember, Richard, you'd get Richard Hughes on the travelling group or in the race, but it can go to 9.
What was he doing?
On the nice
What was he doing?
Hughesy Bruiser. Yeah, look, you're getting it, girls. I like it. This is the Hughes. We're always on the
Told you
private
we'd end
on
up in
this
the
studio.
jungle later.
We're going to be the opposite of chill in this studio today, aren't we? It's going to be mad, I think. We're going to end this festival in style, that's for sure. Slightly overcast at Goodwood, but they've had no rain, of course. They put a little bit more water on. There's no false bend anymore, is there? No cutaway and all that sort of stuff. So, do you want to be on front runners? Do you want to be... I don't know. We've got great racing today. We've got some group racing, of course, the Lily Langtry over the mile 6. Who opens up the social corner? Ronnie Front has the honour. Pre-1 p.m, would you believe it? Good offer, that. Fancy Lethal Levi in our second race at Goodwood. He's either going to tear him a new one, isn't he? Or he's going to find this coming too soon, I think, Ronnie. Emily Dickinson and Bagdoor for the treble. Like it, so that's your multiple. Fair play, Ronnie. Love it. Okay, good stuff. Will and Dave in the gallery for us today. Louis Theroux Mikel on the socials as well. We've got a great team. Let's have some fun this afternoon. What are we doing with this 105? Why on earth are we showing this today? Look, I mean, some good horses have won this 105, right? Duke of Hazzard, DXB.
Yeah, I don't know because I was so hungry just before the show. I've still got rice in my teeth. I quickly inhaled.
What did you have to eat?
Curry.
Oh no, it's
Like
so
literally
pleasurable for me and
seconds
Kate.
before the show was off. Oh no.
We're now starving.
And G-Rod did it the other day when he was in it. I've never seen a bear, like, it should have just been a honey sandwich. It wasn't. It was chicken and bacon. And he just went,
Yeah, he
crust and all.
He
just
does
went
inhale
in.
food.
And
We've
then he
seen
went,
him in that
"Oop."
calf.
And he goes, I'm all right now. And I sip of his green tea and away we were. So I don't know why we're showing it because it interrupted my lunch plans. But the way we could do this is what I did on the Secret State race was Secret State chased home by Max Sud, and it actually came off, which was good. And Max Sud was 14 to 1 on Wednesday, so I enjoyed that. Then Barry and I were both in the same opinion with the Bailly chased home by Modern Games. So if you think about that, Modern Games is 12 to 1, so we've got to make it pay. So how are we going to make it pay? We're going to have Classic, the winner in here, chased home by the Foxes. Simple as that, Dave.
Well,
May as well give you the cup now.
Well, I'm not going to give you the cup yet, all right? Because there is some protocol which you might have tried to tear up and throw into the wind on this show. But let's look who's back in the seat, I'm afraid to say. She coffets the seat. I'll tell you what, and the one at the end's fancying it as well.
I was going to say, the eye's starting to light up now. I feel completely left out
Kate's
of the
going to be
three of
having a
us.
go
I
at this,
haven't
don't you
taken
worry
a
about
seat.
it.
You will.
Football season starting today as well, of course, isn't it? We've got the Lionesses tomorrow. It's a great time to be around still. Loads of you out there watching the show. Barry, this is a classic day for us, a classic favourite who's been absolutely smashed. Now, before we get your selection, Barry, to kick off, it's only right we give you the floor. Richard Hannon, in the past 10 years, had 13 runners in this race. Only 3 have placed. And yet here we are. We've got, what is he on the exchange now, Classic? 6 is up, 4 to 6 on?
1.74, Dave. So 4 to 5 Classic is at the moment. Pat Dobbs in the plate. There has been matched at a high for small money on the Betfair Exchange of 246, which is just nearly 6 to 4. 109 quid matched at that. all the way down. In this market so far, we've had 250,000 matched on it, and 190,000 of it is for your favourite classic. Interesting proposition. The one I like, the play I like in the exchange play, I'm going to take on Loyal Touch for Ryan Moore. Now, he was made favourite on his first run. He was third to Bayesian Bandit. It was over 7 furlongs in Salisbury. Bayesian Bandit has beaten out his side in an Ascot listed race since, behind Naval Power. The second's been well beaten since as well, and I think the fourth has been beaten since. He looked a tricky ride to me. Now, I know he's probably a little bit green as well, but usually those Johnson 2-year-olds are well forward, especially when they put them into favouritism. So what we're going to do, please, Kate, here, on Betfair Exchange, you can bet 2, 3, or 4 places here. You can also bet, obviously, each way or without the favourite. But we're going to look at the 2-place market. We're currently trading at 2.8. So around the 7 to 4 mark, 15 to 8. We're going to look to lay.
Lay Loyal Touch.
We're going to look to take 25 quid of the backer stake out of Loyal Touch. We'll have a liability of around 50 quid. It's getting towards 2 to 1, and you place that bet for us. So once Loyal Touch doesn't finish first or second, we win our money. And I think there could be plenty of lurkers in here that could maybe upset Loyal Touch, who looked a little bit tricky to me. Interesting one here about Classic that Kevin Blake flagged again on Racing Only Better. He's out of the only surviving progeny of George Washington, a mare called With Destiny, which I thought was really interesting. So a lot depending on this filly.
He was a talented nutter, wasn't he, George Washington?
He was an oddball, wasn't he? He was a complete oddball.
He was very, very good, and then he kind of got a bit weird.
Didn't he refused to come out of the winner's enclosure once, didn't he? He was taken into the winner's enclosure and he refused to go home.
It's like when he first started a relationship with George Washington, right? He was lovely at first, all right? And it was all exciting and the dream was alive. And then he just went a little bit weird.
You talk about marriage, Dave.
And expenses.
Talk about married life.
Well, she might be watching. All right,
Careful.
Great stuff. So what have we got going on? Okay, so yeah, loads of it. Listen, this time next week, just let you know, it's Shergar Cup Day, isn't it? Which isn't for everyone. There's a group racing elsewhere as well. But we have got a massive push for it because we've got Oisin Murphy coming in and sitting in on this panel with Paul Keeley, and Barry comes over as well. Are we getting excited yet for that one, Bazza?
Yeah, I am. I really am. I generally, I'm not that concerned about the format for the Shergar Cup. I know a lot of people have always rallied against it, but I've always enjoyed it. I think it's a bit of fun. It's something different, and we see a kind of variation of it, the Racing League now as well, which is a new iteration of that, which is starting in this coming week. I think it starts on Thursday. So, listen, there's nothing wrong with it. It gives us a look at jockeys from all over the world. It's a bit of a team effort to it as well. It's a nice team for the day, and I always enjoy it. So, looking forward to coming over to the studio and seeing you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, we cannot wait. You can actually try and get your hands on this as well, and we'll go for a quick one in the Thirsty Bear afterwards, which Barry quite enjoys now, I think. He thought it was a joke, actually. He thought it was just about...
Yeah, Barry didn't believe it was actually...
Did he just think it was a
Yeah, and then he goes...
When we were walking in, he went, oh, Jesus, this is actually a place. I was like, it turns out it is.
Thirsty Bear in the Thirsty
They
Bear.
even know
so
our
we always
drinks
get a bit
orders
thirsty
now.
afterwards. So look, we cannot wait for next week. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. A mention of the Racing League there as well, which is sort of your thing this year, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'll be covering all 6 almost consecutive weeks. Take a break for York.
Because ITV are doing it this year.
Yeah, so I'm hosting it with my fellow ITV colleagues. I can't wait. I'm on the same opinion as Barry. I quite like a bit of variety. What's wrong? We have so many Super Saturdays. We have so much racing. It was great to have a bit of variety. As
I think the Shergar Cup in particular is really well placed.
Yeah.
Because look, if you don't like it, go off to the beach.
Yeah.
All right, it's not like it's a winter's day, and you know what I mean, or anything like that. It's a good place in the calendar, and we should not bash new formats in racing. We should always try different things.
That's
and
good.
The Racing League is in its second year. It's a slightly different format this year. ITV giving it some welly. Nat Green's going to be doing it as well, and
I'll give it some welly.
Don't worry about it, and hopefully we'll give it a bit more welly this year as well. I think. And, you'll definitely give it some welly. Do you even know where it is though next week?
I've got a clue. I'll just look at the calendar when I get home.
I'll be seeing you there every week, though. I'm there for every week.
Are you? Well, I'm at Doncaster. All I need to know is the first day, and
I've got my
the
first
rest.
outfit sorted, representing Yorkshire colours, lily white.
Please
so I've
tell
already
me
got
it's
my
zebra.
outfit sorted. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave these to the
You've
side.
got your outfit sorted. Christ, I haven't. I haven't thought about that yet, but I will put some thought into it. I'll probably wear
Wear
some
white for Yorkshire for the first day, I think. Go along my...
Yeah, me and white, Kate.
If you don't wear
haven't got
white
the
now.
thighs
When
for
you've got-
white.
You're not wearing white today, aren't you? I
I was going to say, and you just ate a curry in it and you've not got it down you, anything. So, yeah,
I've not got the thighs for
white.
white. We'll
Wearing
see.
white.
We'll see.
I definitely have. Don't worry about that. Right, am I going to give you the winner of this first race? I'm taking on Classic. Look, I know he travelled late into the race at Newbury, and it probably
Have you
was a strong
seen him in
race.
pictures, Dave Orton?
He is. Is he looking like
What's
a
not
Classic contender?
To not like about him.
I
Perfectly
put up
put
the
together.
winner of that race as well, Tarji, for Owen Burrows, and I did the eye catcher tip that day, and he won really well. I'm just not sure. I don't know. There are horses in here. You've got Classic followed home by the Foxes, right? And an early nod to Oisin Murphy. When we spoke to him pre-Royal Ascot in the studio, he said that King Power's best 2-year-old and the best 2-year-old he'd seen at Baldings was the Foxes.
Well, I'm looking
He said
at that-
he was killing older horses.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at that Marban form as well. The
Yes.
vintage stakes winner. So, and that
he's a
ninth
right
in
one,
the
isn't he?
Chesham. I think there's loads to like about the Foxes. But what I loved more about Classic was it has to be eye-catching, that run, doesn't it? Because actually, on the debut, it was tenderly, is that a nice way to put it? Tenderly handled in closing stages.
It was well fancied when the betting went up for that Newbury race on its debut, then it drifted slightly out like they tend to do. But unlike his old man, Richard Hannon Jr., if you like, or Richard Hannon, as he's just called these days, he does like to let them progress a bit more these days. It's a change of MO. About 10 years ago, they changed it all up, didn't they?
I just thought it was quite eye-catching how a bit short of room and
I
then
can't
actually
be
stayed
whacking
on.
into a 2-year-old at, sub even money.
No, you've
on
got
the
to
first
do
race.
it in a like me. You've got to do it in like a forecast. You've got to try and get the 1-2.
I think the Foxes will definitely give him a race. I quite liked his run in the Cheshire. He petered out late. In fact, there was one point, knowing what Oisin had said to me, and I can see him down at the start now. He's making his way down. Kate, are they going to be late?
You see, I have more.
Kate, are they going to be
forgiveness for
late?
this. I know, yeah, rhyme. Unfortunately, a rhyme because it's one thing that is my absolute pet peeve.
She was
though.
peeved yesterday, Natalie.
I was not happy yesterday with the late off times at all.
It's been late every day, hasn't it?
I have more
Some race.
forgiveness though because of the layout at Goodwood. Because when you come over the crest of the hill, of course it's a downhill run to the starting stalls then, and you have a dead end at the end. So if a horse gets a run on you down that hill, then you're in trouble basically. So I have more forgiveness because now I can understand why they walk from the point of the hill down to the stalls. But the racecourse should be live to that and should have them out of the parade ring earlier, therefore, because they know that they're going to only walk from the downhill there.
She's the filter has come off, Kate. I'm a bit worried about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
We were blaming it on Robbie
we've
yesterday,
lost
I don't think
G-Rod
it's
to
him.
Canada, and she's warming up. Twitter, but no, you
Thirsty
speak
zebra.
nothing but sense there, actually, and you're right. It is on the racecourse, not the jocks who are obviously doing the right thing, not just.
No, I do agree. But they're down at the start.
Because there is a dead end.
Minutes
You're
away.
right, absolutely.
Maybe they've let them
Of course,
out
what's
early.
behind it.
We're only a couple of minutes.
Oh no, it was yesterday. This is looking good. To have these two
this
down
is-
there with
They've
a
been
minute and a
listening
half.
to your clips, Kate, I think.
Yeah,
I think that must be what it is. Let's listen
Yeah,
to your
I'm sure.
tip then. So Nat's going for the forecast of 2 to beat 8. You are going for?
You know what? Complete wind out of my sails because that has gone exactly the route I was going to go with
really?
this race. Because, as you say, weighing in with a 2-year-old on just their second start at 8 to 11 is just not something I'm interested in playing this with a straight bat. I think Classic will win. I think he's very well named, evidently, and you don't name a horse Classic if you don't think that they're then very smart, and what he showed on that debut was super likeable. I don't think that Pat Dobbs even gave him a tap behind the saddle either, because it was very much an education. He got away from the stool slowly, he slightly jinked out, he was
Tenderly
held up in
handled.
rear. And yeah, it was just an
Educational
education.
ride, you would say.
And then he just sort of ran into the back of 2 horses there nearing the line, but he was not given a hard time with things when he knew he wasn't going to win that. It was super eye-catching. I say, as Barry said, it's fascinating that he is the only, he's a 7th foal out of Date with Destiny, who's the only foal from George Washington. Date with Destiny, she was decent enough then herself in her
Did she
time.
ride for
as we
Julie
know.
Wood? Was that? I think
It's
Same
7-2, that reverse forecast on the exchange, guys, if you're interested.
Oh, like that.
So that-
a
yeah.
lot.
7-2, 2 to beat 8, or 8 to beat 2. So it's covered both the reverse forecast.
Good to see, Barry.
And thanks for that, Barry.
Scorch as well. We haven't mentioned Scorch. Scorch could be anything. I mean, look at this. $600,000 was it? A 2-year-old breeze up. Got to be. That's fascinating. Wasn't cheap. There it is, scorching pictures.
Look, the guys in the studio almost don't even want this a race to be shown. They're already going on to Lethal Levi. Look, there we go. They've not had their porridge yet either, have they? Unbelievable
Get
scenes.
some curry down, you lads.
Don't worry, they got it. They were looking at me going, what's he on about? Yeah, absolutely. All right, so listen, they're all in. What, are we on time?
Only 28 minutes past. Well done, Goodwood.
Unbelievable scenes
job,
for the first
Goodwood.
time here this afternoon on Racing Post Live, and it's the first race. And the brilliantly named Runner Harlech, the debutant, is the slowest to go. Also, Scorch not doing that so far. Just caught wide, he'll tack in. Who's this up front?
Outsider.
Trojan legend in a lather.
Massive prize Trojan legend, considering he's the Johnsons and he's had a run, but
he's
he's
like to go
larded up,
forwards,
isn't he? In the Isaac Shelby colours, we can now call them. Hunk Papa is just Sean Levy, who took out the first race for us yesterday. He's there as well, looking for the favourite, beautifully poised, maybe a little bit free.
I'm quite happy where Classic is actually, and the Foxes. I'm
Tracking
pretty happy
in.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit free, Dave, and a little bit of keenness
And look
there.
at Barry's place lay. Look, he's already off the bridle, Bazza.
Yeah, he's only niggling him along, really. He's just making sure he's holding his position there, Ryan Moore. But 166 now Classic.
He's cruising in.
178 now
Absolutely.
Classic. 5.4 Foxtails. Loyal Touch 7 in running. Strongly on the outside, his 2's on there.
This is looking pretty good for us, guys, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have to let Classic
Like I say, the
wider.
Foxes is a talented
The
horse,
Foxes
but
just needs to
the
keep
last off the bridle. This is like Hughes. He's here, look, girls.
I know, look
at
at
this. Come on, the
I
Foxes.
need it the
Down
right way
outside.
round,
Is it
Dave.
too late, Dobsy. Foxes is going to come and get
Foxes is
this.
going to keep going there.
I think this
He's gonna
forecast
keep
is going to
staying
play
on.
out, guys. The Foxes isn't
I really
quite
hope
seeing it
so.
out.
Come on,
He's left
Natalie
it late,
Green.
Dobsy. He's going to get done,
Oh, he's
Dobsy.
gonna get done
The
on the
Foxes is on
outside.
top. Hi, Oshin. Oh, Dave Orton hugs the trophy of glory. Happy days. I told you I was on form today, guys.
Did you even, why? Did you tip the Foxes?
I did.
Oh, I didn't even listen.
I did indeed. If you'd have
I'm
been
just
looking at your team
furious.
email
I got it
earlier.
the wrong way round.
I did. Well, first off, Barry, the Fav in the first has been sunk. We'll talk about that. I don't reckon everyone will be over the moon with that ride. Oh, and creeping into third there, although you got the win part of the lay, was indeed the very green.
No, we laid
Royal
it 2
Touch.
places, Dave. We laid it 2 places, so we win our money there. Yeah, we laid it at 2 places, and he finished third. Ryan Moore did on Loyal
Nicely
Touch,
done.
but we win our 25 quid for retraining of racehorses. Interesting there. Your favourite traded low of 1.14, 7-4 on in running on the Betfair Exchange, 107 quid matched at that. Obviously, all the way down to that. He was a little bit weak just at the off day. Betfair SP at 2.16. So heading towards 5-4, between 11 to 10 and 5-4, he was returned. Your winner, the Foxes, had a Betfair SP of 6.57. Loyal Touch didn't really trade that short at all in running because he never really looked like. Well, he traded at 2.02. Would you believe? I can't actually believe that. 9 quid at 2.02. Yeah, he never at any stage looked like he was going to threaten to be in the final shake-up for my money. But there you go. What you see on the exchange sometimes is the head scratcher.
Absolutely, scratching my head if I wasn't too worried about my hair.
No reason to be worried.
And well done to the guys in the studio. Got the reverse forecast.
Got
at
the reverse
7-2.
forecast.
Reverse, yeah, we said reverse, didn't we? Yeah, we said
See,
reverse.
already taking it away from me, trying to make you feel better. You can tell he's been with you for 3 days.
So good, isn't he? But I'm in a bit, I'm a bit in a mood because I hate it when I get the wrong way around.
I did try and tell you that it was a bit early in the day to be going for a
That's the
shorty.
beauty of the exchange. It's a
Yeah.
reverse forecast on there that you're betting on. So
Yeah.
Lovely,
2
what
or
a
6 or
start.
6 or 2.
I'll tell you what, we should start
Yeah.
with novices all the time, shouldn't we? The fickle Dave Orton. Actually, let's just zoom back in on this a little bit. And Dan Walsh is going to come up. He's been with us in the studio. He's gone back up to Emmerdale as Dan. And he says, good old Oisin. Hopefully he'll give you a pearl insight like that next week. Yes, Oisin Murphy, if you watched the Royal Ascot preview that we did, he said, look, he might not win the Chesham, but he's definitely their best 2-year-old. And he's just been really green. He's taken time. The experience of the Chesham it's a really nice ride, that as well, wasn't it? Because they've probably gone out and said, look, follow the Fav.
He's tracked the favourite, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just follow the Fav and see what we've got at the end. If not, we've got a horse for nurseries. And Prober is one of the best in the business at getting 2-year-olds organised.
Very smart performance. You're watching the replay now. I mean, exactly. We've got to give all credit to the winner
The
here.
favourite 7 on there, isn't he? At the
Yeah.
furlong pole just before he asked him to go, and he just can't quicken the favourite.
Well,
Yeah.
look, if I've backed the Fav, I'm wondering why Dobbsy hasn't kicked a bit, if I'm honest. Look, he must have been travelling so well. But what's he trying to do?
Especially because of how hard he hit the line then on his debut start at Newbury as well when he got into the clear. And that's why he was such an eye-catcher, because he was hitting lines so strongly at Newbury. And like I say, you were just wondering, for all that he was still the eye-catching one throughout this race, last one off the bridle then very easily. You just wanted to, but we don't know at this stage if he can pick up. And when you've got the likes of the Foxes coming down the outside with that experience of 2 runs to his name, one of the first ones off the bridle, he looks like he's a stayer in the making. So potential quotes for a derby then, Barry, for next season, I'm hoping for, because when you see that he's a brother to...
I doubt it.
Would you not think? I don't think, because he's a son of Churchill.
I don't think we'd be quoting that.
You wouldn't be quoting that.
Not just yet. Not just yet.
I think it's
He's
a
in it.
strong race, though. I do think it's a strong race.
I think it's a really strong race, but I think watching that head on, I actually think Pat Dobbs did all he could there to try and shimmy Classic along. Like, he's
Worried
got
he's
the
going to beat the racing league.
He's got the pro crush. He's got what else do you do? Just
I'm not sure.
Foxes was,
Listen,
4 horses ran well, hasn't he?
Yes. Now I want to talk about eye catchers. Was that Runaholic?
No.
Was that there was
Eve
Bacento?
Johnson,
Yeah, Bacento. We
Outdoors,
had
yeah.
from
Bacento's
Charlie Bishop and Eve Johnson Houghton. That was drawn. That was drawn in 9. So that has done really well. And you usually associate Eve, especially at this time of the year with the 2-year-olds, who at least need 1 or 2 runs. Okay, it's all about the education. He's run really well.
Yeah.
And so has Runaholic. Oh, I saw a bit of love for the pedigree of Runaholic in the chat. We didn't have a chance to mention it. Apologies, you said it. Okay, so
what do you make it a favourite? You think if he had it kicked earlier, he would have won, or
I think
just
he got
a little
robbed,
bit
Barry.
one pace?
I think he got robbed. I do.
You reckon?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think that if he had his time again, Dobbs, I'd like to see him with a lead. This is just, he almost didn't know what he was doing. And he's travelled so well that Probert just got him, and he didn't have time to respond. And I thought he was going to get back up, because he's the last off the bridle. He should have more energy than anything for the finish.
Yeah. But you were right. He was a little bit free to start with, and he was. You wouldn't want him any more keen.
Yeah,
he was keen enough.
Maybe.
Might
We're
need
going
to
to learn
learn.
about Classic as we go, but that's 0 from 14 now for Hannon in that race.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, that's true. But what do we think? Seeing these in the Acomb next?
Ooh, good
Mid-August, Group
shout.
3,
What's he in, the Foxes?
7 furlongs.
You don't
He's
get
not.
called the Foxes by King Power guys unless you're pretty good.
No,
either,
exactly.
Do you?
But
he's not in anything fancy, Kate. He's in the Derby.
No,
he's
he's in
Churchill,
the
isn't he? Out of the Darshan mare. So you're right. He's going to be wanting a trip next year.
Yeah.
He's still. I mean, he cost 440 grand. He still showed a bit of a head carriage for me as well when initially asked. That greenness was there. We'll get a word from Moshin next week about it.
yeah, I was going to say, please do ask him, because the fact he tipped this lad up at such an early stage, saying what an amazing workhorse he was, but he's still a work in progress. And I just wondered if that greenness would come to the fore again here, and he would just be qualified for a decent enough nursery mark then to go down that route. But he is clearly taking a huge step forwards there. So the step up to a Group 3 on his next start, again over the 7 furlongs in the Acomb. Good turnaround time. He'd have to be under serious consideration for that now.
I think so. Yeah.
They're
And
both
like-
very exciting. I mean,
you
look, the entries for Classic is very exciting. We'll have to just wait and see. Well, Classic's got the Weatherby's, but he'll go for the Champagne, I think, and then again the Derby next year. So that's a nice race. Look at these young horses.
I think it was a good start. I had a good feeling about
Yeah.
today.
I
I think we're going through the card.
I do.
Do you think? You didn't even
I've
want to
got a
cover that race.
I-
Now you got the trophy and everything.
Hang on, Tracy. Hang on a minute. I didn't want to cover that race. Oh, listen, I've been looking at that race all week, Kate.
I'm sure.
I don't know what you're on about.
Sure you have.
And actually, funnily enough, the numbers are now starting to grow, our viewing numbers. So if you've just tuned in thinking, hang on a minute, they're on air. Of course, it was put out on our social channels and on our website, but you have missed the reverse forecast and Dave Orton, his nap of the week.
You absolute monkey.
The beautiful thing is now, guys, we've got until the 140, our next race, which is the Stewards Cup consolation. So we can go down the field with that. And there is a proper hot pot in that. We'll be popping to Newmarket as well. Listed race there in particular that I'm interested in. We've got 2, haven't we?
You've got 2 from Newmarket, 155 and 225.
Oh, you're alive.
I'm alive.
Curry's
I'm
done
here.
you good.
Curry's
Lethal
waking me
Levi
up.
comes up in the next, and he's a serious hot pot. This, he's got a right old following, this chap, because he's tough and he does look like he's getting a lot better with racing. He won a very prestigious 3-year-old handicap sprint at the July meeting, which usually throws up future group horses, and he tore it apart.
He looks like banker material, doesn't he, today, for many people?
Does he?
I think so. It's a good name, isn't it? Lethal Levi.
Well, he has been lethal.
Just fuming, he's so short now. I tipped him up there earlier on in the week when he was 7-4. in my Betfair column there, and on various podcasts then as well. And now,
Well, let's give a word to the column.
very obvious.
What's in the column?
Pardon?
What's in the column today? What's
Lethal
going-
Levi.
Yeah.
Sam Cook's a non-runner now.
I know, livid.
Oh, I'm absolutely fuming
Two ways
about
looking at
that then. Yeah.
Saved yourself a loss.
Yeah, do you think? No, I know.
Well, he's
no,
like
he did
George
me a
Washington,
turn.
Sam Cook. Imagine
He is,
dating
to be
him.
fair. He is, to be fair, but he did me a turn at York last year. So yeah, I have Lethal Levi, Trawler Man, who has been well backed and
Who
now
Barry's put in.
back out of it. Yeah, exactly. So pleased that Barry's in on this. Sam Cook non-runner. Then I was splitting my stakes. And the main bet in the Stewards Cup is Great Ambassador, but I have got a small stakes then on Chill Chill and St Lawrence because I couldn't leave him. Had to go for 3 in the race. I know it's a bit.
No, that's
But
fine. Listen,
when St Lawrence was
I think
20
that's
to 1,
fine.
couldn't
I think
leave
that's
him
fine.
and
at
actually,
that
it's a
price.
nice link here, Kate. Before we go to Barry and find out who he's playing in this race, whether he's with the Hotbot or against it. There's 12 in this. Is there still just the 12 in this? No nons, are there? 12 selections in this. This is usually a race where you can also have 3 stabs at because
Yeah,
we get a
usually.
steer, as we know, and a lot's been said about it since the decks came out on Thursday. Just 12 in the Stewards Cup consolation race, which comes up at 140.
But
I mean,
there's about 6 races in 15 days that these sort of 0 to 85 horses
Can have a go at.
including the Super Sprint final then at Windsor on Monday, which is worth £25,000 more. So I read earlier on in the week in the Racing Post that one of the owners had said that if we do not get in, if we're balloted out of the Stewards Cup itself, I don't want to go for the consolation race, I want to go to Windsor. So it's just, beautiful British race planning once again coming to the fore.
Yeah, and again, as we said yesterday, Kate, you can't blame the race courses because it's Windsor's Big Monday.
No, exactly,
and
can't
it's-
blame them.
And they put up great prize money. So it's just down to the timing of it all, isn't it? So
It's just down to the layout, and BHA need to take control and actually restructure
Timing
the
is
entire...
key.
I'm trying to see what
calendar.
the cut-off was for these for the Stewards Cup. I think it's 92. Now, this leads us into Lethal Levi. I wondered why he was running last week, and it's obviously to try and get into the big one, isn't it? He's missed out by £1.
He gets in here on £9 lower than his current mark due to the fact this is effectively an early closing race.
If it had been £1 higher, he would have got in to the other one,
Yeah.
or he would have been,
Even over a double cut,
part of
yeah.
the ballot for it. So look, here he is in the consolation, Barry, and everyone loves this horse now. Do you?
Yeah, he's a very admirable horse, and he's one of those sprinters that has continued to improve throughout the season. The same we saw with Razzle yesterday, graduating from handicap into listed company, into group company. He's on that sort of trajectory. He's 2-1-6 now, Dave. Obviously, like Kate said, he was a 7-4 chance when we first went up with this race on the sports book. He's been matched for 138 quid at 2.92. So 15 to 8 heading towards 2-1 on the Betfair Exchange. So that'll give it some context for you. Many a Star is 10.5 Drink Composer. Nitro's on Fire is 10.5. That's 16 now. Nitro's on Fire. Nelson Gay is 17. The horse I like in is Mocktail. Currently trading at 28 in the win market on the Betfair Exchange Mocktail. And what I'm going to do here, Kate, we're just going to have a win bet on it. We're going to have 25 quid, and we're happy to be a price taker here at 27. Rated 86 now, won in Epsom in April over 5 furlongs on Good to Firm. Then ran here, was third to Razzle. That's a pretty decent form. Was only beaten 3.5 lengths that day. Went to Chester then, was drawn low over 5 furlongs in Chester. Missed the break a bit. He's not a speedball that's going to be out there real fast, and he paid the price in Chester, and then obviously in the dash in Epsom as well, he wasn't seen at his best. But I think a step up to 6 furlongs here is really going to suit him, and he's got a very valuable £5 claim from Harry Davis. You see my Harry Davis team today with this and Chill.
We've got a fan.
Got it.
A fan.
Well, here behind Razzle, I know he likes to. We know that he lacked on this track, and hopefully, he can win for. It's one of those. He's such a big price. He'll either win or he'll blow out altogether. So, for me, I'm pretty keen on Mocktail here in his favourite advisor. Interesting one here as well. I just flag up, lads. Dark Shot won the Magnolia Cup on Thursday.
Yeah.
There we
Track.
are.
You won't see that in your form guide.
No, there's a couple of horses. No, I suppose you won't. Yeah, there's a lot should be said about that, shouldn't there? We can talk about that. for a whole show. The horses that turn up having won charity race. It used to happen in
Yeah.
the jump season all the time.
I was talking to this with Paul Keeley and Ross Briley there after we were done on the show yesterday about horses. It would be something definitely worth looking into. Horses that win a charity race and how they fare on the next. Because the horse that I pointed out to the two guys, Amir Kabir, he won the Punchestown charity race and under Camilla Sharples, Gordon Elliott's travelling head girl, on the first run for Gordon Elliott as well, since going over to join the New Yard.
Yeah.
Then went and won his next start, and he ran a corker at Galway as well, I believe, then the other day as well. And there was one a few years back where they won the charity race and came out to one next time out. I know that Stuart Edmonds had one, Red Royalist, who won a charity race and won his next start. It's definitely a trend worth following.
The barrier
quite a nice
trials
time
aren't
in
included,
charity
are
race,
they?
didn't they?
The schooling hurdles, schooling bumpers. You know, it's always hilarious, isn't it, when you get one in the winter?
Very nice little day out for them, a charity race.
Yeah.
Well, listen, absolutely. It's a dark shot. He's the Magnolia Cup winner. He's run loads of times, hasn't he?
And he's great after a quick turnaround as well, so that would be in his favour. And he took forever to pull up after the Magnolia Cup the other day, and he's got a horse that's really good on the back of a quick turnaround.
Hang on a
Quite
minute.
astute, the
outsider.
Dixons as well.
Hang on a minute. Are you tipping this?
No. I know, after all of that, no.
I tell you what, Barry, Mockatiel, who you called Mocktail. I know you've never had a mocktail in your life.
Only on the proper stuff, Barry.
Absolutely. Every time I see this horse running, to give you a bit more confidence, he very nearly wins.
I don't know whether you can say that. There's a kid that rode him earlier on the season that I really kind of latched onto, that Connor Planas, when he rode him here in Goodwood, and then I backed him in Chester. Now, he wasn't beating that far in Chester afterwards, but like I say, he missed a kick that day. And then, although he's only beaten 2.5 lengths in the dash, like over 5 furlongs, he seems to be finishing his race as well. So I'm hoping that the step up to 6 now will that he's ready for that step up to 6, because he struggled over 6 a couple of times before. But I'm hoping just with his age now, he's ready for that. And he's not just one of those horses that is losing interest early and that just running on past tired and beating horses. You know, this is the last day for him in my book.
Well, the point being, I don't watch all of his races, but when I do watch his races, I'm like, is he going to win again? It's almost like he runs every week. It's a bit like
Medge
the
Medge.
Ledge. I was going to
Medge Village.
Medge the Ledge. Yeah, is he running today? Probably
Yes,
somewhere,
he
is he? He probably is, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he
Mockatiel's got the best speed figure that I can see in this race as well, so that's Barry's selection. Barry's under
Some horses just love racing, though. This is what George Bow was saying about Oscula. Just
Get
loves
it out.
Yeah, so I mean, the Johnsons aren't shy of running horses. I suppose it just depends on how the horse takes racing, doesn't it?
Big fan to see that.
Some
Absolutely.
of them
Get 'em out and run.
need time, or some of them thrive from it.
Yeah, it's we don't worry about. It's a horse's
I'd
second
like a
run.
break if I was a horse. Go back to my stable, have
I've
something
seen a
to
few
eat.
horses this week
have
that
a
could
nap.
have done with a break, like we gave you yesterday.
Have a little trot up the gallops, go for a swim,
Do you
maybe
feel-
think about racing
Do you
again.
feel like you can get the trip now that we've given you a day off?
So now you've had your refresh.
Yeah, love my day
No
off.
bounce factor here.
Well, we shall see as the show progresses. Let's get social. The mighty Gomez, one of our regulars. The Lamplighter will either win or finish last. All right, let's give this one a chat before we get the tips from the ladies and myself. The Lamplighter, course and distance winner, of course, for George Baker, who has got a right chance coming up later on the card in the mile 6 race. He loves the place, says George, and
Yeah,
loves
he does.
fast ground. Tick, tick, mighty Gomez. He ran in this race last year, but the rain came and it was against him. It's not going to rain until 2030, so we'll be okay, says George. Good line, George. And we're looking forward to it. He's probably right as well, isn't he?
Yeah, but then it has been that year since his last win, but very consistent, had some decent seconds. Yeah, you could see. I wouldn't put anyone off any tips at bigger prices.
It's a very fairy trade.
Is anyone
process.
going for the lethal? You've obviously put him
Yes.
up in your column.
Yeah.
And you're
think
just
the price-
sticking with it, just wins.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he should prove so much better than these, and it's only a benefit to him that this is a weaker or a thinner, I wouldn't say weaker renewal, a thinner on the ground renewal. I think he's got a cracking draw then in stall 3 as well. Now, we do have to talk about the draw, of course, because yesterday it completely threw us, where in the King George they came down the centre, and then we had the nursery later on, where they came down the stand side. Who knows? They just seem to be following the fastest horse. Trying to predict who's the fastest horse is a whole other entity. The better ground, according to the going stick, is middle to far side. But the pace then in the Stewards Cup later on is all near side.
which is high, of course, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So who knows? But Lethal Levi, I don't think it'll matter because we know what we're going to get from him. He's going to blast from stall 3, get into no trouble. He'll be on the better ground anyway on that part of the track as well. So just Pierre-Louis Durand, just keep it very straightforward.
He's a very interesting horse because when I remember when he got beaten at York, and then I remember the start of the season when he won it at Yarmouth. I think I might have written up that race. Let me just check it out. I did. Shall I see what I said?
remember.
Shall I see what I said?
Yeah, go on.
Hang on,
Yes,
I've
see your
got 2
comments.
kids. I've got a lot to remember. Right, toughed it out to hand Karlberg a hat-trick in the race. So the Sounder surface proved up his street and it rated a career best. He can go on from this. Ooh, I was right.
You haven't got anything to remember, you 2 kids. You just got the most cute daughter ever who always says, I want rice.
That's what you were saying before we
I
started.
want
with Barry,
rice.
so-
I'm on Charlotte's
She tried to
wavelength.
convince me to serve her a burger at 10 a.m. this morning.
10 a.m. she was a burger. She sounds
I
like
hope you did.
She sounds like my kind of girl. She really does.
She definitely is now.
Sticking on the lethal theme.
Right.
My tip is very boring, and Lethal Levi I do think is the winner. Now I thought
You're going for this today, ladies. Aren't
going
you?
for it, going for the cup.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize, but on the lethal train of thought, the horse I thought had an each-way squeak
Go
is
on.
sired by Lethal Force. I often get the name wrong. Mitro's on fire. Mitro's on fire. So apologies for my pronunciation.
I think Mitro's on fire.
Mitro's on fire, I think. I just thought I had a right squeak in this because, to be fair, 2 solid efforts since that good Nottingham win. He's going to need a career best, let's be honest, in this race. But we know that William Muir and Chris Grassick had a great day in the limelight, of course, last weekend with Pile Drive. That was amazing, great narrative. And I just thought, this latest third at Ascot, I thought that was a pretty sound race. The race time was sound. They didn't go a massive gallop. I could see this horse hitting the frame, and 17s at the moment, I thought could be worth a squeak if you're looking for a little bit of value away from the hot pot.
You're doing what you did in the first race pretty much, aren't you? You expect the Fav to take a lot of beating, but you think this one could give it a run.
Yeah, and I'd be hopeful it'd hit the frame. I hope so anyway.
You're
'cause
covering yourself with the draw as well because you've got Lethal Levi.
I am.
I mean, when they've got 12 runners, it's not going to fan all the way across. I'll tell you what will be very interesting for the 320 for the biggie. If Lethal Levi makes a beeline, then we'll know pretty much what the jocks might be thinking of doing at 320. Whereas Mitro's on fire is, of course, down the stand side. Now I have to try and remind myself what I tipped in this, but I've gone for someone who might hopefully pounce on Lethal Levi towards the finish.
And that
And
is...
I must admit, he's a really consistent horse. I haven't got him right this year, despite the fact he has won twice. He's in stall 1. He's trained by James Evans, and he's ridden by Dougie Cost.
I thought you were going to say a bait.
Very consistent Dream Composer.
The Dream Composer. Let's see what James Evans, the trainer, says. Been really good form like this year. He likes Goodwood. I think
Course and
that
distance winner,
is key.
Yeah.
He's only run here twice, a second and a win. His best form is with a bit of dig underfoot, but even looking at that home straight in the first, you can see the watering has been, I think, spot on this week at Goodwood.
His form in 2022 is excellent. It's so consistent.
Yeah, there was one. I'll tell you why I haven't got him right. I went for him once.
And he's
I think
quick.
it was his second place. He is quick. It's the personal best that he will need, says James. But tracking the Fav from stall 1 should be ideal for him. Usually, don't like my wings, as you well know.
Unless you're flying to Italy on him.
Unless I'm
Yeah,
I
like
was absolutely on fire. However, this one, I think, because we've got the pace setter right next door to us, I can forgive. And it's not really a race that I'm massive on. I didn't like Nelson Gay. He's been really weak, Nelson Gay, despite the fact that Ryan Moore sits in it. Many a Star, not totally sure about it. I wanted to see last time, although the money came for Many a Star last time. And Paul and Oliver Cole are on a bit of a high, aren't they?
Yeah, I
After
looked at Many a Star, but then no, I still came down on Mike just on fire. But I can see that you can't put anyone off having looking for a bit more value in this race, can you? Or doing some sort of forecast, like Barry said. That's why we're showcasing reverse forecast, all those sorts of things where you can get more value. It's just picking the one that comes second.
Ever since you landed that combination tricast, you've just done nothing but put up exotic bets. All right. Let's have a look at the market again, Barry, if you don't mind. It's this. I mean, this is 10's bar, is it?
214 now. Yeah. So a little over 11 to 10. Your favourite Lethal Levi. Many a Star is 11.0. So 10 to 1 bar on the exchange. 9 to 1 bar. Dream Composer into 10 now. 17 Mitro's on fire. Nelson Gay 16. 22 the Lamp Lighter. Get Till is into 25 now from 27 that we've backed that at. Stone of Destiny, another one that has a sneaky chance, is 28, but it's a competitive enough bet, and he, considering the favourite's so short, it's got a decent each way make up to it. That's why there's 4 places on the sportsbook.
I'll tell you what, Barry, when I first looked at the decks for this race, Stone of Destiny was my original choice, and then I saw that he ran earlier in the meeting. Because I've been away, obviously, and I was like, oh, you fiend of a horse, Stone of Destiny. He's just the sort of horse, isn't he, Barry, that when you take your eye off him, he'll go and pop up.
Yeah, and you know what won that race?
Go on.
Same horse that won it last year that I backed, Lord Ritterford, and I didn't think it would be soft enough for him. I thought he needed to get his toe in a bit, but obviously they put plenty of water down as well, because wasn't that Trushan's day? Yeah, so that was the Tuesday, so they had given plenty of water. But Lord Ritterford won the race. Yeah, but he ran in that. He was disappointing in it, but he's turning out quick, so he must be in hale and hearty form at home.
I think so. Either that or he's annoying them. It's King Power and Balding, guys, and I want to give you an interesting quote from the first race, if you don't mind. We've got time.
It was the first time cheek pieces as well, Dave. Just a note. They left
for Stone of Destiny?
Yeah, during the week, yeah.
All right, I'm going to hold off for the Andrew Balding quote that James Byrne has sent me from the track. I wrote and put it down there because Frizzy Red comes on and says, I think Berkshire is slowing up a tad. A bit after an amazing season so far with sprinters, hard to argue with El Caballo and the likes. You've been a long year, isn't it? I just feel fave is worth taking on because of that. I think this reminds me, Frizzy, a little bit of Lazoo last Saturday at Ascot. It was the hot pot horse for loads of people. Because we've had Classic in the 105, it was a shorter price. Did you like that? You were starting to do a little jig then.
I was doing Lazoo.
Oh, yes, indeed. Kazoo, Lazoo. Thank goodness you weren't in last Saturday. Most of us took on Lazoo by UK, but the market suggested it was going to win, and it did. This has a similar feel to it, right?
Yeah, completely. It does, doesn't it? I mean, the fact that Lethal Levi is just getting shorter and shorter.
The rest are so big.
Yeah, the rest are so big then, but it's so difficult to get away from him. I know it's a sprint handicap, so it's always going to open itself to needing plenty of luck in running there, but he's just so well in this race, and it is. Like you say, Lazoo went and justified it last week. I think it was the only winner I got on last week's show, actually, on the Saturday, so yeah, all credit to Lazoo for that. But yeah, Lethal Levi, there's just not much not to like about him. And even when you run the trends for this race, he ticks all of the boxes. The perfect turnaround time. The fact he ran well in a handicap then last time out.
Okay.
He ran in the correct race. He comes into this race on the back of 8 starts this season, which is the optimal amount of runs in that season as well. You need to come into this with basically heavy conditioning from the season previous. He's likely to go forwards. For draws, spot on, even away from his actual form and how well in he is, he ticks every box.
I love this because Nat's. Are your extensive notes, the same as Kate's there? Because you've obviously written quite a lot down. I'm just checking to see. Did you have all those trends on your notes?
On the specialist paper, though.
No, I
do you
don't.
Want to hold up your notes so people can see what we look at this.
Wait,
we
which
give her
camera
3
do I-
days presenting, and she gets her own folder with Racing Post noted paper.
I know, I didn't know you.
And then
Never had that.
just to really show off.
Oh yes, I see. It's all right, Nat. We all know. All right, so Frizzy, look, I'm just checking out Burke's form there, and actually Lethal Levi a week ago was his last runner. Now you might say, well, nothing wrong with stable form. He's had a winner a week ago. I think he had something like 20 horses beaten since then. So many he's run. So I can see that.
Yeah.
We're going to find out maybe a bit more about that. Thanks for that, Frizzy. Now, the Balding quote from the Foxes. This is interesting and backs up what Oisin Murphy had said to us pre-Royal Ascot. I think he went off a massive price at the Chesham. However, Andrew Balding says, I was crestfallen, blimey, when the Foxes was beaten at Ascot in the Chesham. Bearing in mind he'd only run his, maiden fourth or whatever, but he ran no race. I've always thought an awful lot of him, backed up.
Yep.
7 furlongs is the bare minimum. He should say a lot further, Kate.
There you go.
In terms of ability, he's up there with Bangkok again. Who, if you
Tried
know,
the Derby, ran in the Derby, and he's related to him.
And behind the scenes, they always thought Bangkok was going to be the world beater. Hence, King Power, Thailand. That's why they called him Bangkok, right? But he's a lot more relaxed, this chap, forward and switched on. I think we'll go for a stakes race next.
There you go.
Mention quietly the Royal Lodge afterwards. So we have seen one in the first, and I think that is a strong race, guys. I take it all back, ITV.
Because he's related to Bangkok, isn't he? As well, that lad. So Bangkok didn't stay the Derby trip, but this lad may have.
He was very frizzy fizzy.
Yes, he was, which probably.
And he turned into a bit of a George Washington, you know.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to get married and ditched at the altar, that sort of thing. He just went a bit nutty, didn't he?
Yeah.
But the ability was there.
They always turn their horses out very, very well, the Burke team, don't they? They always have the
They're
horses
on their way
looking
down finally, guys. You'll be thrilled to know.
picture perfect.
Are we going to be on time here as well, Kate?
I
It's because it's a
40.
Saturday.
I think we are.
Yeah, I'd say someone's given them a hefty
Rollicking.
nudge.
And yeah, on a Saturday, there's no room really
There isn't,
for
is there? Like, so you know
delay.
better than anyone that.
There's no room for delay,
I
really.
was saying this yesterday. ITV can't have been happy about these late off times, but they had ample amount of time between races. We've got the 2 Newmarket races today. They're a lot more pressed for time.
Yeah, there's
She's
nothing
always
worse.
mentioning about something post-show. Always. I always get a WhatsApp saying, I don't know if you've seen this, but could you know what I mean? She vents at people. We're not going to name any names, but some racing professionals have felt the post-racing wrath of Natalie Green.
No, there's nothing worse though than filling a bit more time, is they just want to.
Yeah.
Off when it's off, that's the time.
But you do confront them, don't you, as well? It's not like you sort of hide behind a bushel and then you have to sort of go, oh, he's really nice, really.
Oh yeah, I do. If something annoys me, I just sort of send a message like, "Why'd you do that? Why did you do that?" And then they write back, "I'm so sorry. Oh God, Nats didn't mean it like that."
Give us an example, not naming names,
no,
but
no,
Just
no.
like if a jockey won't if a jockey won't do an interview, I'm like, why wouldn't you do an interview? It's
There was
ridiculous.
one very,
and they're like,
very prolific jockey the other day.
and they're like,
that
I'm
got
so sorry. It's not because of that. It's because I'm like, well, it is because of that. Because I had 2 minutes to interview. You didn't do the interviews, and I had to find someone else. So it is because of that. But anyway.
We've all got a job to do, in other words, and you're quite right about that. Trust me, I used to have
Well,
that
you
when I used
couldn't
to
get
go
away
down
with it
there.
in football. You don't get away with it in tennis. You don't get away with it in other sports. And
it's good for them. It's their own promotion.
they.
I don't get why people don't really. I know plenty of people. Their job is to be a sports person, but nowadays it's a whole role in
I think
itself.
some of it's a bit of
Play the media.
mistrust. Like they don't know what. I mean, I'm
What are
never
you
going
gonna
to
ask? What are you
put
gonna-
someone
you're not
under
gonna
the
throw them
cosh.
under the
I'm never going to ask her. I'm there to promote. I'm
You're not
there
going to do
to.
a Paxman on them.
No, because I'm there to promote the sport. Because I'm
A
passionate
Morgan.
about the sport. Yeah, I'm not
No,
gonna.
and
I'm not gonna do a Piers Morgan
Andrew
on them.
Neil on them or something like that.
So back in. I'm not gonna-
He's gone odds on now, Barry, on course. What is he on the exchange? The value's still there,
Yeah,
right?
he's just evens, 202 at the moment. Little Levi. Dream Composer continues to attract support, Dave, into 9.2 on the exchange. 11, many a star, is steady at that, it has to be said. Metro's on fire is 18.5. He's quite negative. Nelson Gray the same, and it's 26 far. At the moment, we've matched 500,000 in this race, and 350 of it is on the favourite. So you'd expect that considering his price.
Yes, fair enough. Okay, all right. So I'm looking for holes in this fav, and the one that I can really see is a horse next door to him called a bait.
A bait to push him on.
That's what I thought. You're.
You'd say that.
But can he go with him? It was
No.
Holly Dawes is on a bait, and Adrian Nichols' horse, who's been dancing some good dance and won on his penultimate start. The worry is that they do set it up for something like Dream Composer. I mean, I'm obviously hoping that does happen. But they tried to get him into Stewards Cup, hence they ran him quickly after the Newmarket Scorcher. And again, he provided their different track as well. I know that he's handled the undulations of the July course, but this has got Camber here. You don't know until they go on it. And Mitros on fire, very steady as well, Nat, for you as well. How does he look? Have you had a little look at him?
Well, Barry said that it wasn't so good for Mitchell's on fires. It's now like
He's a
21.
bit negative. He's 8 to 20.
I thought he'd be setting himself up to go back to the grey horse handicap. To be honest, he won that, didn't he? Was it last
desperately
year?
In July meeting, isn't it? Or
Yeah,
July track, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. In mid-August, then. I thought he'd be setting himself back up to go and defend his title because he won that off of this pound lower last year. So I thought he'd be heading back there, especially
Desperately
because
trying to see him actually.
because he won the grey horse handicap, but he was one of those horses where he was like, he's not really that grey. He kind of felt a bit of a. There are a few horses in it that were because they're
Steel
younger,
grey.
they haven't got whiter yet. So he was sort of one of those fiends in the grey horse handicap.
No, well, quite, absolutely. All right, Lethal Levi then. Is he going to be
Odds
absolutely
on now,
ruthless?
198.
Yeah, the exchange is mirroring it. You can tell it's been a long wait for Bazza there. He's just having a... Get yourself an espresso, Barry. Did you go for one of your walks this morning, Barry?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I got drowned as well. It lashed rain over here this morning.
Did it?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Heavy rain.
We could do with some of that. Of course, Galway is alive, isn't it? It goes
Yes.
on until tomorrow.
Yeah, loads of non-runners there as well, I'd say, because of the rain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It can be brutal there, can't it, when it rains? I haven't really got... It's a bugbear this week that I had to go to Italy because I do like to... I really like to get my teeth stuck into Galway.
Are you moaning about going on holiday?
It was a family wedding. It's holiday
to be
stretching.
there.
But I do like to. I worked it out a long time ago, Galway, and I've had some great weeks there.
Your pick looks good, Dave. Dream Composer wants to get on with things. Looks
Nice.
very nice in the preliminaries.
Nice. It's just whether he can carry
he
a mark of
fighting
88,
fit.
but he will never have a better chance to defy a mark of 88. I don't think this
Really
horse.
well. Do you know what we've noticed this week through Goodwood? We mentioned it every day, so I may as well mention it again. But how they get so agitated down at the start, and G-Rod thinks it's because of the horse flies.
Does he? Why does he think? What?
It's time of year for horse flies, isn't it?
It is, but does he have?
That's me speechless.
Because he's G-Rod, Kate.
Because he's G-Rod.
Because he's G-Rod.
Don't ask.
And it is the time of year.
best not ask. Yeah,
It is the time of year for horse flies. I've got
It is, but
many
does he
stars to prove it if you want to see the
I can
nick of
just
my
picture
arm.
his
down
face, saying it with a deadpan face. Horseflies.
That's what I said.
Natalie was encouraging the conversation as well by showing her horsefly bite on her elbow.
Are they worse than normal
They're
ones?
huge.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, right, okay, hang on, Barry. Yeah, enough of horsefly bites.
I'm just trying to show you a bit of flesh, really, to keep it spicy in the studio, you know.
Like your curry pre-show. I'll tell you what, Barry, thank goodness she's not in next Saturday. You don't have
Oh,
to bear
many a
that.
star looks nice.
Many a stars. Chestnuts, that's why.
very flashy with the full
Paul
white
and Oliver
socks.
Cole. I heard from Oliver Cole when I was in Italy, actually, pre-Royal Scotsman. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Is he going to tell me to have my life
Your
savings
pick,
on?
Dave. Dream Composer's absolutely
Dream Composer will
boinging into the stalls.
load
He's
himself.
going to load himself in a canter.
What a good
Oh, he's in
boy.
like
Oh,
a
he's
pro.
in.
Look
Oh,
at
he
that.
is.
He
He
love that.
wants to get on with this.
Oh, that was
So much.
swinging,
Come on.
wasn't it, into the stalls? Off
Dave
he goes.
Orton might be getting this
away
one.
we
Oh,
go
he's
then,
missed a break.
and unsurprisingly, I'll tell you what, Levi's missed the
Missed
kick.
it.
Oh my goodness, watch this price go
Back
right
on
up.
his
He's going to, I'll
haunches.
tell you what, put another 0.
9 to 4.
Where's he going to
Off the back of
go?
that.
Oh
Get
no, he's
heels,
panicking
eh?
now.
How's he
Pierre
not
Louis
bigger?
panicking.
He's got to come from near last to first. Now,
Don't
as
panic,
expected,
don't
Digital
panic.
up there on the near side. Many a star, Tom Marquardt, he can't settle it. Stone of Destiny out the back. Mocketeer out the back. Barry's selection, amazingly, my selection is leading Lethal Levi. This is, you just don't know what you're going to get, guys, do you?
just
Dark
don't.
Shot up
Lean in
there
on
as well. They're coming near side, that's the other thing to say. The Lamplighter, we saw some love for that, didn't we, out the back? Treacherous there. Nelson Gay as well. The Fav is not loving life,
Lethal
guys, is
Levi
it?
getting reminders, 2 out. Come
Here
on.
comes the composer. Now, Dougie Costello would have been looking for Lethal Levi at this point. Look, many a star
ten
at this
hand
point.
in hand.
Could this be a
You're
cold
hand in
double? This is on the stands rail. This is going to be huge. I
My
think.
grey's a bit
Stand,
stuck
stand.
here.
The
Watching
Fav
some
has had
fire.
an absolute mare.
Jolly. No.
Look at
No, he's
Digital's
had a
coming
mare,
with
yeah.
it as well. Dark
I've
Shots
got no
winning a great
room.
race.
Bait.
What's this? A bait on down the middle as well. Dream Composer's not fired at all today. The Lamplighter
Many a
coming
star.
late. Is the Lamplighter going to get up here? Many a star on the near side.
Many a
Looks
star,
like it's going to get it.
Lamplighter.
What's this? Dark Shot in the middle. The Lamplighter. Many a star.
Not like to call that one.
Chuck that
The
trophy out
Lamplighter
there.
and many a star.
I think
Yeah,
Many
I
a
think
Star's
it's between
nabbed
the
him.
pair of
I
those
might be
two.
wrong. Don't bet on that.
5 many a star. 105. 20 to 1 on many a star. 16 the Lamplighter.
A dark shot down the
wow.
middle as well.
That's
Now 33 to 1 on in the photo. Many a star. What's the horse in the middle?
Dark shot. The
That's Dark
outsider,
Shot.
the outsider of the field.
Yeah, Many a
there.
Star's won, guys. Stone of Destiny running on all too late into fourth like he usually does. Mitros on fire on the near side. Wow-wee. The hot pot of the day. We've had 2 odds-on shots.
Chuck that trophy out. Just
Yes.
check it out the studio for a
Hang
minute.
on a minute. No. We're sort of defaulting here. It's all right. I've still got it.
Throw it away.
No, it might come next to you soon. Look, guys, if you're on Lethal Levi, it was all about the start. Memories of Golden Pallet, Royal Ascot there, right, almost, wasn't it? He has to lead that horse, and he didn't look in love with the track either. Plan Z, that was, for Pierre-Louis Jamin. And Many a Star, the money came for him last time. He's a big old boy, isn't he? Go on, Barry.
12.
Still 12.
Still 12. Yeah,
12 of 12.
on the near
Yeah.
side. So
12 or 12 down this
And
side.
there's a
I
lot
think
of
that's
pace.
the point. You say he's a big old boy. It really looks
lovely.
so powerful and covers the ground.
Tom Marquardt, so important for him, I
Brilliantly.
think.
Got no run whatsoever. Do you know that?
Which one?
Stone of Destiny got no run whatsoever.
You're not going to back in next time,
Murdered
are
he
you?
was.
Oh, man.
I-
oh,
Tell you
boy.
one horse I'll be leaving alone as well is Mocketeer. Touching that again, 6 furlongs. I thought maybe to step up and trip. No, I just say he's no trip now until he drops down the handicap a bit. The runner-up was Masha 5s on the Betfair Exchange in running day. Over 150 quid, around 150 quid, matched a 5 to 1 on the Lamplighter. But Yeah, I think you want to be the stand side, don't you?
Well, look, we said, Barry, when the draw came out, all the pace looks to be in the high numbers, which is stands rail, as I'm sure most of you know. Yesterday in the King George Sprint, they all went over the far side, and we thought, oh, okay, maybe that's where they think they want to be. And then, as Kate said later on, then they changed their minds, came stand side as well. This, I think, guys, was about the pace, because we don't know, because Lethal Levi was expected to lead them down the middle. He fell out the gates. So the pace was Digital, who came stand side. It just turns out the horse who's got the rail has won.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I will be backing Meatron's Fire again, because
he's found trouble, isn't he?
He found trouble. A furlong out, he then had to go, oh my God, where am I actually going to go? He's right behind the winner. He gives the horse a slap down the bottom. He picks up, to be fair to him. He's actually, Dave, watch this now, he's really running on to the line, but he just found trouble at a crucial part of the race. I'm not saying it because it was my pick. I'm saying it because I genuinely will be going in again on Meatron's Fire.
Handicap.
Yeah.
When he goes back there, if he gets put down a pound, then that will see him on his winning mark of that race last year. Go back there again. More like him running. Winning back to back.
No, I like the horse, so yeah, I'm certainly not going to put me off. It was plenty of trouble here.
This chap he started with the now absent trainer James Given, went to Brian Mee, and Brian didn't quite get the best out of him actually. He was fancied on his first runs looking at the betting for him. The Coles, he's a big boy. They came for him last time. In fact, he started favourite on his last 3 starts. He's been no bigger than 7-1. That was at Windsor, which you wouldn't see that track suiting him at all. He was behind a bait last time. He was reversed that form with. Now look at him here. He looks like he's going to go and win quite well. He's either had to think about it, or he's just I don't know. He's massive, isn't he?
He is massive, about a furlong out, Tom is really, really getting animated, and at this point, I suppose, half a furlong out, you're thinking, oh, but the way he picks up now, that's where I think he looked impressive.
You know, because
the
close.
favourite was left and everything, but he still emptied very quickly.
Oh, very much so. That was very disappointing.
Something in that Carl Burke thing that one of our
Frizzy
interactions was it Red Frizzy? Yeah, Red Frizzy said there could definitely be something in that.
Or Frizzy Red.
They've been placing, but the favourites have been placing. Sorry, looking at the Carl Burke form there. I mean, they haven't been running disgracefully.
This was from the start. This guy lost it from the start.
Oh, I'm so gutted about that. I thought he was an
happy
absolute certainty for that race.
Loads of people did, Kate.
He was an absolute certainty for that. He sat back on his haunches coming out of his stalls. He was a bit agitated in there. He missed the break. He was on the wrong part of a track, as it turns out, where the pace you wanted to be up with the pace. And it's interesting because Tom Marquand taken over in the saddle this time from Mohamed Tabti, who's a £7 claimer. Now, for all he got put down £2 for last time out, he was actually £5 worse off with Tom Marquand on his back here, hence why I didn't really fancy his chances on that basis, because he was worse off at the weights, had to bounce back, had that high draw, though, which was clearly all important, and had a seamless run where I thought that he would get stuck. If they did go down that way with the pace, he would probably get into a little bit of trouble. Hasn't, though. And I think that winning that, it would just get him into the Great St Wilfrid if he wanted to go for that at Ripon in mid-August.
Oh, look at Ollie there. Look at Ollie bunched in the connections. Ollie Cole, the joint trainer. I told you so.
I
just reminded me so much
of
Prince Charles. I can't begin to tell you. He left me a voice note on WhatsApp as I was trying to tell you as we went into the stalls, and it was before Royal Scotsman run, and he said, "Oh hi Dave, how are you? I hope you're very well."
That's
and all that sort of thing. And he just reminds you so much. He's been on the show, you know, Ollie Cole.
Has he?
Yeah, we had him on. Yeah, me, Bruce, and Barry did one. And
not this show, no.
Well, who would it have been? Would it have been Hubbard? It must have been Neil Hubbard then, back in the day. He came on this show and he was really good. We had him on a What a Shout, and he was so good. He was so up for it.
Yeah.
And he came bouncing in, and we were like, Ollie, do you want to come on live? And he came and did it, and he came in late, and he was a bit flustered. And they had a few runners, and the Duke maybe it was Goodwood, actually, because the Duke was running. And he didn't run very well, but he told us that he had something for the Cambridgeshire. There had 2 horses in it. One went off about 14s and one went off about 50s. And, of course, the 50-1 shot won it. Was it Majestic Dawn?
Oh, my goodness.
And I heard from him after that going, I told you so. And he gave me this voice note, and I thought, oh, Royal Scotsman, is he going to tell me to have my lot on it or something like that? And how are you, Dave? Maybe I want to come back on live. I hope you're very well. Where are you? And the wife and the kids, all that sort of thing. And I went, get to it. And he went, have you got Kills' number? So I just had to get, and I said, oh, cheers, Ollie, there you go. So God knows what he wanted Kills for.
Yeah.
I thought Kills might have said something bad about his 2-year-old, but anyway, Good to see the Coles back up and running. That's 2 winners for them
Yeah.
on the week. When they're hot, those guys. And Kate says maybe look out for the Great St Wilfrid. And the Great St Wilfrid, from memory, Barry will know because he put up famously just another bottle last year. You need to be drawn high. You need to lead. I think there are 2 big
Pretty sure,
requisites of that race, aren't
Yeah, so he could get to near enough to the front then.
I always quite like that race.
they? What the St Wilfrid?
Yeah.
Is that on the? When is that on the calendar? The Great
Mid-August
St
it
Wilfrid.
is.
Is it the 13th?
Something like that. I don't know when it is, but mid-August, some point.
If it is,
I'm
we're
in,
doing that show.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you
Good
get to do
race.
the Great St Wilfrid with
Yeah,
us.
good
Happy
race.
days.
I like that race.
Okay, Barry, how's the lucky 15 looking, Barry, after the first? Obviously, we have one down.
Beat out, Mockatil beat out in the first leg.
Yeah, all right, so we've still got 3 running for us in that. But, of course, we know it's okay. We got a tenner back.
Sorry, you cut out there.
I said, it's okay because we got our tenner back.
Yeah, we get our tenner back. Yeah, if that's what it costs you. Obviously, the lucky 15 costs us 30, but we do get a 10 out of that back. The horse I like here, Queen of Deauville. At the moment, Fox Degree is your favourite at 11-4. Bang on that. The exchange 3.75, 5.7 Queen of Deauville, 6.4 Immortal Beauty. Queen of Uplands is 7, and it's 10 bar. I like Queen of Deauville. She won first time up in Carlisle. Novice. Thought she was good enough to go into the Queen Mary then, but she ran as her price suggests. She was a 66-1 chance there behind Dramatised and finished down the field. And then she ran in a nursery in Haydock last time out. It wasn't a bad run at all on soft ground. She was beaten 2.5 lengths. Has won since. And the winner, Ramazan, looks a pretty smart type. So what we're going to do here, Kate, please, we're going to have 25 again on Queen of Deauville, but we're going to set our own odds. I'd like to back her at around 6.0. So if you click the back button, please, Kate, and then populate that box with 6, and then over to the stake section, put in 25 there. So that'll go into the lay, and we want someone to come in and lay us that bet. So we're setting our own odds, which is something you can do on the Betfair Exchange. Obviously, you're betting against other customers, and we can reassess that bet in a little bit.
Perfect. Let's go to the July course then, Barry, and Queen of Deauville. I must admit, Barry, I've landed on this as well. Let's get it out the way. Fox Decree I thought was short enough. Stepping up in triple suit, I know it had quite a bit on its, under the bonnet when it won at Fosslas still. And it's got a Lanfranco Dottore on it. But I had a little look down. I was expecting a bit more money for Immortal Beauty if it was fancied, of Ross Orion, who we well know, as I've said in the last couple of days, is one of my very top jockeys at the moment for the Hannons. As you've seen with Classic in the first race at Goodwood, when they really expect one, the money comes down for the Hannon team, and this has been a bit lukewarm considering it's moving into nurseries. I thought Buick for the Johnsons. I think she'll handle the ground. I think we can forgive that Ascot run. She was better last time. She got a bump at the start. I'm hoping that William will bounce her out from stall 5. I'm with you. Me and Barry agreeing then. In the first race that we're covering on the July course, love the July course at Newmarket this Saturday. Stewards Cup Saturday. Glorious, aren't we all? Marvellous at Goodwood. And I'm going to get back to winning ways here, and so's Barry. Are you with us?
I'm with the Queens, but I think I might, just for excitement, just to keep everyone on the absolute edge of their seats, this 155, I might go with Queen of Uplands.
Where is the Uplands? Something tells me it's in Lambourne, is it? Uplands.
Well, I may as well do something different. I
Leave it with me.
absolutely see the love for Queen of Deauville here, and there's no reason why she's not going to handle that ground. We've already said about Haydock. I was there that day actually, and look, she did look really good. But Queen of Uplands, I'll just be a bit different. I'd love to see Tom Dascombe have a winner today on a Saturday with his long-standing friend and jockey Richard Kingskirk. Of course, they go back a really long way. I think what we can pick about her a little bit and why I think it's a little bit of a risque bet. I mean, the price is 7, so not really worth an each way, is it? We're going to have to just be brave and go on the nose. But to be fair, she had 2 big runs at Newbury. Her debut was 5th. She weakened in the final furlong. She went to Bath. She hung left, lost her position. It kind of all went wrong, actually, at Bath.
Yeah. That was behind the zoo, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it just went wrong. And I think when it goes that wrong, I'm happy enough to try and draw a line through it, because back at Newbury, and she was 2nd, she was just shaping a lot better, more professional. What she's going to need is, which she should have, but she has got pace. this horse. She is pacey, and it needs a really positive ride from Richard. And I think those two things could be key. It's a bit risque, as I say. I think Queen of Deauville is the more likely winner, but Queen of Uplands just to take you and Barry on for a bit of fun.
Regal bet.
A regal bet. I like both the queens, and yeah, I'll just hedge my bets with Queen of Uplands. Let's see. I know Tom's not had the easiest of times either, but
interestingly, his first belated winner from his new base was kind of a same sort of profile, Felix Natalie's on Natalis.
Yes.
And had 3 runs in nurseries and then went on its 4th run to score. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is absolutely prime for today. And she does look interesting. It's whether she gets her own way or whether they try and... I mean, she's in stall 7. Now, I think Queen of Deauville...
Yeah.
Deauville.
Deauville?
Deauville.
My pronunciation.
Thinking of Cruella Deauville here.
They're nearly going in, guys, by the way.
Say Deauville.
So let's get some social then. Kate, of course, needs to come in as well. Can't look beyond Kingscote and Daskup says word to mother. So with Nat on that. And all sports fan Adam, one of my favourites out there. Transfer affection, each way value. Of course, transfer affection on the first day of the championship and the EFL starting. Good luck with you on that.
Yeah, could have a bit of potential.
Kieran Fallon, of course. Kate, what wins?
Oh, Fox Agree here. I'm with the Fav. Very unoriginal, I have to admit, siding with the Foss last form from last time out because, of course, Fox Agree then has a really likeable pedigree, as you tend to expect. Cost 200,000 guineas as a yearling. Clearly enough was expected then to be winning off of an opening mark of 69, which is exactly what she did when she was back over the 5 furlongs again. And the second horse that day, Carsib, was sent in as favourite. Disappointed a bit yesterday, travelled into that contest like the winner, but the further Fox Agree went, the better she got. So the step back up to 6 furlongs should really suit her, and she can defy the £6 rise.
Yeah, I agree on pedigree. She ought to really like it. Shouldn't it? Interesting that she's drawn in 1, so she's on the wing here. We'll see how exactly where Frankie goes with this. I'm expecting Queen of Deauville to get out and maybe be a bit more positive. So thank you, Kate, for that. I've got it. All right, good luck wherever you're playing the first race today at Newmarket. It's our 3rd race of the day. And
Where you go?
My
What
Lord,
is happening with all my horses at the start today? What is going on?
Already, Barry will tell us that I think Fox Decree, because of that horrible start, Barry,
At the
has gone right
6.2 from 11 to 4. Stone Cold Last is about 4 lengths off them.
Yeah, and you're happy now, Nat, because your horse has got a great break.
I am happy, actually, at the moment, Dave. And that was not the start that we all expected. But listen, we are...
I don't think William's going to be
too groups here. What's
yeah,
that?
This is weird.
So we've got Transfer Affection for All Sports Fan Adams on the far, so it's got the rail, but nothing. I'll tell you what, going really well is Queen of Uplands at the moment. Coming, I think, to try and annoy you is Immortal Beauty. Here we go. This is Queen of Deauville, is it?
Right.
I tell you what, Queen of Deauville's a shocker, isn't she? Here comes the Fav. She should really hit the ground. It's going to be Natalie and Kate, I think.
If she manages to win
Uplands, I think you've gone. Richard Kingscote gets out the Pro Cush. I don't think any of these going to catch this. Frankie's going to come with now up the climbing finish, which might be in the leader's favour. I'll tell you what, she's taking her time to get on. She's going to get dubbed, I think. No, she's going to get done. Immortal on the inside. Immortal Beauty's going to do it. Oh, that hill has just gone. She's going to feel so. Immortal Beauty, what a messy race that was. Ross at Ryan. It was a slow final furlong if you were with Nat and Queen of the Uplands there, because she cruised into it all the way having led, and as soon as they met that rising finish, you just knew. But Barry, those little rabbit 2-year-olds were all over the place.
Yeah, it was strange. They initially, obviously from the stalls, Fox Degree veered violently out to his right and probably forfeited all his chances. She's ran a cracker to get back into it and just get touched off. Queen of Upland traded low at 3.85. Immortal Beauty, your winner, had a Betfair SP of 7.1, so a little over 6 to 1. Hit a high in running of 8.2. That was pre-race. That wasn't even in running. And the horse that we backed, the Queen of Deauville, I think she hated ground out. I'd say she wants to get her toe in. She's ran on again at the finish past tired horses, but I'd say it's definitely ground with her.
She ran abysmally, and there had to be something wrong, didn't there? I agree. Line straight through that one.
But I looked at the ground with her. That's why I came down on the Queen of Uplands. But to be fair, she's won on good. Okay, she's disappointed to Ascot and on good to firm. Then she's come 3rd on soft.
I think it was soft side of good that day in Carlisle. The Times would suggest.
Yeah, maybe she's just not good enough.
Could be that.
That's just it. But Queen of Uplands, that hill, got a very
Yeah.
good ride from Richard. If you came back into that winning close, you would not say a bad word with Richard. Positive, brilliant, was there, and she just couldn't get there. So that's that. It's horse racing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
get up that
she
hill
will
properly.
be going to a stiff 5 or an easy 6,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah,
and I know it's a lot of downhill 6 on the July course, but that finish, having led,
Yeah, but she could. Yeah.
took the wind out of her sails. Kate, did you ever think you were going to get up at any stage on the Fav there?
No, not really, to be honest. I was cheering at home, but I didn't actually think that was ever going to happen, to be completely honest there. Because as soon as, with these 2-year-olds, when they're over the 6 furlongs, and especially because she has done her best work in the finish as well, I know she had the experience coming in here, but you're never going to make up that ground. And that's always the danger when they have, at this early stage in their career, if they're drawn on a wing, where the stalls are obviously on the July course there as well, where they're over towards that far side, that you are completely stuck in the middle of a race course. There's always that danger of lugging out. I think she's run remarkably well to get as close as she has to the winner. But Immortal Beauty, talk about Foss last form from my pick and the favourite, and then obviously the winner came into the race on the back of a second at Foss last, and the horse that beat her, One More for Luck, actually ran a corker in the super sprint at Newbury, proving that 125 to 1 win was no fluke. So there might be more solidity to this Foss last form than we usually give credit to.
I must admit, I look at Foss last form and go, ooh.
That and Chepstow. Ew.
Some people.
I don't.
Yeah, some people do
No
that.
offence to the Welsh.
Not a Welsh thing. It's not
Oh,
a
Welsh
Welsh
thing.
I love Foss
A
last.
lot
My
of my
favourite
family
thing is
are Welsh. So
my father-in-law calls it flow glass.
what Ray does?
He can't get it. He doesn't. I've told him that many times. Flow glass, he
Well,
calls
it
it.
is
Yeah, I'm
like
going to
it's in its
send
own planet.
such and such a flow glass. I'm like, what? Where? So funny, Foss lass. It's a quite cool track.
How
actually.
are the jumpers at this moment? Are they getting ready to cut? Are they sort of started work and all that sort of thing?
Yeah. Got a couple of good ones there. Ian Jardine's got a really nice horse
Name
called Done It Head. Very, very nice. You wouldn't have seen it. Had a setback. Massive thing. Ian's the only one that really rides it, so I'm quite excited about Done It Head. Traprain Law looks really nice. That's gone to Lucinda Russell, come over from France. So watch. Hey, I may as well join in with the jumpers, bumpers guide, whatever we call them, jump off, the great jump off.
You're on it. You've
I might
just
be able
signed
to
your
join
ticket.
in.
You're on it. Absolutely. We are going to be seeing a bit more of you, I think.
Jumpers
aren't we,
to
at the Racing
bumpers,
Post?
or we'll think of something.
Yeah. All right. There you are. Okay, a little teaser there, but it's interesting to know, isn't it? That despite the fact it's searingly hot, although thank goodness it's calmed down a little bit. It was raining in Ireland. We could do some rain, couldn't we? Really?
I know, it looks miserable over there, doesn't it? Galway.
I don't know.
It can change at Galway.
Because
so
you're a
quickly.
southerner, we could do with some rain. No, I don't need any more rain in Cheshire, thank you very much. It's miserable.
Well, in Costa del Bucks, we need lots of it.
Yeah,
all
well,
right,
you-
it's all the scorched earth and all that
Yes,
sort of stuff at the
it's
moment.
hot where you
and,
live.
I was thrilled to come back to this temperature, having been in Rome somehow in July. Anyway, right, we've got to go back because we're cooking with gas now. It's a return to Goodwood. It's nap time for me. But Kate, Tracey, and Barry are agreeing one in the blue colours of Godolphin.
Nap time for you. I'm looking forward to hearing that. It's very tight at the top here. Kemen is 5.8 along with Bagdoor. 6.2 Soapy Stevens. Trawlerman 7.6. 8.2 Valley Forge, and it's 18 bar Ryan Moore. Riding HMS President is 18. 22 bar them. Yeah, I like Trawlerman in it, please, Kate. We're going to back at winning place on the exchange. Last April, he broke his maiden in Ponty over a mile and a half on Good to Firm. He danced in there. He made all. He was considered good enough to run in the 365 Classic won by Alan Kerr that month. He was slowly away, never got into contention. He made his seasonal debut in April with a 10 furlongs win in Chelmsford and a handicap off 93. Disappointed in the Duke of Edinburgh, it has to be said, when he was 4-1 favourite, but he was drawn 3 there. He was quite keen, and he never got into contention. He's a horse that, has bags of ability. He was very short at one stage. He was in the 5.6 mark. He's out to 7.6. He's a little bit weak in the market, but I'm still going to have him. We're going to have 25 quid win at 7.6. Happy to be a price taker here. And then on the place market, there's 2, 3, 4, or 5 places here, Kate. We're going to look in the 4-place market, standard 4-place, where it's 2.34. We're going to have 25 quid of that as well, 11 to 8 to finish in the first 4 to cover our stake in the win side of that bet. So Trawlerman for me, guys.
Perfect.
There you go. All right. So he was a little bit lucky, wasn't he, on his last start? And this has been something of a Johnson's benefit, this. So Soapy Stevens on the hat-trick. Thought he probably would have got a favour, but a couple of horses really, really well back today, including my nap. But I shall go... Again, let's Let's move down, shall we? Kate, come on, this is the one. This is the one.
Yeah, well, hopefully I get a horse that actually breaks okay. I mean, admittedly, over a mile 6, I'm probably less inconvenienced than I have been for a couple of these sprint races. But yeah, without Sam Cook being in here, I'm now all about Trawler Man then as well, where, as Barry said, he was really heavily backed. I thought he was a very fair price originally. It was 10, I believe, and then he was into 5.5, and now obviously he's back out to whatever he is now, 8. So yeah, I think that's probably about the price I want for him, because he sort of was a bit of a talking horse earlier on, but the first time hood angle is fascinating for this horse. Over a mile 6, when you look at that on the face of it, you kind of think, I'm not entirely convinced by this, but the John and Thady Gosden strike rate then with a first time hood is brilliant. It's definitely a trend you want to keep on side anyway. And so far this season, you could just get the feeling this horse has more to offer, because he went into Royal Ascot as a 4-1 joint favourite, but as Barry said, he got away slowly there. He wasn't given a hard time of things whatsoever either. And then last time out, he got absolutely no run. It was just a horribly messy race behind Soapy. I still don't know how Soapy Stevens won that, to be honest with you. Really not a very nice race at all.
Franny Norton, I think he was just so good, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's it. And he's by Golden Horn. He's out of a 2-miler, so the trip is absolutely fine for Trawler Man as well, and should just have far more to come over this mile 6 now.
But something I'm going to pull you up on this, Tracey.
Go on then.
What's he wearing?
Hood.
A first-time hood.
Did you listen to anything I just said?
No, well, sort of.
No, you didn't.
I think it's your hood stat he might pull you up on here.
I'm getting what you said yesterday. You hate first-time hoods. Right?
Oh, you're pulling me up on that instead.
Yes.
I see. I thought you were going to pull me up on the fact that he's wearing that. Not when it's for a Gosden
Yesterday,
horse.
we went on a big spiel about hoods yesterday. You even told us why jockeys don't like them. You said, I hate first-time hoods. And I'm thinking to myself, while you're talking away there, I'm like, I can see an H and a 1 next to this, Miss Tracey.
But when you have, I haven't got the exact strike rate.
I pulled it back there, didn't I?
Then. Yeah, ready? It's going back with the backhand. Not when it comes to the Gosden yard, though. Their record with first-time hoods
There
is
are foibles,
brilliant.
okay. So when you're doing your little systems, you can pull that one out and just to move the ticks out.
Like we were saying, Andrew Boulding, first-time hood, terrible record. John Gosden, brilliant record.
Well, Gosden, interestingly, to back that up slightly from memory, has always been the one trainer, because of his American breeding, when he went over there and did so well when he first started training in his barns, he said that we'd always been a bit snobby about headgear.
Yeah.
Always. And he was back when Aidan O'Brien wasn't putting cheap pieces on horse and things like that. And Sir Michael Stout, etc., and Henry Cecil, God bless him, and all that sort of thing. He was the one that was happy to put headgear on his decent animals.
Yeah.
Whereas, the breeder owners and things like that, we can't have that, on the page and all that sort of stuff.
It's true, because you even look at Ballydoyle and, you'd never see any of their horses, obviously, not gelded or with a wind operation. But one thing they're never afraid to do is put headgear on a horse. We've seen that time and time again, that they don't think that that's going to impact any sort of stallion credentials then later down.
They just can't breathe instead.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
A few of them, I do wonder.
That's the thing, isn't it?
But yeah, but that would be sacrilege if you gave a potential stallion a wind operation. You can't do that, but you can put some headgear on him.
Well, okay, so that's of course, rule of the world, doing the first Derby winner to do it and all that sort of stuff. In cheap pieces, right? Not nap time yet. I feel like I'm surrounded by boss power today. I can tell you that much. But the spotlights, as you can see, that's what you get here on Race Suppose Live. We give you premium content basically, and the spotlights is there. This may be the time to catch Boss Power. Says, who's written this one? It's always Steve Boo whenever I look down. he's always doing the Saturday ones. And he's interesting at the weights. Valley Forge and Soapy Stevens are respected. Why is he going for Sir Michael
Is there a
Stanley?
Dalek in our ears?
That was.
Did you just hit
Barry, I think, in the back.
my head just went.
Barry occasionally listens. He's usually got that
Someone
tin earpiece.
Just the
hasn't he,
voices in your head now.
I've just been electrocuted by something.
He looks like he's on a submarine sometimes, Barry, when he's listening to... He very quickly thinks when he's off camera he can listen to it, and occasionally it trawls through. But he's getting quotes from the course and things like that, because he does... Yeah, there we go, yeah.
I thought there was a Dalek in my head. I honestly, my head was like...
As soon as I saw... Because we occasionally get him, because he's not sure. The producers go over to him. And therefore, you should surely be going for HMS President, shouldn't you, with Ryan Moore? But Boss Power is the pick. He goes back up in trip, says Alistair Donald, the racing manager for King Power, who've had a good day thus far, and he goes there with an each-way chance. I don't see it myself, Steve, because it's nap time. Oh, or is it?
No, you go first.
I'll go first. Holly wins this race.
Ooh.
Holly. Not just the Queen of Ascot.
Holly.
The Doiler.
This is the danger horse.
She is this is a proper danger. This is nap time. Semhan. I love this horse. He won a very good race at the Guineas meeting, beating Valley Forge, beating Soapy Stevens. He's on a right roll. He's on a right roll, this horse. And George Baker, I know, wanted to run him in the Copper Horse Handicap at Royal Ascot. He couldn't get into it off his mark. At Royal Ascot, as I always say, in your members club, you've got time to watch it back. We're, a couple of minutes away. He got no run whatsoever. And that can happen at Ascot, of course. If he handles this track, this is all over. Bargdor is the other one that's been really well back today. Some big tipsters have put this up. He's on a roll since he moved up in trip as well. He's got a slightly kinder draw, but I am loving this. A Nashwa type bride, please, Holly Doyle. This wins.
Yeah, wouldn't put anyone off that, Dave. I'm taking a slightly different angle.
Of course you are.
Ground isn't. I do agree with a lot of things Giva says or doesn't say or whatever, but I do think a good racehorse goes on ground, a good ground, good, whatever. But I think ground is key to Valley Forge, sadly. Valley Forge wants good to firm. It's just, look, in the Northumberland Plate, it's way too testing for Valley Forge. Obviously, Truchan was absolutely magic, but just didn't look like a going whatsoever. Everything is really respected, actually, back down in distance, Valley Forge. Look, he's a Melrose winner last year on good.
It's all about the Ebor, isn't it, next month?
Yeah, I mean,
which is, of course, this is a stepping stone towards that.
Yeah, he's also a 2-mile winner at Haydock on good ground. I just think Valley Forge has a great chance. Also in the Northumberland Plate, everything went wrong. He just travelled too quickly that day. You know, his stamina ran out. It was too testing. So I think Valley Forge on this ground is a cracking chance, and one I can't resist a big price. And do I think it's going to win? No, I don't. Would I like it to hit the frame? It's actually the other Charlie and Mark Johnson runner, the Max We Can. Interesting, with the headgear on a handy mark, and with Ben Curtis on board. At that price, 34 to hit the frame, I'd have a little squeak.
I know so much about the Max We Can, as a lot of you do out there. He's a 6-year-old, of course, and he has run in, at this festival loads. I think he should be 12. He's been around that long.
Yeah.
And I like him. The draw is interesting because he's out in 12, and that's not ideal for him. Ben Curtis is a great jockey booking for him, I think.
Ben on board with the headgear, return to this track. I just thought at the prices, at a big price, we could have a little bit on the Max We Can, can't we? But yeah. Valley Forge.
I like your angle with Valley Forge. I totally agree with you with a drop back. The way he travelled into the Northumberland Plate, he was so iconic. And to get into the Ebor, he's going to need to win this.
Well, that's the thing. A Melrose winner, which is, of course, the 3-year-old Ebor, as we call it, over the course of this, they immediately, you move back from the Ebor, right?
Yeah.
It's worth so bad. So to try and get him in,
they need to win this well.
I was just working out. I think I've tipped him on this show 4 of his last 5 runs, including at Newcastle. You might be right about that. He was beaten by Semhan comprehensively when they met, but he was stanking the betting that day. I think both me and Barry went for him at the Guineas meeting, and it was a sighter. And then we both put him up under probe at Haydock, and he was a massive price. They backed him in, and he got the job done, despite things going wrong in the final furlong. And for a lot of the home straight of the Northumberland Plate, I thought we were going to get the money. Oh my goodness, we're off and running. Okay, so will he go and do it for Natty here? Let's find out. Trawlerman then, right on the outside. Oh, that hood, Kate. I can see why you don't like him. He's throwing his head around a little bit. Ben Curtis has done extremely well to get the dour stayer that is the Max We Can up in front. And unsurprisingly, it's a Johnson 1-2-3. The peloton are leading at the moment for Bravehearts. Messy race.
Soapy Stevens
into
is
that first bend.
rotten keen.
Has he taken off, Kate?
He's trying to. He's trying his best to in Franny's hands.
Is he lathered with sweat?
He's not actually. One of the Johnston horses that actually hasn't been so far today.
Typical. He's called Soapy Stevens. He was
he's the only one.
Bargdor sitting just off them. Lovely sighter there just before we go to Barry. Semhan, I'm very happy with that. Holly's got a nice sit. All the way out the back in those very famous colours is You Can Glen. All right, Barry, how are they looking? They're not hanging around here, I don't think.
Yeah, Golden Flame out setting good fractions. He's 24, had a Betfair SP of 32. The Max We Can is there as well, Dave. You can see him. He's 15, had a Betfair SP at 34. So he's half in price. But at the head of the market, Bargdor with Niall Callahan is 4.57 to 2. 7.2, Trawlerman gets a nice sit for his jockey. And Seaham is 5.7.
Yeah, I'm very happy with Seaham at the moment. I think this is perfect. Valley Forge going nicely as well.
Quite keen, isn't he, Seaham?
Wasn't he? He was pretty keen.
His head's right up in the...
Just before...
He's kissing the clouds, isn't he?
He's very similar colours, isn't he, to Valley Forge at the back. We'll have to
Valley
watch
Forge
that.
is like opposite. Valley Forge has got his neck up and Seaham was... But he looks more settled now.
I'm not surprised Barkdoor
Yeah.
is favourite on the exchange at the moment because he has settled the hat-trick seeker very nicely.
I need to do a bit from here, though, don't I?
I'm quite happy where Holly is, I must say, because I know what the plan will be for this. It's an outside run with about 1.5, 2 to go, I think. You can, Glenn, of course, who ran in group company at the meeting last year, the old boy, seeing them all in, HMS president out the back as well. Kate, what do you reckon?
I'm happy enough. Yeah, the hood seems to have got him settled in a pretty good style. It's just whether or not he's there.
See what I mean about you
now then. But he's got a lovely sit there, coming wider, so hopefully he's not going to get involved in any sort of scrimmaging into the home straight. Obviously without the cutaway now as well. Then, so yeah, I'm happy where Benoit is at this current moment.
Not sure. I see what you mean about. I mean, Holly's come right down the middle here. I think she didn't want to go this soon.
She's probably doing. She had to make a choice though, Holly, because
he's
honestly,
his
head was in the sky. I've been tracking you the whole time, Dave.
Yes, you have.
On Valley Forge. I am tracking you like you wouldn't believe, and I'm just hoping that I'm gonna.
Sophie Stevens flashing.
I need to get through. Come on, Valley Forge. I need to get.
Keep going, Trawler Man.
Semon's
I'm not coming
He's going to get done by one of the Johnson
Man.
horses, I think. What's this on
Get
the
that
inside?
stamina. Get that stamina into play. Come on, Benoit. Keep going.
Sophie Stevens just does not know when he's
Holly!
beaten. Bardoor's the finisher. Bardoor's going to get you. Oh no, Benoit. You can hear in Dublin. He's back on a roll. It's 2 from 3 so far for Barry Trawlerman. That's what you all hope to see. Well done, Kate. Well done, Barry.
High five, Barry.
Yes.
Schmud. Kate Tracey, happy days. And
That's where Yukon Glen came from. The old Yukon Glen.
He did a Yukon Glen on them all, as per.
One of Bruce
He loves
Millington's
it, doesn't he?
favourites.
He loves coming there late.
Yukon Glen. He's absolutely flown. It was set up for a closer. That's why I was almost certain that Trawlerman was going to fall in a hole. I tell you what, we're looking at probably a horse that's going to go to Maidan. You would imagine for those staying races next year. He's that sort of horse. He just stays and stays and stays. His best form coming into this was on the all-weather, proved himself on turf, and Benoit was very cool there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. I was sort of saying, get after him, Benoit, because you could see for like Yukon Glen, who you know is always going to come there fast and late in the finish, did exactly that. He's a wonderful older boy, isn't he? Now 9 years old, Yukon Glen. Then you can see that Sophie Stevens, who's just a wonderful horse, he has that ungainly tail carriage where he flashes it around, but he just doesn't know when he's beaten. He won that messy race last time out where he's given himself, I think, more credit because of this defeat than to back up that win, because I didn't really know what to make of his win then last time out. I didn't think he should have done. And then the well-backed Bagdoor, who also came here in good form as well.
Yeah, he looked good.
Swimmer as well, but yeah, didn't handle that from an early stage. Got into a lovely position though. Really good ride by Neil Callan, who's obviously been riding out of his skin, hasn't he, since he's come back over here then. But really likeable from the winner though. Stays all day. Cesarewicz potentially as well.
Ebor, 16 from 33. He's in the Ebor.
He is in the Ebor, is he?
It's so valuable now,
16
Kate.
from 33. He's in the Lonsdale Cup as well, but you think they'll go Ebor.
Oh, yeah, he's
You'd
easily
imagine
into
Stroud
that,
will be
isn't he,
having
into
another
the
pop
Ebor.
at that now, wouldn't you, the Lonsdale Cup? So,
You
very interesting, Mr. Bond.
I liked that performance from Bagdoor, actually. I would be interested next time. Honestly, I would always
Kate, I
pass the
think
cup
that's
over.
coming your way.
It's coming your way.
I get very attached.
You and Barry are holding on to that. The Betfarians on
Yeah,
the panel.
I'm holding it for Barry.
Betfarians.
The Betfarians are doing well, but Ebor then next, we think. We'll get you the quotes as soon as we can from the track on Trawlerman, who despite stall 13 got a lovely trip through. Eye catchers galore in this, none more so. Pop your eyes out watching Bascule in the abate colours, the green and the red. Again, hasn't really handled the track. All his fault. Look, it got murdered in the run. Yeah. Watch him here. And I'll see what, Yukon Glen wasn't done too many folks. Watch Bascule. This is his first run of the year. He's absolutely flown home.
He's on a blinder, hasn't he? See, we haven't
Valley
seen
Forge got knocked about as well. Watch this Bascule. We're watching the final furlong here. Look at the way this horse finishes. My Lord. Hughesy's had a good week, hasn't he? And that will be winning next time out. What we try and give you here on the show as well, of course, we pick the bones out of it. You wouldn't, I mean, Yukon Glen just does catch the eye, doesn't he? But he looks like he's ready to win again.
Yeah.
Looking for some other. Max Buchanan's done his best, hasn't he? End up just sort of setting. Sophie Stevens, I don't think, has been utterly in love with the track.
I like Bagdoor in this. I don't know what I think
Let's have a look at
why
his
do-
mark.
I-
88. He's not going to get into an E-ball, but there's another nice prize in him. Again, he's
There is.
He's
I thought
done
it was-
zip wrong, has he?
Exactly. I thought it was actually a really, really solid, good performance.
A slightly messy finish then. Seman was just way too keen. He called it girls' fair play. I couldn't see it on the far side.
There's nothing she could have done in that situation. Like, he had his head in the sky.
Yeah.
She did everything right. Then she pulled him out, right, try and calm him down.
It's weird, isn't it? Because at Newmarket, in a slightly smaller field, he didn't pull at all.
Maybe just too lit up in this.
Then by a huge occasion potentially.
Yeah, the Bakers will be a little bit
Getting down to
frustrated
the
today
start.
because the Lamplighter nearly won the previous race, and I think that was one that they were hoping for. But another day for Seman, hopefully, in Holly Door. But I think, yeah, a very, very good performance that, considering the front two could have folded because the closers were mounting.
Yeah.
Sophie Stevens has run a really, really good race as well. Stick with that form. We've got to move on, guys. Newmarket listed race comes back up. I'm going to get straight back on form here, Barry, but I'll tell the viewers after your pick, please.
Yeah, so Rose's Kildare is your favourite at the moment at 2.5. That's nearly as short as she's been. She was around a 5-2 mark. 3.45 star Fortress. Elegant Verse 8.494. Emotion Technique is 17 and it's 32 bar. I'm laying Rosa Kildare here, please, Kate. That's my play. We're going to look to take her on with Kieran Fallon in the plate. Obviously, she's a 5-year-old mare, won the Musadora back in 2020, winless in 4 subsequent starts, and she's obviously had her problems. She's second to the 3-year-old filly Eternal Pearl here earlier this month on her seasonal debut. She tried to make all. She ran well there, but I think the 3-year-olds could hold sway here, and they get £11 from the older fillies. So we're going to look to 2.56. Happy to be a layer there, and we're going to take 25 quid at the backer's stake.
Perfect.
At that. So we're going to have a liability of around 30, 40 quid.
Yeah.
She does look really short, doesn't she? I have to say. She's had it's interesting that they brought her back, isn't it? She's had loads of time off Rosa Kildare, but she's really strong in the market here. Young Kieran Fallon's obviously there, riding now for his first.
Really strong, but we're getting her at the right price, Dave, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. And I do like one against her here. I really like Star Fortress here.
No. That wasn't a grimace. If I had a get out of jail free card today, this would be the race 100%. I looked at this
race.
Oh, yeah, completely. I wouldn't happily. I don't know what to do with this race. So I just thought, I was going around the houses trying to get Rosa Kildare beat. But if she just comes back to her best form there, she's going to take an awful lot of beating within this. I wonder why. I mean, she had all of that time off, but why she came back? I wonder if they tried to put her in foal potentially, or it didn't work out for her, because that is a long time, over a year off.
She's a Group 3 winner, right?
Yeah, exactly. A dual Group 3 winner as well.
Well, it would make sense,
because
because they would give her 2 cycles to try and get her into foal. So it would take a year.
Yeah.
They gave her a first cycle and didn't work, she didn't take it, then wait for a next cycle.
Wait for the next one then.
But then they...
And then it's weird then why to bring her back, so she potentially has had the 2 chances, and so potentially
even if in foal, you could still run her though.
Yeah, exactly.
Get benefit from it.
Oh God, what's she
Who
called? Who's still
knows?
running in foal at the minute? What's she called? Bolin Joan. She's still running in foal at the minute. Love Bolin Joan.
Used to be his mare.
I swear she must be due to retire soon because
Mares
she's still running in
used to
foal.
be a big thing, didn't
Yeah,
it? You know,
because
it was
of the extra
what's that?
dolphins.
Almost
That's it.
black one that Richard Whittaker had,
Can
which
improve
ran
like a
about
stone.
won about 5 on the bounce
We
on all
always
the
say
Yorkshire
this,
tracks.
man. We always forget it. Oh,
Well, we
man.
do. We always talk about this mare, don't we?
Yes.
Richard
And
Whittaker's
we
mare.
never get the name.
Never get the name.
Doesn't
And
keep me up at night.
My
It usually
laptop's
does.
died, so I'm not going to be able to find the name. But yeah, she keeps me up at night. She won about 5 on the bounce in Yorkshire when she was in foal. Gorgeous looking thing.
It used to be a right angle. We don't see it too much anymore.
I think she's going to struggle though to give £10 to Star Fortress, who is bred to relish this step up into
She's
it.
the proven one compared to the one that is still to prove.
I
Of
like-
course.
I like
Rosa
Star
still
Fortress.
working her way back after that second over the course and distance in listed company last time out. So
Yeah.
hopefully that sets her right. But
And the
apologies.
horse that Star
Takes away.
Fortress beat, Kate,
Yeah.
actually her form has been sort of knocked about, but it's all about the model that she is, this horse. She could have gone for another novice. In fact, it looked certain she was going to go for another novice just to get herself that mark. And then they can see with these lightly raced 3-year-olds, fillies in particular, whether you have to go into handicap company or take a shot at something like this. I think the fact that they've got a slightly small field here will really help her. She is a grinder, this horse.
Who do you like?
Star Fortress.
Oh, same.
Yeah, and
100%.
obviously well-known colours, isn't it? The Justified colours, of course. And
I mean, we've got to be realistic. Like, she's running 2 Class 5s, but she is, if you are on the members club, You get to watch unlimited replays and also hear from our top tipsters, our articles, etc., etc. But watching the replay.
I'm going to see you again. Do a swap for this.
Oh, we have an offer on our
P45
members.
time. I
Oh,
Dave, you can go for a tea break, Dave.
I'll be in that thirsty bear, Barry, and leave you all to it. Absolutely.
I'm only winding
I
you up.
knew this was going to happen today. You are the perfect co-host, so go on, let's go for it.
I'm winding you up. But that Chelmsford last time, having bumped the rival at the start, and she kept on really well. Yes, it was a Class 5. We've got to be honest about that.
Are we in agreement for the first time today?
She raced for the first time today. We are
Good.
together.
All right, good stuff. So we're quite literally co.
Technique does deserve to get ahead in front, though.
Oh, this one does my head in technique.
Me too.
Buick on for the Meads.
First time headgear.
Yeah. Let's get some socials up. Nestor says, forget Rose of Kildare. I'm backing Star Fortress as well, Nestor says. Happy days. And again, could be bigger in the market. You're right, Kate, because doesn't really, what's the RPR we gave her for that? Let's have a look, 89. And the runner-up has since been turned over. I think this week, Jory got turned over. So, look, she's up against a 104 mare, and yet she's getting £10. So she could be bigger, but there has been sustained support for her, and I know that when Beckett's get backed in these colours, I can tell you a story about it, but we haven't got enough time, but they like to have a go, let's put it that way.
Yeah, Ross Briley's got some cool random stats. The washing machine thing in my head, when my brain just goes...
It was me and Ross that were at York together, actually, when we spoke.
He's got some stat about Rafe, and they're good. Anyway, they're good stats.
The Gosden horses in this have stunk in the market, haven't they? Emotion, of course, looks like it's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on a mark of 90. But Elegant Verse, you thought with Frankie on, might have been taking a bit more support, Barry. This is really easy to back, isn't it, in the Juddmonte colours?
Elegant Verse, is it? Yeah. 9.4 at the moment, Elegant Verse. Your favourite, easy enough to back as well, 8-262, 3.5 Star Fortress is steady away at that. Elegant Verse 8-8 now. 8-2 Emotion, Technique 14.5. Yeah, your favourite sliding all the time. She's 8-7-4 now, so she's probably just finding her price. She should be maybe 2-1, 9-4 around that mark. So
I think she was 7-4 yesterday, wasn't she, Barry? I think she was about 7-4. Yeah. 3-year-olds are on a 4-timer in this race, and it's just the time of year where they start to really thrive, isn't it? And Rosser is on. He's on a quick double. I love Rosser. Rosser is the Ryan. And, I just think he's always in the right place. And you can see why Ammo Racing went for him. He's just definitely a champion jockey of the future. And Beckett loves him. And you can see why. I mean, Beckett's got some good jockeys at the moment. We've got Harry Bentley's at Goodwood this week, having a little sojourn, isn't he? Forgotten name somewhat because he's finding his feet over in the Far East.
Yeah, he's going well enough over there, isn't he?
He's won a premium race.
Kind of
it
lead
takes
jockeys
ages to get your way over there. And what with COVID protocols at the moment, twice racing only a day in Hong Kong. A week, sorry. And in the meantime, they've got to stay in a quarantine. It's not the most friendliest of weighing rooms. I knew that before Harry told us this week as well. It's just very businesslike. Everyone keeps themselves to themselves, all the barns. It's not like it is here. It's not like a fraternity, you know?
Yeah, not like
a
over
brotherhood,
here. Not like
or
our
sisterhood.
crack
Absolutely.
brothers. Yeah, they've had a real
not like our lunatics.
Not like our loony.
Absolutely.
Our bunch.
But the prize money is so good over there. That Harry will find his way to the top, no doubt, because he's a top jockey. But he left a hole, and of course Rob Hornby.
He's gentlemanly, isn't he?
He was the one that famously gave the horse a kiss.
I know, wasn't it?
Very.
That video pops up sort of every Valentine's Day or anything, doesn't it?
Hong Kong just see our videos of horses and buy them, and they saw a horse and a jockey having a kiss, and they bought him off us as well. So
all you have to do to make the
it must be tough over there.
Why has Rosser Ryan just jumped off Star Fortress for a minute? They just sort of retacking her. She's not doing anything. She's not doing anything crazy. She's not jumping around.
Hang on, go on Star Fortress.
Oh, and I'll tell you who else is there. Rose of Kildare's rearing up. She's in a mood. Yes. She's got one on her, as we call it. She's got one on her in a rear.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, she's got one on her.
Is that a sort of northern saying? She's got one reet on her.
Well, she's got one on her, isn't she, today? No, she had a little rear, but why is... I can't see because the stupid graphics in the way. I think they're just retacking.
Yeah, just
not our stupid graphics, of course. You're watching.
Oh yeah, not our stupid graphics. Our graphics are great.
They really are. We're cooking with gas this afternoon, ladies, aren't we? We are T-minus an hour away from the Stewards Cup. It's not our last race of the day. We'll be taking the last from... we've got a bit of time coming up as well to talk about everything this week, everything going forward, whatever you want. Get your questions in for Nat and Kate and Barry as well. Kate, you've got your winner under the bag now. You're feeling
after Lethal Levi, I really needed that. I went quite quiet for a few minutes then,
maybe not.
Just to get myself back in the zone again. Then that one got to me. So yeah. Nat will be there, 100%. She always does. Brings it back. She get an exotic up. That's what she does. Nat does this every
Perhaps
time.
we genuinely ought to swap
And it comes back
seats.
with a trifecta.
So I can start really tipping winners again. Because I need to pick up as well a little bit. I had the winner of the first, of course, but it's down.
I was close in the first.
You got the reverse forecast. of
Yeah,
course.
so
I'm
I
teasing
got the
you
reverse
somewhat.
forecast.
Yeah, all right, great stuff.
We don't want too much of today, do we? Anyway, tacked back up, just had to tighten the girth. I think the saddle just slipped back a little bit.
We've had a lot of that in the last week, haven't we? Saddle slipping. And such like. Who was it calling for?
So far, so good yesterday, wasn't it? Alec Wojcicki.
Yeah. Who was
Poor
it
old
that
Alex.
was calling for breastplates to be made compulsory? I read a story about that then this morning, which was
No, I
interesting.
didn't. Was that one of ours, was it? I'm not sure. I didn't see that.
I think it might have even been Paul Morenon. Someone.
Yeah, he's got a point, as long as they're loose enough, because
It was
otherwise
a
they're
jock
quite
then.
restrictive.
It was a
otherwise.
jockey who was calling for them to be made. No, I've just read Paul Morenon's name, so that's why I've got his name.
He's
in
too
my-
out travelling
You find it,
2,000
Kate.
miles, I think.
Find it.
Paul's too out travelling 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
They are going in slowly but surely. We are. Hang on a minute. All of a sudden, Goodwood's been given some stick for going over, but
Yes.
they're
Don't get me started on you, Mark.
going to be right. Okay.
But it is better to retack and make sure everything's okay. It's safety, isn't it? They have got to do that. It's sensible, obviously. You don't want to get them in the stalls and then, oh, yes, I love a split screen. Yay!
Oh, we've got a split screen. There we are. And this is what happens,
Goodness,
of
I
course.
wore
We're
my
watching on
glasses.
RTV, so we can kind of be
I
on the
feel
same
sorry
time
for
as
you in this situation, Dave, commentating on it. I mean,
Yeah, I know. We gave you 2 spotters, didn't we, and commentators
Oh,
during
true.
your
Did you?
three-
Did you have a
during your
go?
3 days? No, she didn't commentate.
Oh,
no.
2
I
spotters
did.
is in 2.
I did. I commented.
No, she didn't. Oh, you
did.
definitely commented. You did a lot of commenting. But they are all in now, and it means we can avoid a split screen for now. Well done, RTV. Let's keep these 7 fillies then in our sights, guys. Good luck wherever you're playing in the 225. It's listed action on the July course. The Star Fortress goes out slightly to her right. Didn't help emotion there, but nothing too untoward. Interesting that she's up there. And with the Fav as well. And they're keeping Rosa Kildare apart. That's interesting, isn't it? Elegant verse
should
out
join
the
them
back.
now.
And now she's going to. Now this means they want to get a definite lead. Kieran Fallon was not wanting to get an eyeball, but look at this. The owner's other horse, the Gosden's Emotion, is the pace at the moment. Pretty sweets up there as well for George Bowie. Lows to find that. As Lower Street, the outside of the lot. For Dave Simcott, and again, even more to find. Very keen out the back. Technique in the first time.
No pace.
Okay. No pace. And Star Fortress wants to get on with it.
Yes, she really does want to get on with it, which is... It's okay, it's not always my favourite. Rosa Kildare's had a bit of a funny way of going then until she got to the league. She sort of was
Got a
really...
bit
Yeah.
of low head carriage.
She-
hasn't
you
I
she?
think Kieran Fallon looked over to Andrea Zini as if to say, what are you doing?
Right, okay, because she kind of...
Be leading, not
It
you.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
like Kieran
Yeah.
Fallon this week to have words with another jockey, would it?
Hey, oi, oi!
Ring the bell.
I haven't got it, Barry, today.
Stewards.
Ding, ding, beep, beep. But she was, you could see it's true because she was kind of hanging her head. Like, that is obviously where she wants to be.
If you're on the Fav now, guys, Barry, what price is she? It couldn't really have gone
4.
much better, really.
Went off at 6-4. Betfair SP 252 trading at 2-4 now. 5 Star Fortress. 6-4 Elegant First. 8-6 Emotion 11 bar.
It's experience with Star Fortress that might have been the issue. We'll find out a bit about it, but she's doing a bit too much for my
She
money.
needs to calm
and on the
down,
exchange.
doesn't she?
Elegant
Calm down.
Verse, the one that was really
Calm down.
easy to back under Frankie, has had the run of it, Kate.
Yes, completely. Yeah, so kept wider than earlier on by Kieran Fallon, has come over and come across then in front of her own owner mate, therefore. So interesting, but getting the run of the race. She's travelling beautifully through it like a Group 3 filly in a listed race, she is.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, look, it's just a Johnson as it keeps going. And just increase the tempo there, Kieran. Star Fortress is alive to it, though. She's got
She's
some
the
ability
danger,
to
isn't
this.
she? Star
travelling.
Fortress.
Travelling
She's
like a travelling thing.
they do like this filly a lot. Now here we go. Let's
grinding
find.
it out,
This is
Rose.
where the weight concession comes.
Come on, Star
Fortress
Fortress.
has started to sparkle.
Oh,
I tell you
that
what, the
is a
Fav
lot
is
of
absolutely
weight.
blown out,
She's
isn't she?
doing that.
Or she's hitting her lungs. Now she's coming back to Fav.
Come on, Star
Oh, this is
Fortress.
a great finish. This
on,
Elegant
Hardy
Verse
Rose.
on the inside. What have we got
Emotion.
here? Emotions
Oh,
there
no,
in a minute.
I'm going
This
out.
is
Where
gonna
am
be
I
the second
Come
string,
on,
isn't it?
Rose.
The early keenness has got to Star
Come on, Rose,
Fortress
keep
up. The horse is
battling
up and trip for the first time. It's
Wow.
going to be a Qatar win. But
Well,
Andrea
the right
will
colours.
turn around and have his own words with Kieran now because Kieran Fallon only second on the Fav. A 3-year-old wins it for the 4th year in a row, Barry, this race. Not the way the market expected, though.
Yeah, the 11 pound is telling, isn't it, Dave? The 3-year-old fillies, what they're getting. Rosa Kildare traded a low of 2.12. We also had Star Fortress in there traded a low of 1.22, which is around the 2 to 9 mark. So, yeah, some in-running news there. But Those are Kildare. She looked very one-paced, and then she's staying on again at the finish. I'd say she's not in love with the game.
Yes, indeed. She definitely had to think about it. If you were listening to the comms there, you don't have the picture, you're probably thinking, Dave, what you on about? Because she looked like she was going to fall out the back. She's come back again. She's definitely got one on her, hasn't she?
She's got one on her.
She's got one on her.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what I would do with Star Fortress.
She just needs to learn a bit more. Well, she'll learn a lot more from that. She was up in trip for the first time, and a bit like your horse in the previous race, the hill has got her at the end.
I know.
She's shown real ability.
Maybe we've got to just say, really, is it the track then for Star Fortress? Is it
the pace?
The pace.
Too keen.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard to change that though sometimes with these horses when they're too keen. I think that's really hard to. Do you think that going on trip was?
I'm thrilled that we're bidding farewell to the July course now for the day, all right? because I've been nutted a couple of times. And Barry, let's go to you then. You're having a really good week, a really good day so far. What was the PNL for the ROR going into the day?
500 we were plus going into the day for retraining of racehorses.
Lovely. And you've had a couple of winners today. You got the lay, of course, in the first. You laid there and you got Trawler Man as well. What's in the next? What are we going to put up? We've got Emotion coming up. You're showing none of it, man. You're cool as a cucumber. But we're going to be going, of course, to the Lily Langtree. And we've got, finally, on a Saturday in Britain, we've got another O'Brien horse coming out to play.
Yeah, and she's been really, really popular, Dave. Emily Dickinson currently was a high of 3.74, is into 3.1 now. So is a 2-to-1 chance. Sela Rossa was the horse I wanted to lay in the race, the filly I wanted to take on. She was 2.68, Sela Rossa, and she's out to 3.55. So we're going to set our own odds here, please, Kate. She was prominent and tried to make all and got the run of the race in Haydock that day. That was the famous race. I'm sure we'll chat about that more. And if you go back on her form, she's 4.5 lengths to find with forbearance on Newmarket running on good to firm ground last September. The 3-year-olds get 12 pounds from the older fillies. Obviously, Emily Dickinson, you know what way they're going to do with her. They're going to gun her off out in front, and she's going to try to make all. So what we're going to do, Kate, we're going to look to lay the favourite, Sela Rossa, we're going to look to lay here. And we're going to set our own odds again. So currently 3.6. If you put in that box, we're going to look to lay her at 3, which is 2-to-1, and take 25 quid at the backer stake for a liability of 50 quid. And that'll go over into the lay section, and we want someone to come in, and that'll go over into the back section, and we want someone to come in and bet that with us. We're the layer. We want one of our other customers to come in and be a backer at 2-to-1.
It's
Right, we finally just got it back.
We just had a
a little issue with
This is why I host this show. You both panicked there. We've
We
got Will Perry,
we did not.
who's one of our producers in. I went to
Did
Barry.
you hear anything from us then? I just completely missed everything Barry said because the laptop.
Oh my
shut
God!
down.
Has anyone just seen Galway 2:30? About 5 horses have just come down.
Look, again,
That's the ideal
this is
distraction we
why
needed. Why did that not
I
come
knew
a
today
second
was
ago?
going to go left field at some point. The girls next to me have just had an absolute mare because Kate was struggling to get her laptop working at one point. Will had to come in while Barry was talking. Barry was saying, put the tray on.
Barry, please
Kate was
go
looking
back
like
over
she was
that
going to
again.
faint. Nat was looking at Galway going like this all of a sudden. And then you revealed what was going on in the studio, so everyone now knows.
You said you always want it to be an interactive show.
Breaking down the fourth wall is what we're doing.
Breaking down the fourth wall.
I knew I should have taken that job at ITV.
But in all seriousness, Barry, please can you go, because the laptop shut down and then we had no Wi-Fi, so
That's
I
quite all right.
did not hear a word you said.
Okay, so we go through it again. We're a layer of Sela Rossa. We're setting our own odds here, though.
Perfect.
So if you click on lay,
Yep.
it's 3.6. And that box that's highlighted, put
Yep.
3 in there, which is 2-to-1. And we're going to take 25 quid at the backer stake for a liability of 50. You place that bet, it'll go over into the back column, and we want someone to come in and back that with us. One of our other customers on the Betfair Exchange will come in, hopefully, and bet that with us. If the market moves in our favour. If not, I'm happy enough to leave it. I don't want a layer of 5-2. I'd be a layer of 2-to-1, but everything has its price. And over 2-to-1, I don't want to be a layer of Sela Rossa. So hopefully someone will come in and have that bet with us.
Interesting. Now, this is something that our regular viewers know that Barry does frequently. We, of course, in the morning, we look for our selections, and Barry looks for at least 1 or 2 lays. As you've just seen, over Rosa Kildare, who's skinny, happy to try and get it because you've got the rest of the field running for you, all that sort of stuff. Every horse has its price, right, Barry? And we can, of course, change our minds. We're safe gambling all the way. We can sit it out if we don't get the right price, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we'll do here, Dave. If we don't get matched at 2-to-1, that bet will cancel automatically at the off, unless we select to keep bet in play, which we haven't here. that bet, if we're not matched at 2-1, will just be taken down at the off. So, yeah, everything has its price. And again, it's bet responsibly. You don't have to have a bet in every race. And we're just showcasing the functionality of the exchange and the sports book. And I think Celia Rosa's price is 2-1. Happy to layer at that or below 2-1, but not chase her out over it.
Yeah, and I'll follow you in with this. I'm happy to back her at above 2-1 as well. I can see why they're going up in trip after that Haydock run. It's definitely the form race that you want to be with here, I think. There are interesting fillies in here, no doubt. I'm amazed that Glen Artney is as big as she is. Spoke to Ed Walker about this one yesterday. He was quietly confident of a bustle up back up in trip for that one. I'll talk about that one in a little bit. We were all in unison, all the feature shows we're doing, that Celia Rosa probably goes and takes this out. Are we all on this?
She's my girl.
She's your girl.
Celia Rosa's my girl.
Because you were at Haydock, of course.
I've watched so closely every time she's ever
When
ran.
you ducked Jim Crowley and went straight to Rob Hammond.
Went straight free win. What a filly that is. Crikey.
I think we're going to see a boost for her here. I really do.
Celia Rosa, in the Pinnacle, Maureen was literally like, I was watching the race with Maureen, she was going, oh God.
This is Maureen Haggis, of course.
And she was like this. And then obviously when
Maureen's
she won, and Maureen, she's such a legend, she's probably my favourite person in racing. And she was said, how did she win that? She just did everything wrong. She pulled Tom's arms out. And I can't believe she actually won having pulled that hard, but it's not what we wanted to see, Dave, though. It wasn't, yes, she won and we were all like really pleased about it, but Maureen doesn't want her to run like that. Tom doesn't want her to run like that. She beat Viola in the Pinnacle, that Group 3 at Haydock. So then, of course, the natural progression is then to go into the Lancashire Oaks. I loved her again. I thought she was awesome in the Lancashire Oaks, but beaten by something that, to me, looks absolutely special with Free Wind. I know Free Wind, if everyone remembers, Rab Havlin thought there was a gap, shoved her into the rails. Jim Crowley, it was disaster, massive stewards. It went on for so long. It took ages to get the report out.
There was a gap.
But Free Wind is seriously special.
Yeah, to win after doing that, she did first time out. Yeah, she looks it, doesn't she?
She looks to me, honest to God, everyone at Haydock that day was like,
do we know where she's
wow.
going? It's all about the filly and mares, isn't it? But
Free Wind. She's in the Yorkshire Oaks, but she's not in the Yorkshire Oaks betting.
Well, that's interesting.
No, I mean, she's 5 from 7 Free Win. She's absolutely awesome. Look, Celia Rosa has got to take on Emily Dickinson. Of course, we know second in that Group 3 at Leopardstown, fourth in the Irish Oaks, Group 1. But Celia Rosa, she's got so much sass and tenacity about her. I'm absolutely all over it. And I wouldn't put anyone off and each way on Viola because the form ties in. So if someone on the social or whoever says, yeah, I'm going to have a bet on Viola at 13.5, you would, because you can see the form tie there.
Well, there shouldn't be so much of a discrepancy, and Tom Siegel in his Price Wars column mentions just that this morning. He's on Viola as well.
Yeah, I can see the love with Viola.
She's got the inside draw here. In fact, they're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Of course, Celia Rosa has won over a mile 5, albeit around Lingfield, much tighter track. But she did everything wrong on the bend that day. She didn't handle it whatsoever. It was one of those back-end listed races where you're kind of forgetting about flat racing and looking at the jumps, and then some classy fillies come out to play. In the Pinnacle, you're right. Did everything wrong, still beat Viola. It's that reason why on level weights I think that she will confirm the form. Last time at Haydock, they tried to be the hare, didn't they? Because they knew we had speedier fillies against her. Ashada, for example, we still haven't seen the best of that one. And, of course, the brilliant Free Win. Free Win was in this race. And the horse that won that, she was going to follow her stablemate route, Free Win. Bear with me here while I get the previous winners up of the Lancashire Oaks. It was, of course, Embahar, who won that in 2019 for Shadwell and John Gosden, and then came here and won this. So I don't know why she's not here Free Win today. Maybe it's the ground. I'm not 100% sure. But you would imagine with Emily Upjohn blowing out terribly, like a bag of wind, wasn't it?
I know.
And look, maybe it was a travel thing and it's plan B that, but we thought that would be the winner of the Yorkshire Oaks, all being well. Maybe Free Win will now have her sights set that at York. It's a valuable race, isn't it? I wonder, it probably is filly and mares, isn't it, on Champions Weekend, you think, for that one, isn't it?
For Free Wind?
Yeah,
I guess so. I don't know, because she's in the Yorkshire Oaks, but she's not in the betting. So, but I've just looked up news stories, and there's no news stories on her in the last 3 weeks, obviously, apart from that appeal overturn. Well, it didn't go to even an appeal, did it? But the overturned decision then. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure when we're going to see her.
Fine. All right. Okay. Well, we'll try and get some news on that one. Obviously, the gamble of the race is Emily Dickinson for Aidan O'Brien. Let's check out Aidan's record in this race. Go down. He's bound to have had quite a few in this. And, not good. No winners in the last 10 years. He's had a couple of fillies in here as well. They tend to be big prices. Wonderful Tonight won this last year. Do you remember?
Yes.
She had
I
her
love
ground, didn't she? And she
Wonderful
was wackoed off the boards. In fact,
After being keen and then coming back again, and the ground didn't oversuit her as well.
and she
it
attacked a
was
long
fine.
way
She
out. Do
was
you remember at
great,
the top of the
yeah.
home straight, and she came stand side. It was really rainy this time last year. That thing called rain that we remember. But look, good fillies win this race.
Yeah, they do, to be fair. It's never a race that I really warm to on the face of it, though. And again, it's kind of a similar case this year. My concern about Emily Dickinson is 3 starts back at Lingfield in the Oaks Trial. She did not handle Lingfield, and they said that at the time. That's why they didn't go to Epsom. I'm concerned for this filly then that she's going to go to Goodwood, good to firm ground. Just looking at the times of our 3 races so far, Trawlerman was fast by 0.55 seconds then in our last race. Many a Star was slow by 0.95. It's good to firm ground there again. I'm concerned about Emily Dickinson at this track on this quicker ground, so I think she's worth taking on at the head of a market. Sela Rosa, I was disappointed with, to be honest with you. I know Free Wind is a very, very good mare, clearly, and is a Group 1 winner in the waiting then for her. But I still don't think Sela Rosa was the second best horse in the race. Ashada was, who obviously was in that wrestling match between the pair of those who had each other in a headlock for much of the way. Sela Rosa had no excuses whatsoever, unlike the front 2, and still couldn't beat them and still was beaten over 2 lengths. So I was a little bit underwhelmed. She needs to take a massive step forwards for me, not a massive, but a further step forwards for me to be winning this race here. So I really like her, and to start with I wanted to be with her, but I still think she needs to improve on that, and I just wonder if she's reaching that ceiling now of that ability. So I'm going to give a chance, price dictated, as Barry was alluding to yesterday then, with Forbearance, who actually beat Sela Rosa the last time she won by over 4 lengths in a Group 3 at the end of September last year at Newmarket. So, of course, she hasn't been seen to that same effect in her 3 starts since then, but she has got that back class, got that back form to actually put herself into the mix here. She'll likely say this trip as well. She looks as though she's going to. Jessie Harrington going along in flying form. Holly Doyle, cracking record when she rides for Jessie Harrington as well. I just think it's notable Forbearance.
She rode her to win in York as well, Kate.
Yeah.
Holly Doyle rode Forbearance to win in York. A couple of runs before that win in September, just last August. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you like this one as well, Barry, as they go in, don't you?
She's in her lucky 15, yeah.
All right, okay. So, and Paul Keeley's put this up in his Sizzlers today as well. All right, okay, there you go. We've not mentioned Urban Artist, who's a classy horse on a day, has won at Goodwood. Not maybe seen at her best so far. I wonder if it's the Ebor again for her next month. And Glen Artney, as I said, who at York over this trip got mullered and showed her true colours last time at Pontefract. Whether she's quite good enough, I don't know. And yes, she's a classy filly, I think, this year. Tough ass.
We didn't get matched.
We didn't get matched, so we sit this out then.
Not matched.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sitting it out.
Come on, Sela Rosa. She only been out the top 4 once.
Listen, I'm all over Sela Rosa. I'm hopeful for the best here. Emily Dickinson. I don't know what happened here then. Oh my goodness, that was Glen Artney. Right down at a knuckle then. So she was Coakley, who Ed Walker told me yesterday has been the making of this filly. He's going to have to be Lester Biggett to win this one, I think. But Urban
This is
Artist
better
goes off in
early
front.
starts day from Sela Rosa.
Yeah, and you can see why she's a bit keen in the Pinnacle, can't you? But this is going to help her, I think, the fact that Urban Artist going on. Yes, in second. I was just saying, probably is a very good horse this year. And look, it's Hornby and Beckett and Judmont can well take it. They're teeing it up nicely for Emily Dickinson, who is in around about 4th place.
I thought she'd make it.
She's way off them. If you remember, of course, in the Irish Oaks last time, she was doing all her best work at the finish. That day, they said the ground was a tad quick for her, so I'm with Kate on that one. Viola out the back as well, of course, with right out the back Forbearance too. All right, Barry, we've seen a tearaway leader. I think Urban Artist has got, 7 clear?
Half in price. A Betfair SP at 22 is 12 trading in running now. Yes is 10, but at the top of the market, Emily Dickinson, the favourite backers aren't panicking anyway. 266. 3.5 Sela Rosa, 7.8 Forbearance.
Thanks, Barry.
9 now Urban Artist.
We've got about a mile to go, basically. And if you're not watching the pictures, we've got Urban Artist, who's 7 clear of Yes, who's in turn 2 clear of Sela Rosa, who in turn is 7 clear of Emily Dickinson. And now the hold-up horses are starting to think, hang on a minute, have we let one slip? This is perfect for Sela Rosa.
It is perfect, but I don't understand. She's literally one of my favourite horses, this filly. I absolutely love. I just hope Tom is... This is a strange... tactics. I mean, the screen is having to be stretched.
The Hitman Heart has gone clear.
They're like, it's
12
like
clear.
A washing line here. It's very, very difficult with Yes and Sela Rosa just right in the middle there. And this front-running horse is just miles away.
Yeah, no, I
It's still back at 8-1, the one in front.
What prices? Let's get the exchange market up, guys, in the gallery, please, so we can see it in running instead of tips, if you don't mind, because I'm curious to see what Emily Dickinson is. You can see it under my head there, of course. Yeah, she's in all sorts
Urban
of
artist.
trouble.
2-1 urban artist.
Yeah, okay. So this is either lunacy or genius.
Come
then.
on, Tom, you're gonna have to move
From
a
Jason
bit.
Hart. Tom Marquand is thinking if she comes
Tom,
back,
Tom.
I'm in pole position.
Come on,
Holly
Tom.
Doyle's after her husband look all of a sudden on forbearance.
3 now.
Vio, now
Forbearance,
she's
you've got
paddling.
an
And
awful
Tom Marquand is
on
thinking,
ground.
well, she's going to have to come
Rosa's
back
still
to me.
not
He
panicking.
doesn't
6-4.
want to press
Still
a
not
button on
panicking.
Sela Rosa. He had a look then, Tom, just behind him, to see where his wife and Ryan were. At the moment, Sela Rosa's surely got to go short, hasn't she?
God, Tom!
She's absolutely
Side
paddling.
paddle.
She's out on her
Sela
feet.
Rosa.
Yes. Come on, Sela Rosa.
Come on, Tom!
I'll tell you what,
he's
look
gonna-
at Emily
he's gonna
Dickinson
get
as well.
one
Ryan
punch.
Moore getting the best out of her. She's finishing too. She gets
Come
one.
on, Tom!
Go on, Tom.
Come on, girl. She's awesome, this filly. Come on, Sela Rosa.
Yes, filling her lungs on the far side.
Come on,
She's
Tom.
paddling. I think Emily Dickinson gets it, does she? No.
Come on, Tom.
Absolute peach.
It's all
Sela
over.
Rosa.
Yes.
Takes it up. Happy days. Natalie Green got excited.
I love
there.
this horse.
Barry, we stayed out of it. We didn't want to lay up. I think we've been fully vindicated there. That was some
Can
race.
share, but I love her. She's such a good filly.
Yeah, they gave way too much distance to urban artists. I'd say Ryan Moore's kicking himself because he's finished with a horse that's full of running. Evens a low for urban artists in running on the Betfair Exchange. Emily Dickinson hit a low of 5-4 on 1.80, despite never looking like winning. And then Yes was another one that traded at 3.5, so 5-2 in running for Yes. But Sela Rosa, good ride from Tom Marquand. He didn't panic when Urban Artist shot clear that time, wore her down. But Yes stayed on again on the inside quite admirably, and obviously Emily Dickinson was too far out of her ground to have any chance.
I would suggest that was there an eye catcher in the race? Yes, there was. So, the seasonal debutant has done very well to fill her lungs and come back. She's had a big blow then, didn't she? Obviously, and see why they brought her back in training. There's nice pies in her. Emily Dickinson. We'll talk
Tail
about this.
going on her every time she got a smack.
Yeah,
Tail went on her.
A lot of people will be saying, Ryan, you've left it too late. I honestly, guys, this is where you've got to know about these jockeys knowing better. And he's the best jockey in the world, and pound for pound, isn't he? And there was a moment where you said he wasn't panicking, Barry, on the far side. I was looking at him and thinking, when's he going to make his move? I think he didn't want to. I'm not sure whether she might have got a bit fuzzy, but there's a reason why he held on to her. Tom Marquand was obviously perfectly placed to strike. And you could see that he didn't want to get to the front too soon, and she's probably just curled up a bit towards the finish, but Hart has got her home.
Yeah, look, he knows this filly very, very well. He obviously is absolutely such an integral part of the Haggis team. And yes, it does help, of course, like I say, because I feel like I know this filly, because I just talk about her so much with Maureen, but she is superb. They love her. She's an excellent filly, and Tom just kept really, really cool. It was very strange how the race was run, really, and like you said, just that Tom was patient and you went to pounce, and I totally agree with the eye-catching one from Yes, but I'm absolutely, I don't betting aside, I'm absolutely delighted for this filly because I think she's where she deserves to be, and the way she settled in this race is so promising for her future.
And it's horrible, Kate, isn't it, from a punting point of view and from a jockey's point of view, when a horse like Urban Artist, I mean, she's 14 clear there going into the fence.
And it's.
Could say she's run her heart out.
Oh yeah, completely. I mean, she was absolutely paddling there late on, but they had to do something different with her to be reaching these other mares. So there was no pace, seemingly on paper on the pace map then for this race. So fair play to Connections for taking the race by the scruff of the neck then and going out in front and really trying to do something different. And she's been so brave there in defeat Urban Artist and has run probably better than you could have expected in terms of the finishing positions because of these tactics. She's had a hard race there. I would be just mindful of that then for giving her a little bit of time off though on that basis. But
Yeah,
Barry,
well,
did
they
you
will
just
be
say,
patient with her, I'm sure.
yeah, did Barry just say we got quotes for the Yorkshire Oaks then? 12 from 20.
12 from 20. Yeah, no,
12
Urban
from
Artist.
20.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because you can never, you know, look, did so well to come a second, but do you need to go that far in front though?
If you're in a rhythm, I guess
What,
it's sort of
Urban?
whatever you feel.
I
I
wonder
don't think
whether
I don't think you need to go that
Having
far in
been
front.
lit up I wonder whether she just carted a bit with Jason.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
he's couldn't
finished
quite.
second. In
Yeah, has
Yeah,
still managed to
second.
finish second, yeah, which is a mighty race. It's a nightmare, though. All the jockeys will tell you that if you are in a race of that nature, it is the worst thing ever if you're on one of those in behind to know, because you don't exactly know, it's a Group 2, you don't exactly know what you've got in front, if they can take that step forwards with the improvement. A track like Goodwood as well there. And it's an absolute nightmare to know exactly when to kick, how much you have left, because you could be made to look an absolute villain if you get that even the tiniest bit wrong when a race is run so kind of
We've seen it with Jim
bizarrely.
Crowley a couple of times with the hold-up horses, haven't we, this season? He's found some trouble, and Air R's at Newbury comes to mind, all that sort of stuff. This is where Ryan probably fancied his chances a bit. We're looking at it 2 furlongs out, and I said this is the danger, because she's getting the weight, you see. But look at Tom. He's not gone for absolutely everything yet. He's almost like he just wanted to get her there as late as possible.
Confident, wasn't he?
Just-
He was cool.
But he has got first run, and this is where Tom's just so good. He reminds you a bit like McCoy, doesn't he? He's just so strong.
She's tough
in the
as
upper
well.
body.
She's
Absolutely.
tough.
Because she's not as big as some of those 3-year-olds as well. She's lumped the weight, and that is a boost, no matter how you look at it, for free wind. Of
Free wind
course.
yet again. That Emily Dickinson does stay. all
That
day,
Clark
doesn't she?
Kent in pictures. Our
Clark
very
Kent.
own Racing
Oh,
Post
there
Clark
we are.
Kent.
Yes, indeed. There he is.
Jonathan.
Ed. Clark
said
Kent,
next to
of
Mr.
course.
Ken Pitterson.
John Harding. Yeah. He's there for us today. He hasn't sent me a quote yet. I shall have to scold him about that one.
Yeah, give him a nudge.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to get some Cedar Rosa quotes for you. We are then, our next race, half an hour, just under it, away from the 2022 Stewards Cup here on Race Post Live. Myself, Dave Orton, Nat Green, Kate Tracey and Barry Orr all week who's been with us. It's been absolute fun. It's been great to have you with us as well. Don't forget to keep liking and subscribing out there. Let's ramp the socials up then. Let's have your 1, 2, 3s in the Stewards Cup, shall we? I think we need, Kate has said earlier she's had 3 pops in it. We
Yes.
couldn't do it in the consolation race. We can now do it here. Do we think it's going to be high draw, or are you going to stick to your original convictions and look for something down the middle or something low? Let's find out where you want to go draw-wise. What numbers are you going for? It's one of the betting races of the entire year. Are you looking for Wokingham form? Are you looking for something from Royal Ascot, like Inver Park, for example, one of the over the 7 furlongs is coming back, or are you going for something completely out the park? Right, Barry, let's get you back on track. Where are we going? Tell us the big hope, please, in the Stewards.
Yeah, so for me, I fancy the top weight Chill to run a big race. Kate, please. Now, it's 7 places to each way punters on the sports book. And we're going to look to avail of that. Obviously, drawn 11. I'm not too fussed over the draw, to be perfectly honest with you. The Hackwood was a first run back in 315 days. Finished off last season, went third, beaten 3/4 of a length in the Betfair Sprint Cup. Last win was in the Group 3 Chip Chase this time last year. I think she could come good today in this. And Harry Davis claims a valuable 5, which you need off top weight here. So 25 quid each way, 9-1 currently. We'll take that. Obviously on the exchange where it's a win-only market, much bigger price on the exchange. Currently trading on the exchange at 15. Now, the exchange market is a win-only market, so prices are naturally bigger there as well. And there's no margin in there like you'd have on the sportsbook. But on the exchange, Inver Park 7.2, 12.5 regional with Ryan Moore, First Folio 12, 13 Pop Master, Anna 14.5, Chill 15, Tabdeed 16.5, 17 Summerhand, the All Warrior 22 bar. Mr. Wagyu, who was well fancied for this earlier on in the week, out to 19 now, Mr. Wagyu, and he's drawn 20.
That's interesting, isn't it, Barry? Yeah, no love for the Wagyu, this is his time of year. We got tasty.
No, I've got this Wagyu. It's a funny story.
What is it? Is it for now?
No, it's not. No, but yeah, Wagyu tasty. Yeah, always makes me chuckle.
Okay.
Like a bit of Wagyu
She's
beef.
obviously not wanted to reveal that one. But look, come on, let's reveal your 1, 2, 3s. Barry, let's stick with you then. Chill. Have you had any other goes in this? Who would you put in to follow her home?
I would give St. Lawrence a chance.
Yeah.
Roger Varian's horse. Give that a bit of a life. And I coin with just another bottle, but I think he might be for later on in the season. I backed First Folio a couple of times and let me down, so I couldn't have that even in first time cheek pieces. I thought one that could run a big price was Abel Kane, Rod Millman's horse.
Oh, what, from Norman Millman?
Yeah, that for friend of the show as well, wouldn't it? We'd love to see that go well. I was just giving that a small squeak. Rated 95 now, and just going back to that win. that win a couple of runs back in Fosslas. I know you guys were talking about Fosslas form there earlier, but won 6 lengths that day and off 87. I know, and he's 5-year-old, so mightn't have many secrets from the handicapper, but thought that could run well at a big price.
Has been put up by the excellent Kevin Morley, who put up Sila Rosa in his trend column earlier in the day. And we know a couple of Saturdays ago, Kev had a 5-timer. This is a big trends race, Kate, isn't it? Barry's given us his 3 then. Would you like to tell us yours?
Yes, my 3. I've gone for the group horse and a handicap angle with all 3 of mine then. So yeah, I mean, the main selection is Great Ambassador, also Chill Chill, who Barry's made the very good case for. And the other one is the one that Barry's just had a brief mention for as well, though, with St. Lawrence, who I really like too, who is a big price there at 22-1 as well. So my 3 group horses have all ticked an awful lot of boxes in terms of the trends, because trends of this race, first sticking point, no ideal age, funnily enough, for this race. So that was a great start. But horses rated between 104, 108 have an advantage. Claimer on their back then to get into that bracket as well, which Great Ambassador certainly does himself, with Safi Osborne's £3 claim off his back. Middle to high draws are preferred, but central then for the options as well. And the race to focus in on coming into this race is the Hackwood Stakes. So it makes sense that plenty of those horses, including Chill Chill, are now going for this race on the back of that Group 3 turnaround. But Great Ambassador, he was one of the most progressive sprinters of last season, signing off last campaign on the up as well, winning 3 times, 3rd in this race last year off of an £11 lower mark as well. Progress has been halted so far this season in those couple of starts, but he's had his excuses and he looks very well treated now, so he's a main play.
It was an eye-catching return to form, I think, because he's one of these sprinters that's been caught between top handicaps and the listed in group races. And I spoke to Ed Walker about him yesterday, and he's coming back. And it's a bit of a cliche, but if ever horse deserves a big one, I said that to Ed because he genuinely does. He was third in this race on ground they didn't think that he'd like. Turns out he's all right on soft ground, and it was the Air Gold Cup when he was so well in after sort of chasing a hat trick. Because he took off after this race. He'd probably do it again after this race. But from stall 12, Ed was like, well, we'll just take our chances and we've got some options. We claim him because it takes him slightly nearer to his mark. He's obviously on 107, which will make it a bit tough. But you're right, only one of the horses in the last 10 years has been lower than 100. That was Intrinsic under Hughesy.
Here he is.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back, old Hughesy.
back.
And that was the only horse that's done it. So you do want a classy model in this.
Yeah.
Last time out winners, 4 of the last 10. Comanche Falls, who takes his chance again. So in-form horses, basically. But this chap, I'd love to see him go well. I just wonder whether it will all be about air again for him.
I know, that's it. I mean, how can he lose the Air Gold Cup? That was just
on the
ridiculous.
blind side, Bielsa, wasn't it?
Bielsa goes and does that on the wrong part of the track, seemingly, and goes and does that. So, yeah, Great Ambassador beating Mr. Wagyu in that. He was the moral winner of the Air Gold Cup last season anyway. But, yeah, hopefully I'll get his recompense here.
So, Great Ambassador to beat St. Lawrence and...
Chill Chill.
Chill Chill with Barry,
probably then from... I just couldn't leave St. Lawrence at his price there.
I mean, a mark of 110 has been done. A gifted master, blimey, one of the handicap sprint performances of the last recent memories. 1-1-1 under James Doyle, I remember, 20-1 he was. The draw, let's talk about that then. Again, it looked like it was going low, guys, in this, didn't it, over the last 10 years? And I think it was when Dancing Star won for the Baldings from 4 of 27. Magical Memory, another Group 1 horse in the making there for Charlie Hills. That was still 1 of 27. And Hawkeye the New, the brilliant Hawkeye the New, we all loved so much, for Jim Gordy in 2012, won it in 4. Apart from that, you've pretty much had to be high. And if the consolation is anything to go by, Natalie Green, you want to be high as well. But you teased us at the start of the show. You was going down the middle.
No, I've only got 2 horses because they're going to come first and second.
Nice.
So Inver Park wins. Inver Park's been awesome for George Berry since Nick Quinn. The only problem is sometimes it's like that fairy tale thing, like he's already on a hat trick. And when you wait for the bubble to burst, I really don't want the bubble to burst today. I want today to be 4. I don't want...
Well, it's got to be intrinsic, basically.
Yeah, I know.
Came there,
I know.
Who came there on a 4-timer as well, off a mark in the 90s, and just blew him up. It was a Robert Cowell group horse in the making. And who's to say that Inver Park isn't?
Look, he's drawn 15. He's gone up £18 in 3 wins, but he's improving fast. And I want to be on that train. And I want to be on the George Berry train and the Ben Curtis train.
Yeah,
he did really well to land the Buckingham Palace, didn't he? What he does have, which I love, is he has pace and stamina.
Yeah, the worry going into Ascot was the stamina.
And he's got it.
And he's got it.
So all that together makes me just love this horse. And when I was joking before about the centre, I was talking about Summergand. Of course I was. Drawn 10. Now, stall 10 in this, actually not ideal, but he came down the centre when winning this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've made loads of money on Summergand, actually.
Oh, everyone has.
I've had such a great time on him. It's going to suit like his hold-up style, isn't it? And can we be truthful? With this hold-up style, the draw's less crucial.
He hasn't run off a mark this low in quite a long time.
Quite a long time.
Yeah.
But the draw's not going to matter as much with a hold-up style like this. It really isn't. He ran well in the Wokingham. I was far from disgrace. David Amara enjoyed.
He was an eye-catcher, yeah. He
ran really
Robbie's
well.
put this up, hasn't he, yesterday?
Did he go Summergand?
Waldinho did, yeah. The anti-postman, yeah.
He ran really well.
This would be irony if this one, because he can't stand sprints, Robbie.
Yeah. Well, he was
This would
talking
be
about yesterday. He was
irony,
trying to avoid him. Yeah.
Well, he's full of irony. But David Amara, of course, enjoyed success yesterday with Orban in the Golden Mile. I would be really disappointed to see Summergand out of the frame in a field. We know he loves these types of races. There's massive field. And David's, like I say, had good success yesterday. So I think we're onto something here, viewers.
£8 lower than when winning in 2020, the old boy. And you were talking about ages in this, Kate. Again, we've got ages till the race, 17 minutes. It's a mixed bag. Lancelot Dulac under a brilliant ride from Frankie Dettori, who was drawn 15 but went straight over to the far side for Dean Ivory in 2017. Was a 7-year-old, 6-year-old Summergand, of course. Age is just a number.
Yeah, definitely.
Who was running this race, he won it and then came back and went close a few times. There's not that many 3-year-olds in the race. In fact, is there only one? There is. Anaf.
Who is the potential group horse?
Anaf is very interesting.
He's just not proven himself as a group horse yet.
This is for Rasel's trainer with Jim Crowley on. Interesting booking this. He's danced a lot of dances since the All-Weather Championships when they thought he was going to run a bit better than he did. He's a key horse for me in this race, but you need to give us 3, so you've given us...
Oh, definitely Anaf is in there. So Anaf, Inver Park and Summergand, if I need 3.
You're going low to far side then?
Yeah.
All right. We're sort of ignoring the high a little bit at the moment, aren't we?
You know that Anaf but his second behind Sense of Duty. I mean, that Sense of Duty, she's an absolute potential freak, isn't she? She is a proper animal, rated 110 now. So, yeah, Anaf. That's the only reason I sided against him is because my 3 have proven themselves as good performers yet.
Well,
he still needs
a potential pace angle on the far side, which is why he's interested for me. But the socials are building up. Let's get them out there. I asked for them. Let's have a look. What have we got? Okay.
It's like Galliac form as well, isn't it?
I'm going to go Mirror ZA10.
I love everyone's going for 3 now.
Marosa, even. Marosa 10, as Will tells me. The
oh my God,
know these
that's
names
brilliant.
So much better.
Mirror Zed.
All right, okay, yeah, very good. In fact, covering us all, taking something from Barry, Chill, and Abel Kane, and taking a bit of Nat as well. Interesting collection there.
Everyone's gone for 3. Everyone's gone for 3. Everyone's joining us.
This is what I asked for. This is
Did you ask for 3? Oh.
Absolutely. Neil Francis. Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Kate, tune in. Ratia, and our Potmaster, who's the other one for Ed Walker, and the old Summergand as well. I tell you what, he's hard to keep out of your 3, isn't he, Summergand? Interesting. What price is he at the moment on the exchange? Is he coming in a little bit? Yeah, he is a little bit, isn't he? And Will... comes out. I've seen you a bit this week, Will. Welcome back. Mr. Wagyu each way can't go wrong. He's a massive price, Barry. I asked if there was any support for Summergand, Barry. Is he coming in a bit?
Yeah, he's 19 at the moment with Jason Watson. He's drawn 10. Was as high as 22 for smaller money, Dave. 174 quid matched at 22. And he's 19 now. So small few quid for him. Wonder has been money for Haley Turner rides a French horse in it, Batwan. That's been matched at a high of 65.
Which has been an annoying horse in this office because all week people have been singing the theme tune to... Thank you, 06 Keeley. Batwan, of course, absolutely. Yeah, it's been all over the place, been on the feature as well. But it's Haley Turner, of course, and on a French horse who was a bit of an eye catcher, I think, wasn't it? Was it the last start? Only mid-division.
He ran into Wokingham behind Rohan. He was disappointed. There was money for him that day as well on the exchange. I remember flagging up at a big price. But he's got form with Garris, you know, the horse of Charlie Hills. He was second to that last day in France, so ties in it.
And it was, he was a closer that day behind Garris, and probably that's what's got you a little bit. He's drawn an 8, so Haley Turner will be waiting and pouncing late, I would imagine. Oh, blimey, Frizzy Red with lots of characters there for me to read. When the deal is done, interesting horse for Izzy. Ran well last time at Ascot after getting hampered. Has form on the track, that's key. He will do at a nice price. I mean, I can tell you that the owners had a right go on this chap for Neil Callan, Roger Teal. He is, of course, he's a distance winner. The distance not here. He was a 5 furlong winner.
He was in the Mountain Peak race.
At the meeting last year, he won here. I think it was one of the races when we went off air, I remember. And he landed a bit of a punt that day. And it's all been the road back to this. He needed that run behind Mountain Peak. He actually caught the eye a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Staying on over 5 in a race where I said you couldn't lead. And, of course, G-Rob was right. Mountain Peak made all. Probably no horseflies that day, I imagine. But
I think we all lumped on that.
look, this is all right. This is why I wanted you 1, 2, 3s, because it's very hard to settle on one. I have settled on one. And Barry, you're not going to like this, but I think First Folio is going to win this.
Ooh.
Oh, Dave, stop. Swear to God.
Yes, I do, because I know. Again, there's such a good syndicate these days.
Oh, yeah.
There's such a good syndicate at this owners group. And 083, I know a couple of the members of it, and he did so well for them as a 3-year-old, for James Ferguson. And Danny Muscat, they really fancied him a bit in the Wokingham. He was right down the middle with a horse called Silver Samurai, you remember, who ran at York last week, missed the break totally, but was flying. Silver Samurai's got a big E in him, as has this bloke. I would have liked to have been slightly higher, I think. But Anaf is the key for me. Anaf on the far side in 5. If Jim Crowley... I mean, it's not often you see Jim Crowley leading, certainly not in a sprint race. But I think that he is the pace hope for you on the far side. And me. So he's a key horse, that bloke.
Interesting. No one's gone with the red-hot favourite, Inver Park.
I have.
Smashed it.
I have.
Smithereens.
Were you
you have, haven't
were
you?
you on the submarine at that point,
no.
Barry? Were you? You were looking for Red November.
Race in Newmarket when that was talking.
No, don't worry. No, 100%. I like I said, I'm trying to get this horse has gone up £18 in 3 wins. I'm on the choo-choo train.
I was watching that race at Newmarket, Barry. Did you back Marajan in that by any chance?
I did, yeah. I backed it in York last day when it ran no sort of race as well.
I remember
Traded low.
I think you backed it the time before that at Haydock as well. It was a big price today, wasn't it? He came there. I was watching it. He came there.
What is Inver Park now, the price? Dave, is that 6 or 8?
I don't know. Do you need some glasses now?
Yeah, I've had trouble all week trying to read the
taken
screen.
the mickey out of me for
6
months.
Inver Park, 5-1 hard. On the sports book, he's around a 4-1 chance now.
This would be some double, this, wouldn't it, for the Bowies and Ben
Bowie
Curtis to
yard.
take out the Buckingham.
It's just ridiculous. How can he do this using the same gallops as everyone else then in Newmarket? But to get this horse from Mick Quinn, to improve it, and we've got a horse in our last race as well, Koi, who took from the Andrew Balding yard, and who has improved massively. So, what do trainers do, or what does George Bowie do to these horses? And for in his fledgling career, still such a young trainer.
He went down under and he learned the art of race planning.
Hence why he got Who You Mal, because of his time down there, wasn't it?
Do you know who else has been down under, Barry? Do you know who else has been down under?
No, Nat, who?
Well, Dave's been to Australia.
Has he?
Yeah, did you know that?
G'day.
You haven't told us any stories from Australia, from your
Listen,
Antipodean
I'm very shy
adventures.
about it. I'm I'm a modest man, and I don't like.
Ring the
talking
bell,
to
Nat.
people.
Ring the bell.
I know, I didn't bring it in today.
Yeah,
Bing,
she wasn't
ding.
allowed to ring
I wasn't
the
allowed
bell.
to bring it in today.
What were you drinking out of on the first day as well? It was a coconut thing as well, like a
Oh, it was a real coconut that I bought from Waitrose, because I'm obsessed with coconut water.
You can get a real coconut.
Yeah, and you just...
I don't go to Waitrose enough, clearly. I'm there on the club card yellow stickers around Tesco still.
Only because Waitrose is next door to the studio.
This is Lady Nat Green we're talking
No, it's
about
next
here.
door to the studio, so I'll buzz in, but when I get, and then I go up into the studio to have it.
Coconuts?
Yeah, actual coconut.
With like a straw?
Yeah.
I mean, I was slightly worried about you being nervous about this, but no, you had a coconut, you had a bell, you had
Did
everything.
you also
didn't
have a flower garland, like Hawaiian style?
No, I wore like a festival top for the first day. No, George Bowie,
could do that.
we've given him a lot of airtime this week, but one reason is, yes, how young he is, but
Classic
actually,
winning
he
trainer.
came straight from school at such a young age. He was 6 years assistant trainer to Hugo Palmer. He managed the satellite yard of 50 horses on his own. So, yes, he's young fledgling, but he ain't really, is he?
And he's been down under and trained with the legend that is going.
He ain't.
So
He's got so much experience.
I just
and then,
think he's also great friends with William Haggis's son as well.
great friends. Freddie?
Sam, isn't it?
Oh, he does the buying, doesn't he?
Yeah, and
he
he's
does the
got a lot
buying.
of the clever bloodstock going on. Things
And
like
who-
that. He's the future, basically. George is.
Barry will know, I can't remember who it was now. Which person was on this panel? It wasn't G-Rod. It was anyway, someone was saying that when COVID hit and the pandemic, George was actually in a really, really hard place. It was make or break, literally. He hasn't got all this backup.
Would have been Posty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Posty was telling me. Thank you. It was honestly, he literally was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And he did it. So he's...
Well, as in he hasn't got backing from
No.
background.
Well, he hasn't got just like big family back up his, got a mother and father with a great big yard that he's training. When Post was saying when you've got yard rent and you've got this and that, it really was make or break, and he's made. So credit where credit's due.
It's exciting, isn't it, with these Newmarket young trainers at the minute?
Yeah,
I mean, you've
Very
got,
much so.
Yeah, there's a whole load of them. I mean, Alice Haynes, Kevin Philip Defoy, George
Fellows, Charlie Fellows.
Charlie Fellows.
You'd
as
still
well, then.
consider him a young trainer, wouldn't you,
Yeah,
Charlie Fellows?
Yeah.
I would.
Despite the fact he's been nutted in a couple of Melbourne Cups, yes.
Yeah, I would.
Adventurous, good talkers, get the social media side of the game. The future's bright.
I had a good chat with
Yeah,
Kevin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Finally, we can say that about racing. The future's bright. Finally, we have something that we can say that it is about.
It's just the present that we can't stand.
Yes. Yeah, we're getting there.
No, let's not get down on it. I always say this, there's so much class out there. Look, this is great. It gets me out of bed coming on this show. I don't know, some of the downing all the time, it does my head in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're just, we're British. We love to moan about like the sunshine or the rain, whatever it is.
And when I spoke to Kevin Philip Defoy at Newbury, he was great, he was so interesting, and he didn't get some of my jokes. Cause
it's a tough life.
I don't think he understood them, but
it's folly.
I told him about the dinner
racing's
date
not gonna
thing.
get
I
caught
told
up
him
in
that I wanted to book a table under his name. He didn't get it, but it's fine.
Oh, really? Oh, no. But to be fair, he wasn't in on here when we were all joking about it. So
No, but I'd kind of pre-explained. I was like,
Oh,
you've got the best name ever. I've always wanted to book it, and he just kind of looked at me as if,
Oh, no. Don't do that.
I was insane.
he was basically threatening you not to use his name.
I had him on his first feature show when he was winning with all those 2-year-olds last year, and I said, is it Bowie or Bowie? And he looked a little bit, he wasn't over the moon with that, but I got him laughing towards the end.
Yeah, he doesn't always get...
I was like, Bowie?
He seems to be coming out of his shell more so with personality, doesn't he?
He's a fantastic guy,
which is always a positive.
It's very exciting. We need these new young trainers. Same with jockeys as well. It's great.
Yes, we do. Okay, right. All right, first folio. I put him on top. I think Regional, who's been really well backed under Ryan, fast finishing second last time out, will come second. And you'll be thrilled to know I've got Summergand in his third as well. The one that I've reluctantly left out, and so you know what happens, you might just want to put £2 on it, is Tab Deed for Holly Doyle and Archie Watson. Ron Wood, the form book editor, has made a great case for this in one of his tips today, that this test will be ideal for him. The money came from him last time at Ascot. Was it Ascot you went at last time? He's won there last twice, didn't he? Yeah. They fancied him a bit in the Wokingham. He missed the kick. It wasn't great. And behind Mountain Peak last time, it just wasn't run to suit whatsoever. And you watch it back, he's coming. He used to be a very good horse. Yes, he's a 7-year-old now. I'm not suggesting he's not
classy on his
very
day.
good horse now, but he's just, he is, this is the sort of test that could just suit him, and Holly's on. But I've left him out of my top 3.
But you made a
can't have
compelling
them
case.
all. I think St Lawrence's horse that interests me as well.
Go on, St.
Tinto's
Lawrence.
horse that interests me. Under Michael Dodds, who won it last year.
Yeah,
of
Barry
course.
mentioned St Lawrence, didn't he?
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I could have a.
You could. Yeah,
I could have a team of 8 here and still
but
not get it right.
This is a great punting race, though, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. Ratia is an interesting horse. Saw a bit of love for that on the socials as well. For Sean Levy, who's had success this week, of course, and I'm hoping Ratia will be installed too, a little bit pacey as well for my chap on the far side first folio. So look, what a race it is. Been great to hear from you with your 1, 2, 3s. We've still got another 5 minutes to the race. Knowing Goodwood, that'll be 10.
Well, there's quite a few to get down here.
I'm looking for some quotes that I've got. Nothing from Clark Kent yet. I shall be messaging him in a second. But she faltered coming up the hill, said Andrea Azzini on Emotion. And this was, the smaller field helped her, basically. She's a Galtres Park Hill type. We might be seeing her at the St Ledger meeting. And Immortal Beauty, who took out the nursery, sorry to mention that again when you thought you had it,
I know.
is a race that they basically like. And yeah, she's going to come back to 5 apparently. And she's going to go for something very valuable again at the St Ledger meeting. It's probably one of those sales races, isn't it? We've got that coming up soon. We've seen some good horses today, haven't we? We've got...
Seen some good horses this week.
We've just got 2 races left. We've got loads of time to talk. 'Cause 3:55, Galliac. It's been a long show today. How are you coping?
Fine.
Looking good? Filling your lunch?
Well, I don't need a wee, so that's good.
No, you had to plant the seed, didn't you? You had to plant the seed.
I normally, Oh, still got some.
And we don't need a banana, unlike Robbie Wilder's was commenting constantly yesterday.
Oh, he needed a banana.
Yeah, he just kept saying, really hungry, could really do with a banana.
He gets a bit hangry, does Robbie?
He's quite sweet, isn't he? He's just like an overgrown child.
You're getting closer.
Yeah.
You are getting closer. Doesn't have a filter as well, Rob. But
He made me a lovely cup of tea the other day, actually.
well,
Oh, very nice.
I liked him. He's funny. But yeah, he's like a child.
yeah, he's quite hard to manage, trust me. Not as hard as you, but it's quite hard to manage. We've got a 7 furlong handicap coming up after this. I really like one in it. Me and Kills are agreeing one in the last. Some progressive horses in that as well. That's the 355. But Barry, we've been talking away. Luckily for us, they look like they're near to time for the Stewards Cup. It's all about Inver Park now, isn't it? He's gone clear.
Yeah, 6.8 now, Dave. 11.5 regional. First folio 13 with Popmaster. Absolutely friendless now. Out to 25 on the exchange. Haven't been 14 at one stage. Chill 15. 17 Abdeed. Summergand 19. 23 Great Ambassador. Mr. Wagyu come in for support now. He's into 14.
Finally, the Wagyu, of course, went to the Curragh and took out the Rockingham handicap there a fortnight ago. Every time I say Wagyu,
Just a good name, isn't it, Wagyu? I don't know. It's just one of those names.
Cut them down.
Well, my husband, every time, which is not often, maybe once or twice a year, every time he has a massage, I say, how was it? He goes, well, it just felt like Wagyu beef. I don't know why he keeps having massage, because quite frankly, he hates them. And every time he has one, it just felt like Wagyu beef.
I mean, you've made it to 318 without going down that sort of road.
That's what he always says. I felt like Wagyu beef. It just makes me laugh.
Yeah, okay.
So
like
he
the
is
last
Mr. Wagyu.
7.5
Jason
years.
Hart, this would be, I mean, again, a lot of people sort of, I've seen quite a bit of on the chat and on Twitter and things like that, and thinking, what on earth were you doing in the last race, Jason Hart, despite the fact he got a second place in a Group 3 on a filly, was that front running one. You could see him maybe being vindicated with taking this out. He's one of the sprint jockeys out there, isn't he, of course?
Yeah,
He's associated with the sprinters.
Yeah.
Who was the John Quinn horse? Oh, the really fast one that used to run at Manchester, and the name escapes me now. Begin with A.
He's got loads of really fast horses.
Astronaut.
El Astronaute.
Brilliant, well done, Kate.
El
It's raining,
Astronaute.
thankfully, on this
Last.
trusted panel that we've got this afternoon.
I
So
thought
one more to
Princess
come
isn't
for
slow.
you after this. They continue racing along the way. It's a very interesting race. at
They're
4:30.
good, aren't they? They're a good combination, John Quinn and Jason Hart. They seem to have a really,
Yeah.
really good relationship, get each other. And
I say El
John
Astronaute
Quinn,
was the one, wasn't he?
Yeah, oh, he's a dude.
Yeah.
You just knew what you got from him every
Yeah.
time, didn't you?
I
Yeah,
like
Mr. Wagyu coming in.
Highfield Princess.
So if you're on the near side, you're hoping that the Wagyu gets salty early and goes flying. I wanted to get that in.
I think one's being reshod. That's annoying. I think it's horse number 26. That could cause a delay.
This was mentioned yesterday.
It
the double.
is called Above. It's also a bit lighter now. It's having a massive poo as I'm watching it in screen. Stuart Williams, Marco Gianni on board. If we can keep watching,
Is
we'll be
that
able
good
to tell
sign
you.
for horse? A lot of people ask me that when they go
Greyhounds,
to the races.
it's a good thing, isn't it? If a
Oh, yeah,
greyhound
that's
has
what
a
they
poo.
say for a greyhound. They encourage them, don't they, for greyhounds?
A horse's intestines, re-Google it, it's like 1,000,000 feet. So it is a front off 4 being reshod.
You always have to think, whenever I say near or off, I always have to think where I stand on the side of a horse. I always have to process for
It's
near
good
or
that
not.
they show stuff like this, though, because if people...
So the off 4 is the top right, is it? The right hand?
Yeah.
If you
It's
sat
the
on the
right.
horse, it's the right leg.
Yes.
Right is off, near is left.
Yeah, so
Near
you
is left.
al-
so,
so-
when you're leading a horse around, you always lead a horse on the left side, hence why it's near, because it's near you.
But you always think about which way you get on from, so you always get on the near side. So it's the off 4 being reshod, which never ideal, but these farriers are so good. They're not going to prick it with a nail, are they now? So let's fingers crossed it'll be fine.
I mean, I really could have gone for a tea break then.
You can if you
Harry
like.
was
It's all
interested.
Wagyu to me. No, I'm sure I can, Natalie Green. We know you're
take
capable
your
of taking
seat.
the reins. Quite literally,
feel
not just
itching
off
now
balls, but you can do it on
after-
shows as well. I want to talk about horses that we haven't mentioned, because you know
who have
what
we not
happens when we don't mention one. Coachello is one I'd like to come to you
Is
with,
that funny?
Barry. No love for it whatsoever. First one, though, for a training we usually associate with, get ready, ring the bell, the C word, Cheltenham.
Yeah. Which horse is this?
This is John
What out
McConnell's
there?
horse.
Coachello, making a stable debut for for
Number
this
4.
yard as well. Hasn't been seen since
again?
mid-December.
Coachella, number 4.
Yeah. I don't know much about it, to be perfectly honest with you, Dave.
None of us do.
No, we haven't seen him. He's only come
Well-
over from France.
Yeah.
What's John McConnell doing with the Stewards couples?
I know.
Yeah.
He's getting more and more of
Horses
these
for that
horses.
stud farm.
Is this in those
Yeah,
colours?
but I think
Is
you'd
this
know.
in the-
Well,
The colours of the filly that We backed that one. The
It's my mate Mozzie colours, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it
no,
is.
it's not
Al
my mate
Mustard,
Mozzie.
isn't it?
It's Mozzie, a different stud.
Ash Tree Meadow. Vina
I was going to say Ash Tree
Aldanza.
Meadow, who
And my
disappointed.
Ali
no, it is,
Stud.
yeah, it is.
It
Wow.
wasn't a cheap purchase. €270,000 at the
Sometimes
Aquana
you look
sales.
at things, don't you, as like a layman and a bison, you think, what is going on?
Yeah, but it's only ran on heavy and soft, isn't it, over in France?
Ah,
It's
that's
just-
French heavy and soft, though.
John McConnell,
bit
though, is so
unknown.
good on his British raids with his jumpers, isn't he? He just picked
And
every
it's
time.
106. His opening mark of 106 over here and hasn't ran in over 220 odd days.
And was 33s earlier in the week, all the way
One
out
of those,
to
you
whatever
know nothing
price.
about
Yeah,
No, we
an
just
interesting
don't.
horse.
We just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
it's just very random, isn't it? But yeah, to bring this horse over here, but he is getting more and more flat horses. He had a few at Galway this week, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Then, but yeah, and then of course he had a few going over to Utoxeter the other day. One in Velas let me down, unfortunately. But yeah, with his
why
raids
you
over
remember
here.
it.
Yeah, I can't remember the horse's name now, but it was beaten by the Fergal O'Brien horse. But yeah, no, another one with a raid. Just didn't exactly expect it to rock up in the Stewards Cup.
No, indeed not. And maybe this is for a future raid down the line, of course. Maybe it will be Ayr. John McConnell does have winners up at Ayr with his jumpers, of course. This is maybe the start
Yeah,
of a
you never
ride.
know. Rathbone's a big prize, isn't it? Kevin Ryan knows
Yeah.
a thing or two about sprints really up in class here, and of course
It's been
that
a quiet
penalty
year for the Ryans, hasn't it?
has.
Maybe that will be the back end, but it's been a quiet year. I know they're a little bit frustrated by it. Oisin
Where's
McSweeney,
Amaratiana gone? Is she retired? Did they?
He is.
Yeah.
Or sorry, he.
Yeah, he just hasn't really. He's still around, Barry. And it'll be trying to get the Sprint Cup again, won't it?
Yeah.
You'll be there watching that, no doubt. Yeah, Rathbone is interesting. They've always thought he was up to this sort of grade. He's sort of filling the boots of Bielsa, who's waiting for another go at Ayr. Gulliver, we've got to mention this, Barry, every time
boy.
he's here. And he, of course, close second in the race last year. Gulliver still won.
Yeah, he'll run his race, won't he? You know what you get with him. He's no secrets from the handicapper now at this stage, and his colours are easy to spot for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, let's hope I can be.
you a fan of those
I can
colours?
find the bullseye. Well, whatever. Why not?
I like him.
Why not? There's a million horses out there. Why not? I mean, I would find it, and we haven't got time for this quite now, we probably have actually, as one going in. I would find it almost impossible to choose my silks. I've always thought that.
Really?
Yeah.
What? You've never?
I would find it nearly impossible. I'm a Watford
Yeah.
fan,
You'd
right?
get yourself in a bit
so
of
I
a
go for
spin.
yellow and red or something like that. What do you think? Sorry?
I think you'd get yourself in a bit of a spin.
I would.
You'd have a bit of a head
I
wobble.
wouldn't have a clue
you?
how to do it, because obviously the most expensive ones are the simple ones, aren't they, of
Yeah,
course?
but
I
I
like
love
the
simple and
all
classic.
pink ones.
But
Would you?
if you're looking at, of course, Gulliver,
Quite like them.
which is for
Have we
the-
mentioned last year's winner, Comanche Falls, who I think I backed, Dave? I think I'm correct
Yes,
in
you
saying that,
did.
didn't I?
He was your horse,
Yes,
Barry. That
very well done.
You love these.
Yeah,
sort of
just
coloured
£2
horses, don't you,
higher.
These Comanche horses. There's a couple of others that you put up as well. He, of course, unseated, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it's all been roads leading back to here, Barry. Surely, stall 19.
Oh
for him.
yeah, this would have been his target now, for sure. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. He's only a couple of pounds more than
Yeah, he
last
is.
year as well. He's rated 103. He was 101 last year. It all ended for him out of stalls, out of traps in Ascot. He unseated just as they came out, didn't he?
Yeah, he goes on any
There was
ground.
no run.
He goes on. I'm a bit surprised. He's only once run at Goodwood, and that was success. So yeah, again, it shows you what sort of race it is.
Dartboard going in. I like Inver Park colours. I like that blue with the yellow star. It's quite nice.
My point colours were when I got to choose my silks were Cornish silks. So I had the black body
nice.
with the white cross belts, and then I had a black hat with gold coins. So gold
Like
spots
that.
over it. So
see
my little Cornish silks.
I would never think to do that.
I like bright colours.
Yes, we know this.
So all pink would be lovely.
Right. Yeah,
We're
So,
lime
I don't
and
know,
yellow.
what would your silks be? We could ask that question right from the start, wouldn't we? But absolute nightmare.
There's lovely St. Lawrence.
I wouldn't be able to do it, really. So, anyway, in goes St Lawrence, the 7 horse, the Varians. I'm trying to think if Roger's ever won this. I don't think he has. Let's have a look.
Chill out to 17. That's pretty friendless in the market. Yeah, Mr. Wagyu continues to get support. 7 Inver Park from 6. 10.5 region, you'd have to say, has been really steady throughout for Ryan Moore. First folio out to 16 now, 17 Popmaster.
St Lawrence looks very powerful. I know it's because
Beautiful.
he's
He's a lovely looking horse.
4-year-old colt. He'll soon be horse when he turns 5. But when they get to 4 and they're still like that, he looks a real powerhouse.
Chill twice now. She has managed to come back from an absence of the time that she'd had prior to her last start. Twice she's come back and been beaten on her reappearance and then won her next start. So this is trying to fit into third time lucky again then for that trend for her.
Ryan, of course, on regional, everything he's been riding this week pretty much been going there or thereabouts, isn't it? Or looking like he's going to have a chance at some point. This race hasn't been that kind
bobbing
to him,
around in
actually.
the stalls, but Comanche Falls is last
Are we
in.
all in?
Ooh,
Yeah.
God
good
help
luck.
me with the
Someone's
call.
rearing though, stall
I'll
22.
do my best. And I've got two
Someone's
banshees
rearing,
next to me as
Dave,
well,
in
so
stall
good luck.
22 quite badly. Someone's rearing quite badly in stall
Inver
22.
Park that was. No.
Oh, it was the fab. Abel Keynes
Oh,
missed it for the Millmans. What's that? Something's absolutely walked out at the back. Oh, it's Typhoon 10, one of the big outsiders. And here's the split. Right, on the far side, it looks like it is. Goodness gracious me, what is that? It's one of the outsiders down the far side.
I don't
That's
even...
good eye,
Near
is it?
side are
Good
way
eye for
in
26.
front. You've got Mackinacs up there, Chill's up there. Quite surprisingly, some
Just
again on the
another
far
bottle
side.
up there.
What's this on the near side in the pink colours? Come on, where's my spotters
good
here?
eye in the
Is
red
this
on the
Zargan?
near
Of
side.
course it is. No, no, it is. It's good eye on the near side. Listen, you've got to say that High are going to have this. Just another ball. Mr. Wagyu absolutely
pressure.
cruising. Looking for some of the big players on the far side. Mackinac, great ambassador right out the back. Where is First Folio?
Graham,
Again,
you
he's a
need a
little
run.
bit buried at the moment. This is not a pretty uneventful
not
race.
easy.
Comanche Falls,
No,
last year's
go back
winner,
to
is
the-
coming. When the deal is done,
on,
is
St.
there
Lawrence.
as well. It's near side all the way.
Oh,
Look
it
at
is.
Tab Deed coming through on the Holly Doyle.
Who is this?
This is
Flying
Tab Deed, but
through.
it's last
Tab
year's
Deed.
winner, Comanche
Can't
Falls.
do it
He's
again
not
then.
going to get caught, I don't think, is he? Tab Deed is coming late. It's going to be
Comanche
Tab
Falls.
Deed in the last
Tab
year's
Deed.
winner. Back-to-back winners of the Stewards Cup. Oh, it's coming.
Oh my
Oh,
word!
Oh, I think he held on. didn't he,
Decibels I
Comanche?
never knew I had in that race. Unbelievable
Wow.
scenes. Last year's winner has just prevailed. Holly Doyle had to switch. Has that cost Tab Deed? What we can say, Barry Orr, you had to be on the near side.
Yes, you certainly did. Tab D drawn 28, Comanche Falls drawn 19. It looks like Comanche Falls is up. Tab D ran his heart out. Traded low 106, which is 16 to 1 on Comanche Falls. A Betfair SP at 35.4. So 33 to 1 at Betfair SP of Comanche Falls. We did mention it. We gave it a brief mention pre-race. Yeah, what can you say? Last year's winner.
Lucky.
Should have had a little sentimental bet in it, Dave, shouldn't I?
You know what it's like, heart and head, Barry. Sentiment. We've got no need for that. But a lot of people would have been with it on that alone, I think. Oh my lord, that's kind
What's
of.
that?
There is a huge eye catcher in this race, and Kate Tracey will be frustrated because Great Ambassador is the only one from a low. I mean, he's run his absolute heart out. And all roads lead back to air. I think maybe it would be the Portland, something like that, the St Ledger meeting. They're the big ones that are left.
Is that regional?
Regionals run a blinder for Ryan Moore. On the near
Number
side,
13, good eye.
good eye. Yeah, that was the pace set. I couldn't
eye was
work
the
it out.
pace
I was
set.
looking
No,
all the way
my
down.
thing wouldn't load quick enough on the colours. I couldn't say.
Ray
So,
Dawson for Jessica Long. Tinto, I think, has got the 5th place and 6th Great Ambassador. Who, let's face it, from stall 12, right out the back early, he's absolutely flown. And Ed Walker's got him back. Unfortunately, not quite in time today. Hats off to Dodsey.
wow.
Yeah, completely. I mean, the horse now, 2 from 2 at Goodwood. That was only second start at this track as well. Then 2 from 2 in this race, £2 higher. All look very straightforward on that basis. High draw, definitely the place you wanted to be. They had the pace. Don't know about the better ground on the going stick because it was meant to be far side, but you
It was
just
a
wanted
rough
to
race.
be. Yeah, on this near side then. What a wonderful horse. So you'd expect him to go back to the Air Gold Cup where he finished 7th in it last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7th in it last year. So expect him to go back there and post a solid performance.
Were you yeah, absolutely, Kate. Were you keeping your eye on Inver Park because he missed the break and he's finished like a horse's fan is too sharp?
Yeah. I was a bit disappointed.
Trying to find. Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Where did First Folio run, Dave?
Right, so he was on the
Where
far
did
side,
Anaf
Barry.
finish?
He came there with he's the grey. If you're watching it where we are now, look, he doesn't
Yeah.
usually race this prominently. Again, the worry, Barry, with our horses on the far side, and if you're on Chill, she went that way. You didn't really have a chance early. Harry
Far
Davis.
side got to about 2-8 and said, we need to
We
get
are in the
this
poop.
Yeah, they
is
did,
gluey
didn't
where
they?
we are. It
Yeah.
must be like glue on the far side because they came all the way across the track to join up the main group.
Yeah, and they just hadn't gone quick enough on the far side. It was Mackinac on the far side. Didn't have the pace to go with them. And we'll just keep your eye on Great Ambassador. Summergan's not had the greatest run as well. Inver Park missed the break. He's marooned in that side. First Folio's done his best on the far side. But Inver Park, again, getting back over 7 furlongs to Balmoral, something like that. Absolutely perfect for him, that'll be. Gulliver from stall 1 has tried his heart out to get there.
And stopped a half a furlong out.
Yeah, ground maybe. I
Half
don't know.
a furlong out, he just...
You had to be on the near side. I mean, Summergan's flying.
Yeah,
at
Summergan's
guys.
the eye catcher then of those further back. Then
He always is, isn't
This
he?
will be one for
he
your
always
replays
does.
then,
He's
big
great.
time, as ever it is. And we get all these lovely, this sprint road. It's such a good story for
Yeah.
the sprinters out there. Portland next then, I think. What have we got? There must be something at the EBOR meeting I'm not thinking of as well. I'm looking for back-to-back winners, guys, of the Stewards. And I don't think there's been one yet. There hasn't been one, so he's created history. Never before has the Stewards Cup been won in
Throw your
successive
trends out the
years.
window.
Yeah, well, quite. They're there to be broken, aren't they? A lot of people will say. What a performance that is. And he unseated last time. I mean, he had a 0 next to his name before that. It was a good comeback. He's now 2 from 2 at Goodwood. Be honest, who had him out there? Who had him? There you can see the result then. If top 4, Tab Dido, I said, are reluctantly left out. Regional would probably be a benchmark. And Good Eye, 150 to 1 on that stands rail where the winner and he came. Did anyone look at Tab Deed? She had to switch slightly, didn't she? I think?
Yeah, Tabdeed really had to switch around then. And you just thought that it was going to come there again then for Tabdeed to get another big Saturday winner for the Archie Watson-Holly Doyle combination there. And you just got the impression from the market vibes that we were getting that a potential return to form was looking likely for Tabdeed off of that £2 lower mark, but did have to switch then and was closing down towards the line. But I thought still had every chance in the final few strides to actually get in front of Comanche Falls, but Comanche Falls fought back, I thought, though, more so than Tabdeed necessarily being in front than past the line. Have you seen
He
the
found lows, didn't he, the winner?
Yeah, he's found lows
found
there. He's
loads.
really battled back. Do you see the difference when they just had the head-on angle between the low draws and the high draws from their tracks that they left behind then? Real imprints from the low draws and then barely anything from the high draws, which kind of just goes
Proper
to tell
put
you its
the
own
water on,
story.
haven't they? That's for sure, because this is a horse that does go well on soft ground, actually. And, of course, as we saw last year. We'll look for the time of the race and let you know about that. We've got one more to come here on Racing Post Live. Thrilled to tell you, the 3:55. We go up to there. Really open-looking 7 furlong handicaps. Is Dodsey even there?
I'm just looking for him. There's nice
Probably up
scenes,
at
isn't it?
first,
Connor
isn't it?
getting big cuddles. That's really sweet.
Back-to-back winners then of the Stewards Cup. Wow. And again, like a great ambassador, Comanche Falls probably falls into that bracket, doesn't he? He can't quite make that step up.
Yeah.
And so you have to we know how the handicapping game is played here. You've got to sort of look for horses, you've got to forgive these zeros and things like that.
Of course you do.
Gas in the nursery during the week. Holly Doyle rode Perry Falcon for Dodd.
For Dodsey.
Just one. And then she gets nutted a short head by Dodsey's horse then in the Stewards Cup.
She will be absolutely
I
fine.
don't think he was there the other day either when that horse Perry Falcon won the nursery. Was he not? I remember saying we were looking for him in there and we couldn't see him in the weigh room or in the parade ring.
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right actually.
He's a northern trainer, isn't he? He's probably got runners at Thirsk. And it's
He's
like,
not. He's pretty chill.
Yeah, he's a quite reserved individual.
He's
isn't he?
reserved. He's very chill. He certainly wouldn't be there for the big day out. Do you know what I mean? He'd be got to be absolutely delighted. But he's
Mabs,
reserved.
Cross, etc.
Reserved.
He's had some
Is a
proper
nice.
sprinters down the line, isn't he? All right, we've got one up there. Look at this. Future Horses,
Yeah,
Future
lekker.
Baseball, New York. I don't know, NY,
Did
something
he
like that.
train LaBreezy Breeze? LaBreeze Breeze,
No,
was that him?
that was
No?
Dean Ivory, wasn't it?
Oh, Dean
Started
Ivory,
off
that
with
was, yeah,
Jeremy Nacida and then went to Tony Bloom. Holly, a very good ride to get
brilliant
Tabdeed
ride.
that close. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair
Brilliant
play.
ride.
So you've been nutted, and that's nice to see sometimes. People
Oh.
saying great ride. That's why I finished so close. All right. Okay. Stewards Cup done and dusted.
Oh,
What have we got? We've got another one. Oh yeah, I saw this too in 2020. HWTO. Summergan so unlucky, stopped in his run twice. It's just what happens when you're on a hold-up horse. The old boys storm again. You mind him in the Portland now, would you? 5.5 furlongs.
he is clearly still in great form. But Dave's made the absolute point. You've got to hold up horse in a massive field, which he's normally always in.
You've got to take the rough
sadly,
and the smooth, haven't
that's
you?
the way it goes because you need a bit of luck in running.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're hoping for it in the 3:55. We've got a bit of time to talk. Perhaps now with 20 minutes, guys and girls, now's the time to reflect on what sort of a week we have had, what we've got coming up as well. A reminder that Oisin Murphy sits on this panel. Currently, the 3-time champion jockey is available, funnily enough, and he's coming in here. He had such a good time when he came into preview Royal Ascot for us. The Foxes that won the first race today, is it Future Derby horse? Oisin said it is by miles their best 2-year-old at the Ballings. 3 times lucky. You got it today, you would have beaten the favourite. Will he give us some insightful pearls of wisdom like that. Paul Keeley will be with him as well.
That'd be great. It'd be
Dusting off
really
kills for this show.
insightful. That'd be brilliant.
You think Wilders is hard to deal with on this show?
Oisin would be brilliant on
So
here.
Saturday Sizzler himself is coming in, and the big hitter making the journey over. So a 4-strong panel, Barry, for the Shergar Cup next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Dave. Can't wait. I don't know how many races we're covering. Many races is there in the Shergar Cup this year?
Oh, it's a long old shift, Barry. They've added 2 races on it. We're not. So that's a good point, actually. You made. Well, I think we're not covering the first race because ITV have just made a decision not to cover the first race because there are very good group races later on elsewhere on the track as well. But we're going to have some fun with the Shergar Cup. No doubt the social team and the marketing team will come up with. Also, it's a 4.5-hour show, I'm being told.
You have to bring a bucket in if you need a wee.
What time does it start?
It's
10 a.m.
What time's the flight?
My flight's at 7.
We'll get a nice bit of breakfast then. We'll go to the hotel that Barry likes to stay in.
That place again.
We'll go to that
place.
place
A week after I had that breakfast last day.
Don't say where Barry stays.
Yeah,
Have
we'll
a
go to
fan
the
club.
calf, shall we, Barry? We've got Keels as well.
A proper calf, is that?
Oisin
Keels
can look at
has
Chris.
chips for breakfast.
Oh, it's a proper greasy spoon calf then. Oh,
Proper
nice.
grill. We love it. Yeah,
Proper job.
Pre-match ritual.
You
Keels
don't
is
get
very
coconut
keen.
water and a coconut
I
in
don't
there,
like
doubt.
it. They tried to take me once and thank God it was closed, remember? I was
unbelievably
absolutely,
closed.
secretly, Barry, I was like that. Yes, it's closed.
You weren't happy. We took David Jennings there once and he had a coffee. I didn't know they did frothy coffee in that. We were all sort of clapping him.
It's
We were
more-
like,
Is it more like the American diner, you know, coffee, and it's just
no,
black
it's not. He
treacle.
brought it over. It was all very well done. And he went, Jesus, do you have chips for breakfast? He said. And,
That's
he was-
disgusting, like.
He was that was. Let's not do accents now. Me and
That
you
was
were awful
good.
at them. It was dreadful.
It wasn't.
It was a nil point.
That's disgusting,
coming
like.
up. You know what I mean, again,
A little bit of scouse in there.
No, because he's more, DJ's more like, he is proper 33, isn't he?
well, he
He's
can't say
33.
3, of course.
Can't say
But look,
3.
next week we're going to have a lot of fun with that. That's coming up, of
That's
course, every
disgusting.
Saturday in 2022. This is the last of the big festivals, really. But, of course, then you go to the jumps. We'll be doing some Fridays at the Open meeting, the Sundays, of course, like that. It's still to come, isn't it? We've got Champions Day coming up later on. We did Champions Day last year, didn't we, us 4? Do you remember that was when I had my road incident?
Yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, of course. You had your on which bridge was it?
Dave.
I got hit by a hit and run. But
Dave-
there was no runner because the car was driverless.
Dave.
He jumped out about 20 metres before he hit me.
Dave should just not bother driving in. I sent him a picture. Ask her.
Oh,
Dave,
come on, Nat.
Is this your car, Dave? I had about 5 parking tickets on it. I was like, Dave,
2,
leave
it
the
was
car
2.
at home. It was 3, I think.
That was the one where I left it overnight, of course, and I came and met you, Barry, and Rossford.
But then
Look,
listen,
we love these
we're
festivals.
all trying to
they're great.
save the environment, but it's not easy when there's a million train strikes a week, is it? Because we can't
Yes,
get home,
yes,
can
he's-
we?
yes,
Both my
he's done
trains have
very
been
well.
cancelled
You've had
home
to- there's
tonight.
been a bit of-
Oh, no.
Hoity-toity about that over there, but let's hope the planes are not delayed next week, whatever we do. But Barry's coming over nice and early. We will be there for you next Saturday. We cannot wait. You're going to see a lot. I'm doing an email shot in the week for that to try and get everyone G'd up. You're going to see a big push for it here at the Post, quite rightly so as well. We're going to have some fun with the Shergar Cup. We're going to see this chap maybe being lifted. And maybe we'll have our own teams and all that sort of stuff. We'll have a bit of fun
good.
with it. But of course, you've got Frankie there. You've got Holly and you've got Emma Jane Wilson coming over. Who else have we got? I can't remember off the top of my head, but the Queen of Canada comes over. She's brilliant, Emma Jane Wilson. She's absolutely superb. We're going to be hearing from Holly in this studio next week as well. It's all happening. Let's talk about the week that was, though, shall we?
Yes.
We've got time. We've got 15 minutes.
Let's.
I'll tell you what, Barry. Let's get the trade in the last. It's Barry Orr in the last. He's had an exemplary week. Let's get the business out of the way, and then we can look back on some highlights.
Yeah, so Woodington's 6, it's 5.6 Gallic, 5.4 Spirit of Negru, Koi 6.6, 9 Positive Impact, 10 Bar. I like Woodington, please, here, Kate. And what we're going to do, we're just going to keep it real simple. It's 6.0. We're going to have 25 quid win. Woodington won a Epsom handicap 4.5 lengths off 78, got £9 for that. So it's 87 now. But the second is one since Marley Park. And it's a horse that, you know, it's taken a bit of a time for the penny to drop on him, but I think it finally has. Happy to be a backer at 6 with John Egan in the plate.
Perfect.
There you go. John Egan. Big ride for him,
Yeah.
is it? Yeah, Woodington, is it? Yeah, he is, isn't he? For the Staffords. We've had a good one of it recently, haven't we? Finally, the unpronounceable one that was second in the John Smith's Cup one the other day, didn't it? And Waddington here, who finally came good. I say finally because it took 5 runs for him to come good. You like this as well? Should we get that out of the way? Is it you that
What?
likes this? Waddington.
No, I quite like Koi Koi, and I don't know whether you'll agree with me on this. I wonder, Dave, I'm interested if we can give Lassadude another shot. Now, we were very underwhelmed, weren't we, at his underwhelming effort at Newmarket. Didn't look to enjoy the track at all, but his second to Secret State is still standing seriously well. The form line is good.
Yeah.
We just need to see the Lassadude that I think it can be. But yeah, I was absolutely gutted last time. So Lassadude seriously needs to shape up and get back to those form lines. But I quite like Koi Koi. Oi, oi, Koi Koi.
Koi. You had out of luck with Bowie in the last, but you're hoping that he's on song here.
I am.
With Ryan Moore. Drawn 7 over 7 furlongs. Not ideal.
No. I don't give a damn about the draw, do I? Because
you think I've got an accent, actually, don't you? You really do.
Proper.
Do you not think you do?
No, of course I
proper
don't.
London
Do you
geezer,
not think
aren't
you have
you?
an
Of course I
accent?
don't have an accent. I
You're a
speak
proper
like the
London
Queen.
geezer.
So London.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, Lassadude is interesting because many a start...
Lassadude is interesting. Could bounce back.
Many a start earlier on the card, beaten favourite last time, goes and wins. And it made me think to myself, I'm going to run a query at some point next week. I'll get all the numbers because I want to see about beaten favourites next time out. Horses, basically, guys, that you give up on. And you think, they ran too bad to be true. But why was the money there in the first place?
Yes.
That's interesting, isn't
Drawn 1.
So, yes. Lassadude could bounce back. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised at all. That previous run, it looked like also it was going place at Donny, didn't it?
Yes, I've got to keep the faith because sometimes you get caught out if you don't. And you shouldn't really just give up over one run when it looked quite clearly he didn't like the track at Newmarket.
This is always a tidy race, this, for 3-year-olds. I think they're always quite progressive, something trying to get itself up into the Balmoral or something like that. I thought that Galliac was overlooked, certainly when the decks came out. I suggested on a feature show, he's around about 8-1. It's been smashed since Gills has put this up as one of his best bets of the day. Drawn in 2, course and distance winner earlier in the year. Absolutely key if it gets the runs. It might find something lurking, like a Spirit of Nguru, who's drawn right next to him. But I think the rest of them, he's got them in hand, personally. I think he's the one that's guaranteed to run his race. Yeah. So sorry for saying that if you're all out and put the curse on it. But I wasn't sure about some of the others, and I just thought he was likely to run his race. He's definitely short enough now, I think. The horse that beat him last time at Sandown, I've been saying yesterday, I think is a right old horse called Golden Voice for the Haggises. I think he'll win the Cambridgeshire. If he goes to York next month, that'll be his prep for this, in like the other Golden Mile, if you like. But that form, he paid for it for trying to go with that rival at Sandown last time, Galliac. This is his track, and I think he will go very close indeed. Kate, Tracey, before we look at some highlights.
Yeah, I am with Barry again here with Woderton. I really thought everything...
Someone liked it.
I thought everything came together for him last time out. I think the key to that was the good to firm ground he faced at Epsom, where a fair few of these, unfortunately, including Lassadude, I just have a slight question mark over the ground for them, whereas with Woderton, I definitely think he loved the good firm ground then last time out. I know the handicapper hasn't missed him by any means. The fact that he's given him that £9 rise is clearly going to ask a lot more of him. But there's an awful lot of pace on in this race, and he had the perfect setup then at Epsom last time out, because I expect Positive Impact to go forwards, Roman Dragon then to go forwards. So hopefully, I'm a gambler, won't be too far away, so hopefully he will get that good pace to aim at and can just continue this trajectory, and he has that good course form from previously when he ran over the mile at this track on his 2 outings at this track previously. So yeah, Woderton again was allowing price to dictate, but yeah, with Barry on this one.
I'm sort of...
Barry's winning the trophy so far, isn't he?
Oh, it's waiting for him next week. Yeah, absolutely.
Darn it.
Absolutely, it is. Let's go to you then, Barry. Again, we'll have a quick word on the highlights after this. But Galliac going to go off Fav, or is Koi Koi pressuring him now?
Spirit of Nguru is favoured at 4.6 now, Dave.
Whoa,
yeah.
Okay. This is
really strong for Tom the Palm.
Tom the Palm.
Match at a high of 8.4, so it's nearly half in price.
Going for a double on the
Galax
day.
6.2, 5.9 Woodington, 7.6 Koi Koi. He's the negative in the race, Koi Koi, considering the makeup of him with George Bowie, and after getting him off another yard, had his couple of runs, you know. like the favourite in the previous race.
It's a good race, this, because the fact that Gisborne is, you're right outside her. Gisborne threw a race away here, but I think it was behind Galliac, actually. He was fifth. He was on his return, wasn't it? Yes, it was. He came there to win, and he sort of went all the way across the track, and he's running some pretty good races since. This is, again, look out for a big run from Gisborne. I don't think he should be as big as he is at the moment. I'm a Gambler. We've seen him winning on Beverley, wasn't it? I think when
Horse and
put
Mine.
him up. Yeah, absolutely. Roman Dragon for Hugo McCarmer. Harry Davis, big price. That's a dude. The ability's there. Positive impact. Got that new market form. Tidy race. I was surprised that Spirit and Guru drifted out this morning and has come right back in. I thought it would be Fav because it's them, isn't it? And it might just be on route to better things. And they've got a line on Galliac as well. All right, talking about some highlights for the week then. You've got all of our picks. Let's see. All right, Ned Stark, who's been with us today. And honestly, guys, great to have you with us all this week. We've got a loyal community out there. Yeah, go on, Barry. What do you say?
My highlight of the week. You never asked me for it.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to go for Nedster first. Hang on. It's probably going to be something wind-up here, I would imagine, after this. Right, Nedster says, right, kicking him off. Nashwa, the best performance for me this week. What do we reckon? Nassau winner.
Very good, wasn't it? The fact that she managed to do that despite the race conspiring against her, where they went off at a reasonable pace early on. They really slowed it up. She had to quicken as they sprinted coming from the rear of the field and to go ahead. I'm not sure.
Top of the lot?
I don't think it was the strongest NASA, but at the minute for me, she sits top of the lot.
We always see
New
one
London
filly that
was
changes,
the
don't we?
performance
New
of the
London.
week, the Ledger winner.
Okay, New London.
Very nice horse. Did it really nicely. Just beautifully travelled through the race. Won the John Pearce Racing Gordon Stakes. And yeah, I do actually think. Yeah, I mean, actually it was tight anyway for the Ledger. It was already, I think, 6-1. I'm not sure if it's changed a lot now. Anti-post for the Ledger, but for me, I just thought New London loved that performance.
And you'll be hoping to see him at Donny, of course, of a team that won that last
Hope
year.
so.
Charlie Appleby and Hurricane Lane and William Buick. Barry, sorry, give us your highlight.
I've three highlights. Kyprios going to be the stayer to beat for a couple of years to come. He's only a 4-year-old. He's already won one Gold Cup.
Yeah.
He's a really, really nice horse. And we know how Aidan O'Brien can keep these older horses sweeter for those staying trips. We've seen him do it with Yates back in the day. So I think he's changing of the guard was signalled in the Goodwood Cup. I think Baid is, everyone crabs Baid because they're comparing him to Frankel. It's just not fair. Baid is Baid. He's beaten what's put in front of him. He'll probably never reach the lofty height. Well, I'd say you could almost certainly say he'll never reach the lofty heights that the mighty Frankel did. But that doesn't mean he's not a great horse in his own right. He's the best turf horse in the world at the moment. And really looking forward to seeing him in the Juddmonte at York. And then Warren Point. Nat alluded to it earlier there. He was a horse that won a handicap. He's a 3-year-old gelding, won a handicap of 95. He's gone places, that horse. I have no doubt about that. He's Charlie Appleby. Not a lot went wrong for him in the race, but he's a horse that they need to learn to settle. He was gelded before he even ran, so that's some indication on his personality, I would imagine. And he's a horse that you could mark up for that win off 95 in that handicap on Thursday.
Interesting, yeah. I think it's hard to disagree with any of them, actually. Warren Point, I bet he travels, Barry. I could see him going to Canada and things like that.
You'll see. Yeah, definitely. You'd see him go all over the place.
And the Strad not retiring. That's a great story.
Look,
that's brilliant.
The Goodwood Cup, one of the races of the season, I think we could say, can't we?
Sorry, Nashua wasn't.
Nashua
wasn't actually my highlight. Sorry, I thought when you said top of the tree, I thought you meant for the fillies of that division.
I did. So what was your highlight, Kate?
Oh no, that race. The Goodwood Cup. Yeah,
the Clash.
Oh, I mean, what a horse race. When will we ever see a race like that again? We're not going to see the three of them facing each other ever again.
That's what we were saying. G-Rod thinks we will, and we were like, we won't.
Where?
They'll avoid each other. They'll avoid each other.
Nothing against what G-Rod thinks on a 50-50.
It was amazing, wasn't it? And
idea.
Strad was awesome as well. But Barry's right. Kyprios is the one that's going to...
Will joins the highlights party and says the Platinum Queen was my highlight of the week. Very impressive. I was with her when she won at York. Yes, again. Look, Nunthorpe next week. We've seen some. What did we see? Who won that yesterday? The sprint. Remind me, the Charlie.
King George, the Cardem.
Cardem. I thought he was very good. I thought the Malcolm winner looked very interesting as well. Beat the right two horses, Rocket Ronnie and Warback. Did Trillium.
But Rocket Ronnie, Trillium was very impressive.
Very good.
Very, very good. Rocket Ronnie was a bit We all felt a bit deflated after that.
Well,
actually.
because all the favourites had won going up to that, and the first three
Yeah,
favourites had won.
yeah.
Superstate, and Oscula. You felt a bit for him because
we were a bit
you
like,
had Baid to come next, favourite. State occasion, favourite. The
odd
Platinum
one
Queen
out.
favourite.
Yeah, and then we were a bit like,
Everyone's banker of the week was the odd one out. It's sod's law sometimes in
it's
this
sod's
game,
law,
isn't
isn't it?
it?
'Cause
But
we're
he
all-
bumped into one. He ran his race. It was a good time.
Yeah.
56 seconds they went, and she is a proper horse, I think.
Yeah.
And she'll go out to 6 furlongs. Could we just seen Shively Park filly there? Potential, I think, is there. And look, by beating Modern Games, who's probably a bit underrated, isn't he? An alcohol free in third. It's just, it was just great
Baid
to
was
see him.
brilliant.
Baid.
Baid, I mean, yeah, we don't even. It's
Have we
just,
got the same theory about Baid? I was saying this
Yeah,
yesterday.
we love him.
I think when he's on some slightly juicier ground, they will let him rip.
my theory is, I don't. When you're looking at longevity, he's 8 from 8. You don't need to throw the kitchen sink at him. You don't need to. He got 3 whips. No, we don't call it whipping, but we got 3 little strikes. He accelerated as much as he needed to do. That's all he needs to do. He's not. The problem is Frankel was wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But does Baid isn't that a horse? He's a really
More workmanlike.
He's
See,
a
I
much
didn't
more
think I'd be saying
workmanlike.
that about him after last year because he travelled so well, but that was obviously against much inferior opposition. We saw at Palace Pier that he was a battler. Look, we're going to see him step up to a mile 2. I always remember my conversation with William Aggins at the start of the season, around about Lincoln time. He said it's a long season.
Yeah. It
just
is.
rings in
And
there,
how
it
good
is.
was Modern Games, by the way? God, that's a good horse.
Again, I think he'll be a Breeders' Cup horse, Modern
God,
Games,
he's a
all that
good
sort of stuff. All the rest of the milers can't wait for Baid to go away.
Yeah.
So, look, it is what it is. I know that G. Rob
And
was like,
then
I'm sick of
we'll
these
miss
6 to 1
him.
on shots.
Then we'll miss him because what have we got? It's all
Yeah.
right, but then we'll
The
be missing
3-year-olds
Baid.
are just an okay bunch, don't they?
It was interesting to hear Charlie Appleby when they interviewed him about Modern Games, and obviously Caribas didn't run, and someone said to him, like, would he have given, what do you think, how would Caribas had a fare there? Obviously he'd have a good yardstick and known the ability of Modern Games, and he said he thought that Caribas would have given Baid a good run for his money.
Really?
Yeah.
But that was interesting.
That's so annoying. It's got an
I'm
abscess,
slightly worried
isn't it?
about Caribas because I wondered why he didn't have a prep going into the Guineas. I know they gave one to Native Trail and they're very different horses, but my worry about him, I thought he was he wasn't brilliant at Royal Ascot, wasn't he? He wasn't brilliant. Got the job done.
No.
He obviously had a hard race there as well. I think he probably is a little bit fragile. Desert Crown is the one that's missing as well now.
Yeah.
Keeping that we haven't seen Adir.
At least
Hurricane Lane
this
hasn't
time
come
out,
back.
though, it's just an abscess, isn't it? I mean, that happens in all
Fine.
thoroughbreds. It's just a quick abscess. They'll have to
Yeah,
drain it,
it's
poultice it. It's in his past and it will come out and it'll be grand.
If we had the bell that you introduced into the show, I would be ringing Gamble Alert now here, because Spirit and Guru is just
Right.
going one way on the exchange.
Yeah, they're smashing it up big time, Spirit of Anguru. Into 4 now on the exchange. It was 4.7 the last time we spoke. Like I said, it has been matched at a high of 8.4, only for small money, but at 8.2 there was 144 quid match. So gone from 7 to 1 into 3 to 1. Big gamble.
Wow. Okay, for the team that rarely missed the board with these type of horses. Done 2 wins on the all-weather. Slightly easy ground last time. Needed it, I think. Still ran well. Easy to back, pretty much.
They're just mustard this team when there's money for one. They're just absolute mustard.
Ridiculous, isn't it? To the point, Barry, that when you see one stinking in the market, you just go, well, I'm out.
If you're on it, you just have to. Grin
and bear it.
Oh my God.
What have I done? Yeah, absolutely. We've had Galway, of course, this week. Who was there?
What a
Such great
cracking
prize
looking
money
horse.
at
So they're
Galway.
really focusing on it in the shots, aren't they?
These colours as
Spirit
well.
of the Guru,
Now,
yeah.
he was sitting on 99 winners, I think, William was, going midway this afternoon. He's had a winner elsewhere as well. I'm going to just check this, but this could be their 100th
Oh,
winner
yeah,
of the
have
season.
a look.
I'm going to check that out. See, that's why Dave Orton's here, you see. Let's have a look.
Yeah, he's on 100.
Is he on 100?
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Protagonist won by a nose, the 6-5 shot. Yeah, and he had one at Southwell yesterday, didn't he? Of course, so this could be his 100th winner if you're on the gamble.
No, he's on 100. He's
101st.
won.
Oh, he's won 100. Is it up to 100 as well?
Protagonist
Yeah,
was the
Sela
100th.
Rosa, and protagonist, I think, was the one that got
Sela
him up to
Rose is the
100.
one
Sorry,
that
Sela
I've
Rosa was
missed,
there.
yes.
Sela Rosa.
Your favourite horse in training?
Not my
Sounds like
favourite
it.
horse in training because I like Hurricane Lane. I actually really do like Modern Games, but she's one of my favourite fillies. She's gorgeous.
Favourite horse in training?
Bolling Joe. No, I don't know. That was the first name that came to my head.
Left
then.
field.
Yeah. Favourite flat horse in training right now.
Well, it could be any horse.
Oh, any horse in training.
Well, I was just doing flat.
Oh, sorry, you missed your chance.
Oh, good. God, I have so many.
And it's hard to pick, isn't
Perfect
it?
power still for my flat horse. Love him.
Still give him. When are we going to see him Sprint Cup?
Say so. Yeah.
Not the Nunthops, not for him, is it?
No.
No. Okay, he could still be the jewel in the
Actually, trying
crown.
to think
potentially.
of my favourite jumper currently in training. That's actually quite difficult.
Was your favourite jumper Trance your favourite Hurricane Lane?
Oh.
Probably not.
No, because you can't think of it.
Yeah, no, I can because I'm thinking like no, because I like a hoist in your, but it's not my favourite.
Oh yes.
It's not my favourite.
Yeah. Oh, the
Gone
nice
6
guy.
months without that.
It's not my
Yeah, I was
favourite.
going to say, we haven't heard of Horse Signor for a while, actually.
It's not my favourite. I don't know what my favourite is.
Oh God,
He was
yeah.
good though, wasn't he?
Memories. I'll just
Would
give you
be
something
like
while the
vintage
girls are
clouds
thinking
now,
about that.
design.
There's 7 places, of course, on the sports book here. Tinto was 5th in the Stewards Cup. You've probably seen it by now. Great Ambassador was 6th. Mackinac, the front runner on the far side, 8th in the park. Close but no
Yeah,
cigar.
not good.
Not good.
Probably honeysuckle actually.
You'll get it back over
yeah.
7.
Honeysuckle.
Honeysuckle.
Good on you. Well done, Nat. I agree with you 100% there.
What favourite horse in any game whatsoever at the moment is
In
Honeysuckle.
training, you asked their favourite national hunt horse in training, and she said honeysuckle. And I
Yeah.
agree with her.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's
Should be
your
mine as well.
what's your favourite flat horse then, Barry?
At the moment, Royal
Yeah.
Acclaim. I think she's gone places.
what?
She's one to follow. I really like her.
None thought
Do you think
time
she's the
for
best
Barry.
of them at the minute? I think so.
We will be
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah,
None thoughts on the
absolutely.
20th of
Speedster on
August.
the-
We're covering it.
But no, honeysuckle, yeah, legend.
What about you, Dave?
Obviously. Solid Stone, Sir Michael Stout's horse. Everyone knows that I love that horse.
Mm-hmm.
Solid Stone. Jumper. Don't know. Really.
Constitution Hill.
Yeah.
We've got it up there, haven't we? Keep it nice and simple. I don't know. Really. I have to think about that one. But
No,
yes,
we'll have a grudge match. Me and Nat against you for the
Yeah.
national hunt season when
we'll
they
do
meet.
that, shall we? Through the
Shall we?
season. Yeah.
Well, it was G-Rod to be Constitution Hill, isn't he? A big Con Hill fan.
Yep, he is. Yeah, he put it up straight after the Sandown Maiden, I think, didn't he, for the Supreme? But yeah, look, oh, blimey, look, you can tell us all of the stage of the factors we're
a
getting
good
to.
mare like honeysuckle who just, whoa,
Do you know,
got her
I-
attitude.
Funnily
Kills
enough,
for that attitude.
My 2 favourite horses in training, I think Solid Stone. Adabe's one of my others.
Yeah. Oh, can't not love it, Dave.
Love him. And again,
Yeah.
just when he was in COVID and he went down to Australia. Funny enough, I was watching that. And, no one else to watch. And yeah, Dave for me is right up there.
Oh, Lasser Dude is not
Get some
wanting to
socials
go
up.
in
That's
at
the
the
dude
moment.
having a bit of
That's not looking
argy-bargy
good
at the
for
start.
my...
Nedster comes back. My favourite horse ever. Great socials today, Nedster. Dubai Millennium. Favourite horse ever?
Ooh.
Blimey, Dubai Millennium. Yeah, it was right when I was getting into racing that, and it was, again, otherworldly
Sprinter
sort of stuff.
Sacra's probably
Will comes
ever
back. Look, with Nat,
for me.
Hoyson, you're my favourite jump source.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's an absolute legend. But I think maybe Sprinter Sacra ever, honeysuckle.
Yeah, I'm up there with Sprinter Sacra.
Honeysuckle,
He'd be
right
up there
He
for
lives
me.
down the road from me now.
Corto style.
Sprinter.
Does he?
Yeah.
Really?
God, he's
in
a-
his
He's
retirement.
great. He's an odd horse. He's a very odd. He looks straight through.
Like George
He's just a
Washington.
machine of an animal. He's just then he'll just bite you out of nowhere.
Oh, Lord.
He's just like a machine of an animal.
All
Yeah.
the good blokes have a quirk in them. Don't worry about it. It's the way it is, isn't it? All right, back to this race because they're going. It's the final race of the week here. Then, would you believe it? We've got here.
Can't believe it.
Are we expecting positive impact, Kate, to try and get out from stall 10 and lead?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, expecting. Hopefully, he's going to get the pace pressure from Roman Dragon, and I'm a gambler then as well.
All right, okay.
Dave, be careful with Koi and positive impact. Hope your eyes are
Oh, yeah.
doing well. I'd trick you on that.
Well, some of us are fresher than others, believe it or not. Okay, let's have a look. Who else is out there? I'm surprised that Roman Dragon is as big as he is. I've got to be honest with that. Harry Davis not quite been his day so far. And like I say, I've had a tiny bit on Gisborne as well. Mike Galliot didn't look great out of the back either. He's had a little kick there, didn't he?
Yeah, well,
Is that a good sign?
I don't know. I'm Koi and Lasser Dude. It wasn't a good sign. Lasser Dude didn't want to go in, but
And who else is that out the back? Is that I'm a Gambler or is he in already? Something in red.
you've still got number 2.
It's I'm a Gambler, yes.
I'm a gambler.
I'm a Gambler for John Brown, of course.
And
He's
Gisborne
very
are up to
famous.
go in.
For boss of William Hill. All right, yeah, okay. And to get another potential pace angle. Good luck then, the final race of the day. What fun it has been
Here we
this
go.
week. Here we go. Desperados, you can taste them, Barry. I know you can. One more dance though, my man. And away we go and running.
Right, well.
3:55. Again, they were slightly late, weren't they? But they're not hanging around. And it's Roman Dragon up front with I'm a Gambler. We're looking for positive impact from stall 10, desperately trying to get in under Benoit, of course, who did this on Trawler Man. Waterton finding it a bit hot at the moment, but now settling okay. If you're on the gamble, Spirit of
What's
Nguru.
Ryan doing on
What do you mean, what's Ryan doing on Koi? Right out the back. He's being very
He's not getting
confident.
involved in. He's not getting involved in the pace burn-up, is
Yeah,
he?
exactly.
yeah,
Very
these
confident. When you
three
see
go
Ryan at the back,
Okay.
you know how quick they're
This is
going.
interesting.
You've got Gisborne right at the back and Galliac seeing them all in as well at the moment. Lassadu got a nice one. Everything going nicely, girls?
Yeah, happy with Woderton, but hopefully he's just given himself a bit of room there on the inside so he doesn't get involved, and now he's being pushed. So
Yeah, and I'm fascinated by
Barry with
Koi.
3 furlongs out. I'm a
made that
gambler
move.
going well.
4.4 Spirit and Naguru, 9.6 Lasud, 5 Koi positive 5. They're all there.
Come on,
They're all
Koi
there.
Koi.
They're all
He's
there.
gonna
I think
get
even
involved with
Gisborne's
this
going well. Lassadu's just the one that's
Positive
bombed out,
impact
isn't it?
evens.
Positive
Yeah,
impact.
positive
I'm a
impact.
gambler. Spirit and Guru maybe not loving the ground there. Galliac's left it a bit too late, I think. Gisborne's coming through late. Has he left it too late, the outsider? He should have won a race here, as I said on his return. His old rival Galliac's going for it. Look,
There he
he's
goes.
hanging all over the track. I'm a gambler. But we started off with the Johnson winner. They're going to top and tail the show. I'm a gambler then. Back to form. Last in, first home. The outsiders, Barry, 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm a gambler. Betfair SP of 21. That was a fair performance off 98, really, wasn't it? Nothing else traded short in running bar. Positive impact traded at a low of 1.22, so around the 2 to 9 mark, Dave. Gallic never really got into it. Galliac, sorry, never really got into it. He traded at a low of 4.8. Koi never any impression. And nor did our selection out Woodington. That was very, very disappointing.
Yeah, I think maybe track and handicapper got him, but I'm a gambler. Then the Johnsons, we associate them with Glorious Goodwood. I'll tell you what, he can mark him up as well because he's been right up there, he's gone quite quick. Galliac, I was a bit surprised to see him so far back, but it's set up for the closers. Spirit and Guru, maybe softer ground, second run back, not sure. Had carriage. Been a bit picky, aren't I? He's run all right, really, in fourth.
Yeah,
Sue disappointed as well.
I'm very disappointed, Lassadude.
Oh yeah, no, last two, but we said
Project
that.
gone.
Yeah, but he looked even before the race was off. He didn't want to know today.
He had
didn't
one
want.
on him.
He didn't want to know during the race. He had one on him. He's clearly got some hang up. He's clearly not. Like, I have to do something at home to relight his fire. But I still don't understand. I'm sorry, but I don't understand what happened with Koi. But
Well,
I know what you're saying. He was put him in the. I just don't. I just wouldn't have done that.
Our fire has, believe it or not, would you believe?
Because look now, this is my point. When I said, what's he doing? Bumpy bodge, and then the horse was like, and then just didn't. Don't get that.
I knew she was going to be my trickiest guest.
Don't get that.
Having hosted it, I thought
Just
might
put the
have
horse
actually
off.
got you into some sort
Just
of
put the horse off. The
great
horse went-
rhythm for this show, but it turns out.
No, because then it's shoved its nose in another horse's butt and it doesn't really want to go then. I don't blame it.
You can see, you're seeing great insight here into Nat. She won't let this go now.
No,
we'll be
it's
going to the
annoyed me.
Bear of Thirst, and she will be.
And the Johnson horse was a
I'm
peach
a bit,
of a
I'm
ride.
bit annoyed that Galliac was so far back,
Peach
but I've
of
let
a
it go.
ride.
Helps I've got my place money. But
No.
anyway, there we go. Decent race going forward. Decent show, decent week.
Good
Barry,
ride.
You've been every single day. It's usually me and you doing it every single day, Barry. You've had to carry the can this week, my man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, Dave. We've had a cracking 5 days. I think it was 5 days. Yeah, cracking 5 days. Could have been longer, I'm not sure. And that was brilliant. She was a very able deputy for you. You'll be glad to hear. And thanks, Kate, for pushing the buttons for Betfair. Great job.
Yeah, the Betfarians have had a great week. Charity's done really well retraining a racehorse. We're going to switch to Greatwood, aren't we, next Saturday, when Oisin Murphy joins us with Keels and Barry on the show. Thanks then, ladies. I've had great fun. I've been full of the joys of summer, shall we say. I've enjoyed it. My 2 zebras have been brilliant.
Yeah, the zebra twins here. I know, we've had a really good day. Love this.
Fantastic. Kate,
We'll
great
go
stuff.
leopard next time.
Yes.
You've got a month of weddings coming up, haven't you, Kate? So we'll see you in September, ready for all the big group ones.
Weddings. Yeah, exactly. We're back for that then. And before we know it, then it will be the jump season back around.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
back to
envious,
the
Kate. I've got one wedding, but because we're so old,
Don't know anyone
I think I
anymore.
go to more memorials than weddings these days. But
Go there.
I
At least
know.
we don't have to go to the Stag and Hen Do's. All right. Thanks to the team as well. We've had great gallery action as well. It was Dave and Will today. We had Dan Walsh as well. Sam, of course, who's not been with us. But the social team been brilliant as well. Well done to Kieran, our producer. And listen, great stuff. Well done to you out there. Join us back next week then. We've been Racing Post Live. I'm Dave Orton. I feel fresh as daisy. I could go again. Would you believe it? Don't worry. Next Saturday, Sugar Cup. Don't miss us. 1:30.